Hello everybody, good evening, and welcome to Video Game After Live, the official companion podcast to Video Game Hour Live, which broadcasts live on Texas Student Television, YouTube, and Twitch every other Thursday from 8:45 to 9:45 p.m. And I am, the host of this podcast today for a very particular reason we'll get into in a minute. But first, I'm joined by some very lovely people. Would y'all care to introduce yourselves?
Hello, I'm Melody.
Hello, Ratika.
My name's Andrea Gonzalez.
I'm Ryan.
We're also actually introducing Andrea. She is one of our very new members of VGHL.
Hello.
They just joined us yesterday at our... No, it was Thursday. Thursday at our...
Well, I was also at the Wednesday meeting.
At the TSTV general meeting. So welcome, Andrea. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling pretty good.
Great. Thank you for joining us tonight.
Yeah.
It's not even tonight.
Technically tonight when this releases.
It's winter.
It's 5:20 as we're recording this. It's
dark outside.
Yeah.
It is
It's dark outside
9:45 upon release on a Thursday.
That's true.
On a Thursday.
But today, guys, we are here for a very special reason. I'm sure all of you know.
Yes.
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 Mm-hmm.
But they don't.
We are here to talk about the death of Henry Kissinger. No, that was like a month ago.
Rest in piss.
Yes, rest in pieces.
We're gonna talk about Jay Easy.
We're here to talk about the Game of the Year award that VGHL has kind of done as tradition. Usually, the show picks out a Game of the Year from, the year prior, and then we also added into our intro to celebrate what we thought was some of the best across the show's history. So today we're going to be deciding that, and then we're going to be talking about it, or presenting the awards.
Woohoo! Yippee!
On Thursday.
PowerPoint.
So this is the VGHL Game of the Year podcast. Welcome, everybody.
Woo!
So just to kind of set up a few things before we get started. So as I'm sure y'all remember, I had you guys fill out your Game of the Year nomination form. So we have 10 primary categories. Followed by
that's
ultimate.
Fancy animation.
Yeah.
Wow.
That is more effort than I put into anything.
That's crazy.
There was more I wanted to put in, but the slides were taking way too long to make. And then we also have a final Game of the Year award, of course. So basically, the process of this is going to be that we're going to have a little bit of time to discuss each of the categories.
Oh, no.
There were quite a few games per category. Some had more than others, so some will take a little bit shorter than others. And because some of us put more games than others, people who had put more nominations per category probably have will probably give a little bit less time to speak. Just so someone who maybe put one, maybe two nominations in a category will have a little bit more time, just so we can all have a chance to speak and defend our games of the year per category.
And then we all got to decide.
Yes, and then we're all
after you introduce it.
Holistically, democratically, we're all putting in our thoughts.
Yeah, because we're Americans.
So, yeah.
I mean, I'm actually gonna supersede all of it, and I'm just gonna put Alan Wake 2 in every category.
And I won't complain.
And I will complain, actually.
Yes.
No, I will complain because we should have given something to Gex.
Yeah.
True.
Is it coming out this year? The Gex
Oh yeah, did you
remake?
confirm that? Is it coming out this year?
I wasn't able to find
Gex
out.
remake?
The Gex remake, though, I will dig deeper into it.
Actually, all of these games are just Gex at heart.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We're all just Gex.
That's actually the surprise.
Just like we are crabs, we are all Gex.
We're gonna put that was a surprise I was keeping from you guys. It's actually just all Gex.
It's all Gex?
Yeah, that's what there's.
Oops, it's all Gex.
There's like
Oops,
50.
it's all Gex.
There's 50 slides here that are just Gex. So y'all ready to get into the first category?
Yeah.
course.
Let's get into
Let's
the
do
Gex
it.
category.
All right. So first up, we have
Should we do a little drum roll?
Oh yes. Let's do drum roll. First is the Spotlight Award. This is one that this is a category I wanted to make up just because I feel like in games we in the industry we kind of overlook some games that released that were probably really good that maybe just weren't as talked about, or we just want to share because we're just really excited about it. So this award goes to the title which we felt went underappreciated or overlooked this year, and we would like to share, and it can really just be anything. So let's go through the nominees. We have Assassin's Creed Mirage, Amanda the Adventurer, Buckshot Roulette, Dead Space, Don't Scream, Dredge, El Paso Elsewhere, Ghost Trick Phantom Detective, Hi-Fi Rush, Killer Frequency, Lies of P, Only Up, Pikmin 4, and
Yes,
Super
Pikmin
Mario
4.
Bros. Wonder.
I didn't nominate any, but
There's
I'm
so
happy to see
many.
Pikmin 4 on there.
I put a lot.
I'm surprised someone put Super Mario Wonder because I thought that was
That's pretty talked about.
pretty much of a big.
I don't know. Everyone quit
mainstream
talking
game.
about it after 2 weeks.
That's
I definitely
true.
didn't put it in there at all, actually.
I was.
Yeah.
It was a big it's a big Nintendo game, but also like it wasn't like in. I feel like not many people talk about it when it came out.
That's
Well,
true.
I guess it's because it suffered from like the new Super
Hey,
Mario Brother
Charlotte.
games,
Mm-hmm.
and everyone got sort of into the mindset that those are all the same.
Yeah,
You know,
they are.
Because
like
they are,
2D
yeah, which is
2D
why
Mario.
I guess that's why
Awesome for
people were
one.
excited about
Yeah.
Super Mario Wonder.
I was
Oh my
definitely
God.
one of those people.
Yeah, but I guess the hype kind of fell as soon as people beat the game because in the end,
It's just a Mario game.
it's a Mario game. It doesn't really have, a grappling narrative or extensive post game. It's a Mario game.
Yeah, I get that. Really quickly, let's go ahead and introduce Charlotte.
Hi, Charlotte.
Hi, Charlotte. How you doing, friend?
Hey, Charlotte.
I'm only here to put my thoughts on one game.
Is it?
I wonder what it
is.
is.
It Pikmin?
It's not actually gagged, y'all. It's Killer Frequency. That is such a good game. I
That's what I nominated.
obviously didn't put any nominations in. I'm just a girl, but Killer Frequency is such a good game. So that's all, guys.
No, for sure.
That's
Thank
all.
you, Charlotte.
Thank you, Charlotte.
I might be back.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, Charlotte.
Charlotte will be back, probably.
She'll be back.
So,
She'll be back.
Maybe.
Ryan, you put a lot of games here. Assassin's Creed
Girl,
Mirage, Man of the Adventure, Dead Space, Don't Scream, Dredge. I also, Andrea, you also put Dredge.
Nice.
Y'all
Good
wanna
taste.
Ryan, you want to talk a little bit about some of your nominations?
Can you read them off to me?
Yeah.
Just start with the first one.
You
Assassin's
wrote-
Creed.
Assassin's Creed Mirage.
Okay, I didn't have anything to say about this game other than the fact that they finally listened to the fans and went back to classic Assassin's Creed setting. The game's not that great, but it's fun, and they actually listened to what audiences want instead of doing the whole "we're Vikings now, we're in Egypt" and all that shit. They actually went back to what made Assassin's Creed Assassin's Creed,
What made
and
Assassin's Creed?
like the Assassin's Creed, like the Creed.
Oh, is that the
and,
Vikings Creed or the Pharaoh's Creed?
It's kind of like it's a group.
Ah.
I don't know how else to describe it than that. You'd probably have a better way to describe
About
it,
the
Teo.
Creed and
Yeah,
Assassin's Creed.
they're like it's like a generational thing.
Yeah, it's like hide in plain sight, stay your blade from the flesh of the innocent,
Mhm.
never compromise the brotherhood.
Exactly. And then they
I'm
kind of ditched it
can't
for a
believe I
while.
remember that.
Now it's back. Kind of.
I really want to play it though. I haven't had a chance to play it, but I did really want to play it.
I only played a little bit, and it worked fine. I more watched it, but it's solid.
How about Oh, I'm so sorry.
Oh.
How about Amanda the Adventurer?
Amanda.
Oh, I know
Ooh.
Amanda the
All right.
Adventurer.
That's that
This is the
game.
little game that could.
Okay, I completely forgot about that game.
Yeah?
So I'm happy that you actually brought that one up.
It was a game jam game.
Yeah.
A
yeah.
year ago, actually. Not so. The full game launched this year. They remade the entire thing. So at the game jam, it was like in a living room. You watch these tapes of a kid's show. Weird shit happens. Possession.
Oh, I remember.
It's basically
Jake
like-
Neutron did a couple of videos on that.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Basically like
it's
that
like one of
horror
those
game.
kind of meta
Sort of like
game.
Pibby.
Yeah.
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 And they remade it. Basically, they got a budget for it, the Kickstarter. It finally came out, and it's takes place in an attic. There's multiple endings. It's a good story. It's this whole concept of a dad who sold his child's soul to be a character in a TV show, and she's trapped in the tapes, kind of stuff. There's a whole game theory about it.
I literally my game design
I watched the
document
game
last year was literally about a character that gets stuck in a tape.
Yeah, and it's really fascinating. It's I 100%ed it for a video, and it was like. Some of the puzzles were a little dumb and repetitive, but overall, considering it's made by just a couple people, maybe just one person, I don't remember, solid little game that I think at least deserved to be talked about, even if it doesn't win the award.
No, yeah, that's
Yeah.
badass. Thank you for
Yeah.
sharing it.
Yeah.
How about Buckshot Roulette and Dead Space?
Oh my God, Buckshot Roulette is my favorite indie game this year. It came out at the end of the year,
Yeah.
December.
I thought it came out now.
I don't think I've
No, it's December. I'm pretty sure. If I'm wrong, we'll just cut it from the podcast. So if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's December.
Yeah,
I'm
we're
gonna
gonna
catch
fact
that
It's
check.
wrong,
next
we'll
sentence.
cancel.
Fuck, it might be 2024.
I will fact
get it
check
wrong.
you.
Fact check it.
Cancel.
Yeah.
I could be wrong. We'll cancel it. It's a good game.
Talk about Dead Space before we're wrong.
Dead Space remake. I just love it from as a Dead Space fan. It's just the first game made again, but really pretty with good sound design and stuff. So I was like, even though I don't think it should win any of the other awards, again, it was what I wanted to talk about because Dead Space means a lot to me as a gamer.
What's Dead
As
Space
a
about?
gamer.
It's just like
You're
Dead Space. I'm really bad at
You're
describing video games.
It was
It's
December 28th. So, you
That's
know,
right.
barely.
All right.
I could go more into Buckshot because I beat that game in one try. Okay, so Buckshot Roulette is a roulette game. You get items. It's like a really cool art direction. It's very Inscription, if you ever watched Inscription. And you have a little shotgun. There's items on the table, and you battle this guy with a janky ass teeth. And you like, it's so cool when you get shot. You hold up the gun to yourself, or he'll shoot you, and it just like fades to black, but then it zaps you back to life, and it's like really hard. But I beat it first try because I'm a badass, and you should go play it.
The vibes are just
Okay,
very,
what console?
very fun
PC.
and
Okay.
grungy and dirty.
Yeah.
Is it like more based on chance or because it's like
Oh,
roulette,
it's
or-
literally just roulette. It's strategy roulette.
Strategy
Dang.
roulette. So they give you like
I
a
thought
chest,
gambling was all, like,
and you
chance
pull
stuff.
out different
Kind of.
items, and the
Little
items
bit.
that you use can either
Increase your
sabotage.
chance and
Yeah,
stuff.
it just increases.
You can be smart about it. You can handcuff the guy.
Yeah.
You can make a sawed-off shotgun to do more damage.
The beers you
I
drink,
don't
you
think
can
do that in a regular casino.
You could if you wanted to.
rack
Cock-
the shotgun.
probably
rack the gun. Oh, I was
Yeah.
about to use the wrong
No,
terminology.
you're fine. You're fine.
But yeah, you can rack the gun.
Mhm.
So many cool little things, and it's like what 30-minute playthrough.
Yeah, I beat it in 20. I mean, it's a $1 game. You can buy an itch,
Oh, really?
and
I
it's
didn't
like
know it was only
really
$1.
competent. They added a hard mode recently.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's fun.
So yeah, so if
That's
y'all-
my actual spotlight award.
No, yeah, I think that's
when
a
we
good
get to
one.
the debate, that's
For
what
sure.
Oh,
So-
can I mention one too?
Yes, go for
Okay,
it.
this one wasn't underrated whatsoever, but freaking Suika,
Suika.
the melon
Oh,
game,
the melon game.
that
Oh,
like
Suika.
I
took
remember that. That
over
was so
like in
cute.
That
streaming
was a big
for a
deal.
while.
Yeah.
And I got it.
Suika.
It's kind of like a Tetris-like. So I just wanted to say that here because we
That's
probably won't ever mention it again. But yeah, it was cute. It was fun.
Yeah, it's basically, you match certain shapes. It kind of reminds me of, the number game?
2048.
Yeah, 2048.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
if
yeah.
Tetris and
Oh, is it with the
2048
fruit?
combined.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
it's
the
the
fruits
watermelon.
game.
Oh, I watched
Yeah,
Goran
it's
play
like-
that in class.
Yeah, I was
It's
watching.
freaking addicting.
I was
Is it?
watching a couple
It's
cute.
VTubers stream it a couple
Yeah,
months
yeah.
ago.
They streamed
I like,
it?
You
no,
just
a
play
couple
it.
VTubers.
That's what I'm saying. They streamed it. That's like
Yeah,
a wild game to
it's
stream.
Yeah.
Like, it was a phenomenon. Like it took over streaming, and people got really competitive about it. Even though it's like
an endless game.
yeah, it's an endless game. It's unlimited. There's no like pressure like Tetris to
Yeah.
match these fruits. It's
It's like
so
Tetris, but
simple.
chill.
but it was fun. It's
Yeah.
and it's cute.
So
So
it's more like Tetris.
I'm saying that here now. That's it. Carry on about Buckshot. Buckshot's cool.
Is that it?
I think we're gonna move on to Dredge.
Wait. Oh, okay.
I'm gonna let you talk about Dredge
Yeah.
because I have
Alright.
more to say later about it.
Okay, so I learned about Dredge from a friend of mine, and I learned about it when I first saw it. I was first taken away by the art direction because it's kind of a simple looking game. The art style kind of reminds me of, at a first of a glance, it reminded me of the Goose Game. Remember?
Yeah,
the
Untitled Goose Game.
Yeah. So back to Dredge. It seems very cutesy, very cel shaded, but then as you go farther into it, it's sort of like a quiet game, a too quiet game. But there's always some uneasiness that when you're fishing, looking for monsters, you don't know what lurks. Why did I say leak? Lurks in the dark of the depths.
They're probably leaking into your ship.
There's a leak in the boat.
Sinking.
Exactly.
That's Dredgeful.
Ooh.
You're Dredgeful. Get the fuck out of here.
All right, catch it all later.
Yeah, so I was trying to see if anyone else knew about the game. No, it was just me and my friend. Right?
No, yeah, Ryan actually voted. I think Ryan also voted
It was
for a few.
My second option after Buckshot.
For
That was between those two
Yeah.
because I, watched
about
Jack play.
Dredge.
Yeah.
Do you know? Okay, Rasputin or I don't know how you say his name, but
Yeah.
he reviews games.
Yeah, I know
So
him.
like all the little indie games, I know it because of him.
Yeah,
But anywho,
it's one of the
Carry
best
on.
indie games of the year for sure.
Yeah, I think it was nominated for quite a few awards at Game Awards too. So that's great.
I recommend buying the Switch edition if you're gonna play it because it gives you a little art book with it because they only have a collector's edition and
Tunic?
it's cheap.
Oh,
get the
really?
physical copy of Tunic.
Really? Does it have an art book?
It has so many things,
Ah.
but I haven't played it yet.
I love
See,
Tunic.
That makes perfect sense for Tunic because
It's so cute. Anyway,
it's supposed to
Sounds familiar.
there's an in-game
It was last
manual
year.
that you're supposed to
Yeah, it's like
translate.
the little fox.
Wait, have you
Oh,
started
is
playing
it the one where you have to learn the
no,
language?
I need to, but
It's
I'm not.
It's really fun.
Is it the one where you have to learn the language because it doesn't tell you anything about
Yes.
it?
Yes.
Okay.
And it's so
It's on Game
infuriating,
Pass.
but it's also I love it.
Like maybe I'll bring
It's
it
a
on
learning
show because there's so
process.
many little things like included with the box set. It's so
Oh,
cute.
that's awesome.
Oh, I want to see that.
Yeah, it's the manual. One of the things is the manual that
Oh,
you use in
cool.
game. But
I love manuals.
Man, I
Anywho.
miss when they
See,
had those.
The coolest thing would be is if in the Switch version becomes I imagine what if it came with the in-game manual that's a mechanic in the game,
Mm-hmm.
but
miss
you're
when
supposed to
games did
translate
that.
you actually have to use it like games have done that with maps before you can actually make use of a game map.
Or keep
that
talking and
comes
nobody
with it.
explodes.
Yes, like that. Like I would love it if Tunic did that. I don't know if it does do that, but that'd be sick.
I miss when
But yeah,
games used
absolutely.
to
If you want to
have
bring that
more,
onto the show, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, with the manuals. And
like
everything.
physical tie-ins. I miss when
Yes.
games used to have that.
Yeah, like the stories, but because now you get the digital versions of old retro games, you're just doing the thing. You don't really know what's going on because all the story was contained in the manual. I first learned that when I played Kid Icarus on the Switch Online store.
With the NES
Yeah,
version.
the
Yeah.
NES.
Metal Gear Solid recently did that too. Like there's no like the manual that's actually important for that game.
Yeah.
Doesn't come with it. But
Crazy.
do you
Yeah.
don't mind if I talk about El Paso Elsewhere for a
Yeah, go
second?
for it.
Of course.
So this game came out in September, I want to say, and I kind of had it on my radar because I'm from El Paso, and I was wondering, and I'm always looking for good representation of my city. It didn't really have that, but it was still, but what it was just like, it was really just kind of just a place, like you're trapped in a motel trying to kill your ex who's Dracula. And it like, you basically go down an elevator towards like this weird eldritch void that basically hates you and wants you to die. It was really badass. Like it's one of my favorite. I've nominated for best narrative later. Spoilers, but it's like maybe 12 hours. It's not very very long, but for like an indie that's it. For like a small studio
El Paso.
and with a creative director who's I believe from El Paso, I was very happy
I was
with it.
sure.
So I just wanted to highlight
Show
that
and
one for the
tell.
spotlight.
That's a good art direction. I'm really
It's-
an art guy with games.
I'm an art guy too.
It's also like it's kind of like it's styled to be like Max Payne. Like there's like there's kind of like dramatic voiceover
you
and
already
narration.
know what it looks like.
There's like shoot dodging and all that, so it's pretty cool. It's one of my
really sick.
favorites this year.
The Hotel Texas, as opposed to the Hotel California.
The Tomaine.
Are the developers from El Paso?
I want to say the creative director is, but I think the studio's like from people all like from internationally.
Gotcha.
But Ritika, it's your time to shine.
All right.
Ghost Trick Fan Detective.
Welcome to me when I talk about Ghost Turk for like 10 minutes. And I'll do this on every category because, spoiler alert, that's basically where it is. So if y'all don't know, this game it's actually a port, or like they remastered it
'cause it was a
from
DS game,
it was a DS game from 2010, and I only actually played the DS version like last year, and it's made by the same creator as the Ace Attorney series, one of my favorite series of all time.
Love
and it is such a good game. It is just one of those games that I think has everything. It has like great, amazing visuals, and for it being limited and it being on a DS, I thought it was just so pretty to look at, and I think the remastered version did it really well. Amazing sound design, like the songs are great, and just such a good story that I think is one of the best standalone stories I've ever seen. Like, it's pretty short. It's only about, like, I think 20 hours, depending on how long it takes you to solve the puzzles that are in the game, which I think is another great aspect of it. But it just weaves everything together in such a great narrative that leaves no questions unanswered, and it's funny, it has action, it has romance. Actually, it doesn't have romance, but it's funny. And it has
You lied
just
to
like
us.
the best mystery. It has some romance, but not like
It's
centrally
not the
to the
main
plot.
central.
Yeah. But it has such a great mystery because it's all about you being a ghost who has no idea what they're doing. Like all you know is that you're dead, and you don't know how you died. You have to figure that out, and you have no idea who you are. You have to figure that out, and you have to do all of this before the day ends. So it's all, the game takes place in a single night, and every chapter is like a few hours later, and there's just so much that goes on. The basic gameplay is you doing using your, this is the game where you ghost and subsequently trick. I am not kidding, they say this like so many times. It's awesome. This is the game where you ghost and trick.
So they say it's ghosting time, and then they ghost all over the place?
Yes, they ghost and they trick all over the place. They are
my
really
God.
tricking everywhere. And basically it's just you going around manipulating random objects to create sort of like Rube Goldberg machines. And I just like that you can trial and error as much as you want in order to get your solution, and when you do, it's really satisfying. And it's just great because you do like a puzzle, and then you like see the bit of the story unfold. You probably get more questions than you have answers for, and then at the end you just get all of it at once, or like you get a lot of it at once, like the major plot twists and everything. It's just amazing. It's one of the games I definitely would recommend to like literally anybody, even people who are non-gamers. Please play Ghost Trick.
I don't know if I should clap with the microphone in my hand.
We just
This is
beat
a
up the
snappy
freaking mic.
thing.
Hella
Oh yeah, that's a
underrated.
good idea.
Oh, yeah,
Alright.
snaps.
Thank you, Ritika.
Awesome.
So let's go ahead and move to Let's talk about Pikmin 4 because I know
Pikmin 4.
Pikmin.
I actually haven't played it.
So
I have not, but
Sophia
it's
and
Pikmin.
Leah nominated this game, and I know Leah isn't here with us right now, and
Sophia's studying.
Pikmin 1 and Pikmin.
she's
Good
being
for
a very
her.
responsible student.
Yeah.
But Ryan, I know you said you were going to speak on behalf of Sophia.
Yeah,
for
she was
Pikmin
telling me to
4.
vote for Pikmin.
All right.
That's it. No, I'm just kidding. I end up looking up some of the because I've never played a Pikmin game actually.
Never played Pikmin.
I played
game?
Pikmin
No.
3.
So I don't know how the game works, but I watched some videos before I came here, so I kind of
I
know.
can explain some stuff about the Pikmin series.
Go for it, but I'll start with the one thing I was going to say about it, and then jump to you. Music-wise, I mean, I know Nintendo's known for their music. Really cute music. Visuals compared to Pikmin 3, such a graphical jump considering you're going from the Wii U to the Switch. Crazy how insane that jump is. It's like you've been working on this game forever and it looks that good. That's wild. But I think there's just such a charm to Pikmin 4 of it like fixes a lot of the issues of the previous games, according to what I've read and what I've talked about. But as well, it's just like it builds out that whole idea of you're the little character in an actual world, and I think a lot of games don't do that well. And I think Pikmin's one of the few games where it's like I'm actually a minuscule part in a whole real world really well, and it's believable. And so that's all. You can go into the details of how the game works,
All
but
right.
those are like the things
Pikmin.
Yeah.
that I think.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So, to those who are not Pikmin fans or know Pikmin but haven't really played it, the Pikmin series is a real-time strategy game series, and it features the lives of Captain Olimar in the first two games, from distant planets, and they crash land into Earth, or what we believe is Earth, because it's actually called PNF 404 in game, which stands for Planet Not Found. It's supposed to be a little pun on Page Not Found.
Ah, I see.
Yeah.
I see. And so like so I guess they're supposed to be like super tiny. Like
Yeah,
They're
little tiny fellas.
That's funny.
Like like smaller than like a Duracell battery. Yeah.
They have Duracell batteries in the game.
Well,
Did
the
they
first ones, but then they
lost the rights.
Yeah, so they had to change the brand name. So, and then they find these strange little creatures named Pikmin, and they were called Pikmin because they reminded Captain Olimar
Of Pokemon. I'm just kidding.
of the little carrots from his planet. It's called Pikpix.
Oh, it's cute.
Pikmin.
So they work together to try and find or salvage pieces of a ship before the 30 days of oxygen, or like whatever oxygen is in his little tank, runs out. So you're on a race against time, and this race against time is prevalent in the first and third game, where they had to collect fruit, and they had to find like the key to their ship before they ran out of food and they starved to death.
So is that like how the game works? Like you're on a timer to do this
Yeah,
kind
you're
of
on
stuff?
yeah.
I see.
Yeah, and each day you have 30 days to gather all the pieces and travel around the world as much as you could. And the second game was a weird one where it wasn't really, time-based. It was more like gather as much treasure as you can.
I've heard that Pikmin 4 is similar to the second game, but I also barely know anything about Pikmin. I played Pikmin 3, but I also don't remember it very
So
well.
what does 4 retain story-wise? Like, what's the direction it goes?
The thing about 4 is that it has multiple things that you can do in terms of like objectives. And while it isn't really time-based, it's more so rescue-based, because you're trying to complete a crew. And I watched my dad play it while I was at home during the break. And because we're big Pikmin fans in my family, and we continue to find lost rescuers. Oh, no, not rescuers. Parts of the team, like the scientist, the scout, the engineer, the botanist, and all the people that are out for looking. It was called the Explorer or something. It's been a while, but they basically go out exploring planets. And so this time in Pikmin 4, you don't play like an established character like Captain Olimar or the people from Copites from the third game. You play like sort of like a build your own character. You're one of those silent protagonists. But the gameplay at its core.
Mind Gordon Freeman. Sorry.
Yeah.
Anyway.
The gameplay at its core in Pikmin 4, it's, it has a little bit of something for everybody.
Nice.
And I'll get into more of that because that was my nomination for the Rated E award.
Oh, okay. Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. Well, with that, in that case, then let's go ahead and talk about really quickly to wrap up the category, like nominations. Ryan, let's go ahead and wrap up with yours. You had Killer Frequency.
Yeah!
Lies of P.
Yeah.
Only Up. and Super Mario Brothers win.
Okay, I'm gonna go for the
Only
last four
Up,
because I have a
that's
lot to say about
crazy.
Killer Frequency. The others I have like one sentence.
Okay.
All right, so Only Up. I just want to nominate because it was a single guy. He got really stressed to make the game, and my YouTube audience forced me to play it for a week, and I wanted to die. So it's just getting over it, but parkour. It's really cool, well made, fun little
Wait,
time.
I think I've heard of that one.
It
Yeah,
also like took over.
It took over the world for a month.
Just
yeah.
for a brief moment. You know.
Then I
hadn't
had.
heard of it.
What's up?
I hadn't heard of it.
Go watch it after this. It's good. It's off Steam now. The guy took it off because he got too stressed.
Oh no, poor guy.
But he made a sequel because he made a lot of money. And then Mario Wonder. Mario Wonder fixed everything I had wrong with the Super Mario Brothers series of
agree.
2D
I
side scrollers. The new, yeah.
The new era.
Good art direction, good music, great mechanics that feel like a fresh take while still
I still
retaining
need
the
to play
old.
more of it,
What else
though,
is there
so.
that I had?
Lies of P.
Lies of P. It's Dark Souls Pinocchio. How can you go wrong? I just feel like that one wasn't going to get
That
nominated
depends.
for anything else. That's why I put it there.
That depends.
I
which
need to know more about Liza P. I know you said just like one sentence, but I don't understand what it is.
It's just a Soulsborne game
But with Pinocchio.
in the style of Pinocchio, the aesthetic of Pinocchio.
But which Pinocchio? There are several aesthetics
Like,
of Pinocchio.
just its own thing. It's like it's
Because
Pinocchio.
Bless
like
you.
we got the Disney Pinocchio, we got Guillermo del Toro Pinocchio.
I
and
would
we
say
got
it's
the Russian one.
if you were to just take Guillermo del Toro's, make it gothic.
Oh,
That's
okay.
basically
Okay,
the
so
gist
Yeah,
of
because
it.
I was afraid it was
Yeah.
the Russian one.
No, it's very gothic. And actually, one of the developers on it went to UT. So it was cool
So
to talk
is
to them
like
about it.
The story of Pinocchio.
Not really, no. But
So
it's
what part does Pinocchio play?
I couldn't tell you the story. It's just a Soulsborne game to me. You know, it's the same thing with Bloodborne. I can't tell you jack shit about the Bloodborne story, but that's one of my favorite games of all time because it's a Soulsborne game, and those are so fun.
I've never played. I should do
I've
that.
never played a single
Play
game.
which one?
Just play a Souls or
Same.
Souls-like.
Start with
game.
Elden Ring.
I'm more of a
Easiest
top
one to
player,
beat, in my opinion.
actually.
We should like do it on the show.
I'll do it on show. We can do Saturday streams on it. I'll play the fuck out of a Soulsborne game.
How about Killer Frequency?
Killer Frequency. This is the one I have a lot to say. By a lot, I mean 2 sentences.
All right.
So Killer Frequency is a little indie game that came out, I think, earlier this fall. For one, it kind of retains the same art style as Buckshot Roulette and Inscription. It's like that very like patchy kind of comic book style. I don't know how else to describe it. That's like the best way. But it's this little game where you're a radio host and you're supposed to be solving mysteries of these 911 calls of a killer out in the loose, basically. So it's Killer Frequency.
thought it
And
was gonna be a
it
rhythm game.
retains what's up?
I thought it was gonna be a rhythm
It
game.
does sound like
It does sound like it, but it retains a lot. To me, the reason it's so special, the gameplay's cool. It's one of those like you're in one room kind of things. But to me, I think the coolest thing is it retains a lot of elements of horror slasher storytelling, and I love when little indie games do that classic 80s slasher vibe, and that's very much what this is, because it's kind of like a movie called Pontypool, if y'all know what Pontypool is.
I saw Pontypool
Yeah,
for
so-
class. I love Pontypool.
It's such a good movie. Pontypool is a movie where apocalypse, a disease starts spreading,
COVID.
and everyone, basically COVID, and
It's all-
everyone is...
It's all. Oh, I'm so sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say it's all set in like a radio studio.
Yeah, and it's
And
just
that's-
they're holed up in the radio station.
And they're getting word of like the apocalypse going on outside from people calling into the radio show.
And that's basically Killer Frequency. I mean, without spoiling, there's things that happen. But that's kind of the whole gist of it. I just think, like, for a charming little sit and survive indie game, even though it's not fully a sit and survive game, I think it's a good one. And so that's where I'm going to leave for Killer Frequency.
And then last we nominated Hi-Fi Rush.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
I just thought it was really pretty.
No, yeah,
That's like,
I
I've
think,
seen clips of it. It looks good.
Yeah.
I actually got to play about like 2 hours of it.
Mm-hmm.
And I love Tango Gameworks. They did Evil Within, which
Mm-hmm.
is a very big shift in tone from their previous games. Tango Gameworks just rocks. They made a game that rocks as well.
Good boss fights.
Yes, fantastic boss fights, and I nominate for best sound as well.
I did too, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
the fact that they have everything sync up in the game world
Mm-hmm.
with the music is so
Because it's not a rhythm game,
I like.
but it's a game that utilizes rhythm. That's the best way.
and using the
Excuse
beat
me,
and
describe
going to the beat. Yeah, it's really good.
Um,
So it's
That
more like
was-
a game with rhythm.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know how... Would
Rhythm
that be how you describe it? Because it's not like the point is the
it's not like
rhythm.
Crypt
It's
of the
just built in.
Necrodancer.
Yeah, I was gonna mention that actually.
What?
Is it like Crypt of the Necrodancer?
Where
but
you know
not
the
really,
gameplay
right?
is based off the rhythm.
I wouldn't
Not
say
that much, right?
so. Would you?
It's not like a rhythm game like how like Rock Band or like other games like
Yeah.
Or even Crypt of the
Yeah.
Necrodancer. It's
Yeah,
more
it's-
like...
It's like you can actually go off the rhythm.
Yeah.
But it just doesn't. It's not as efficient.
It's like Metal Hellsinger.
That's it. Okay.
If you've ever played Metal Hellsinger, it's Doom, but a rhythm game. The more you shoot on target, the better damage you do, and the better that thing sounds. I mean, that's basically, I would say, how you would describe Hi-Fi Rush rhythmically.
So
And
like
it's really
Parappa.
fun.
I've never played Parappa,
Okay.
but
I
same
need to play
principle, I guess.
Parappa.
Yeah, but the thing about Parappa is that, after a while, if you end up getting like worse and worse and not on beat, you say, y'all getting worse, and then it plays some dinky ass tune.
Yeah.
But as soon as you get back up and get better with the score, it gets back to the regular funky track.
It's kind
It's
of
not-
not really like that because you don't lose rhythm, you don't lose the
Yeah.
song. That's why I'm saying it's not fully like Metal Hellsinger because Metal Hellsinger is more like Parappa the Rapper.
Right.
But that was all the nominations.
That was a lot.
Let's decide.
Buckshot.
I
Just
just-
kidding. I'm going for Killer Frequency.
I'm still up for Dredge.
Dredge.
I just like Ghost Trick.
Oh wow, and you?
Personally, if I had to choose, probably El Paso Elsewhere.
Okay, so I'm basically the tiebreaker because
I
I,
can-
didn't put a freaking nomination up.
I'll fight Dredge.
Yeah,
I'll fight for
I was
Dredge.
gonna say like
Yeah, thanks.
I will definitely like nominate another game because
Okay, so people. Okay.
yeah, I'm
okay.
open to anything.
My two were Killer Frequency and Dredge and
Yeah.
Buckshot, so 3.
Okay.
So
For me,
I'll
like
change
I'm
it based on
between
yours.
Buckshot or Ghost Trick. I feel like Ratika had a very solid argument for Ghost Trick.
Yeah, that is
And
been
like if
planning
we
this.
are doing this like
Did you write a
holistically,
script?
I would say Ghost Trick, but also Ghost Trick is a remake and Buckshot is new.
I'm
So
down to go
that's where
Buckshot
my
with
two
you.
are.
I'll go
I was gonna say
Buckshot.
this- I was gonna say the same thing because
Yeah,
Ghost Trick
Buckshot
is
sounds
technically
cool.
it's a port.
Yeah.
I think,
It's a remaster, so
Yeah.
they did change things, but
but I think because like Buckshot is one an indie game and two it's like it just and it, plus it's also been like it has captured the attention of quite a few like YouTubers and stuff
it's
like
the
that.
next.
Yes.
So maybe I could say it's not quite spotlight as maybe Ghost Trick, but I think
But I've
Given that
never
it's-
seen anyone stream Dredge.
fair enough.
Jack's the only YouTuber I saw play Dredge.
That's also true. If we are like trying to spotlight something that hasn't already gotten its time in the spotlight, then I do feel like Dredge or maybe El Paso. Sorry, I don't know the whole time.
No, yeah.
Ghost Trick has also gotten like a,
Yeah,
a
it's
small
pretty
niche
big.
fan
Yeah,
base.
it has.
'Cause I guess
it's niche, but it's
underappreciated.
I would be
bigger.
down to support
Yeah.
Dredge.
Let's do Dredge.
I would
I'm okay
also
with that.
Because only Jack played it as far as I know, and then
and
Gab. But
Rasmussen
and
talks
like
about
my
it.
one friend.
That's how I know.
yeah,
Yeah.
I mean you're the only
I
other
would
person I knew
learn
who knew
about it.
Dredge. So Dredge.
So
Dredge!
our spotlight
with that.
award goes to Dredge.
It's not Dredgeful. Go play it.
You're still Dredgeful.
I am.
It's okay.
All right.
I got to defend myself
Trust
on
me,
other
you won't
stuff.
dredge it.
And that was our longest category.
That's
Okay,
actually I
nice.
think that was actually like there's 3 like pretty big categories.
Oh.
Oh.
It's
Oh.
okay.
But
The
we'll-
other
we'll-
ones will probably be more
I'll keep it snappy.
competitive.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's keep it snappy, guys.
So next up is the E for Everybody award, and
Okay.
we all love to play games, and we all hope that people love to play games as well. But some people might not be comfortable playing as many games. Some might not be able to play them because of they're differently abled, or they just want to try and get into other games. So we wanted to highlight games that were more accessible either from the community, accessibility features, or just adaptable gameplay. So that is exactly what this is for. Awarded to the title which we felt was most accessible to all kinds of players through adaptable game design, accessibility features, or developer and community support. So, yeah, that's
So
basically
Bloodborne.
it.
Bloodborne.
God damn.
Just kidding.
You can't put Bloodborne for everything.
I would.
So, the nominees are Bluey the video game.
Wait, Bluey had a video game?
Yes,
It's actually good.
I didn't know that.
Dang.
It was actually good.
Dave the
I don't
Diver.
care. I'm not speaking actually.
Ghost Trick Phantom Detective.
Again. I put it for
The Legend
everything.
of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah.
Lethal Company.
Oh, yeah.
Pikmin 4.
Pikmin.
Marvel Spider-Man 2, Street Fighter 6, and Super Mario Bros. Wonder. So, Brian, you want to start off with Bluey, the video game, and Dave the Diver?
Yeah. Okay.
Dave
well, so
the
Dave the
Diver?
Diver's Sophia's.
Yeah, that's Sophia's.
Yeah. So I again had to watch videos on that. So sorry in advance. But I actually could see myself really loving that game. But I'll start with Bluey. Bluey, I watched Pat play. Another thing about Bluey,
Matt
this
Pat.
one's more of a selfish reason. My niece and nephew just started getting into video games, and one of the games they want to get down the road is Bluey. They got
That's
Peppa
so
the Pig.
true.
Cute.
They haven't.
Yeah.
They haven't gotten it yet.
No, they got Peppa the Pig first.
That one's, that one,
It's a good game too.
it's $40.
I will totally
But-
pitch in money
$40
to get
for
your
Peppa the
niece
Pig?
and nephew a copy of
Big
that.
Peppa Pig.
But Bluey, the video game, the reason I like it and the reason I picked it for E for Everyone is not just because, it's for kids. When you actually look at the game and break it down, it takes all features that you play from video games, like 3D world movement, 2D world movement, jumping over obstacles. It takes like those basics and teaches kids how to play video games. And I think that's what a kid game should do. Like whenever I think of kid games I played as a kid, I think of like Globs of Doom,
Mario.
Skylanders. I even think of
Kirby.
technically Mario games, but Kirby more so, I would
Yeah.
say.
Kirby's a very tutorial-like game.
Yeah, or
Where it
Battle
teaches
for
the
Bikini
basics,
Bottom.
Fundamentals.
It's like it's a game, but it's teaching you the basics of future video games. And I feel like an E for Everyone award should get people into games more, not just be, oh, this is an easy game your grandpa can play. It should be a game that pushes you to grapple with video gaming as a whole. So that's why I picked Bluey. Not because it's Bluey or anything. I also
It's Bluey.
really I watch Bluey all the time
my sister
because
likes
I got to be able to talk to my niece and nephew about it because they're like, "You see this episode?" And I'm like, "Yes, I did."
Dang, they're cultured children.
What's up?
They're cultured children.
They are. And Bluey, why didn't we have kids shows like Bluey? It's so
I adore it.
cute. They taught, okay, not to get sad and deep,
PBS
but they
Kids?
taught people what parents who can't have kids is without bluntly saying things about
Yeah.
it. You know, like that's an example I give.
We had
And it's
the
just like,
Backyardigans.
so we did have the
Yeah.
backyard.
PBS
And
Kids,
Sesame
Arthur.
Street.
Sesame Street.
Dora.
That was a
But
PBS
Bluey
kid. I was
Bluey
looking
is
at
like
it.
a modern Sesame Street where it talks about heavier topics for kids in a way that's digestible and even adults will sob at it. So that's why I picked Bluey the video game. Now we're going to Dave the Diver.
Yeah.
Dave the Diver, really cute art style. It's pixelated. It's another 2D-ish side-scrolling game. I just like it has a little scuba. I'm so sorry, Sophia. It has a little scuba aesthetic to it. And I watched a gameplay of Gab Smolders play it, and it just looks like a charming little. I can put this game on for a couple of hours. It's very basic to pick up. There's story there that is like easy to maintain. It gives very different gameplay style, but it gives Celeste in that there is a story, but you don't have to focus on that. You can just play with the mechanics of the game.
And it's there for if you want to like look at it.
Yeah.
If you want to actually take it.
Yeah, and it's very much of all the games that I nominated. I think it's the one I'm most excited to jump back into and actually try it. So that's why I put that's why she put Dave the Diver. She'd
That's
have
why
a lot more
Sophia
to say.
nominated Dave the Diver.
Yes, but I'm gonna be gunning for that one.
Ratika, how about Ghost Trick Fan
Alright.
Detective?
When I say Ghost Trick is for everyone, I mean it. I will say I don't think it has like the appeal that Bluey probably has since it is, I believe, rated T for teen. But I think it's a great game to get people interested in other games, especially like games with a bigger story. And I think like for my friends who mostly just like watching movies or like watching TV, I think it's a great introduction into what a game feels like because it is a visual novel mostly with puzzle elements. So it does get people into it. But I also think that like the game itself is super simple. Most of the time you just press A because it's a like dialogue. It's a visual novel. But then the actual gameplay, there's 2 buttons, ghost and trick. I'm not kidding when I say that this is the game where you ghost and subsequently trick. There's literally only 2 games. There's only 2 buttons. So I just think like I'm playing it with my friend now. Keep giving her the controls and she like, the only game she ever played was, like, Super Mario Wii. Like, New Super Mario Brothers for the Wii. And she also was the one who asked me to play it, and then I beat it in, like, 1 level. I beat a level in once when it took her, like, a month to do it. So, she's not, like, the most gamer girl ever. But she's enjoying the game, and I think she enjoys the story, and, like, we've been playing it. And I think that what Ghost Trick does, too, is it makes it easy for people who have, like, lives and I mean, not that gamers don't have lives, but we
famously don't.
Yeah, we
don't
that's
shower.
true.
Famously, that's the word.
What is there?
It allows for people who have like
Try
other
a month.
schedules and needs to like fit in like, oh, I only need like an hour of gameplay because these chapters are only like an hour.
That's
depending
something-
on the puzzle, and you can easily just like
I
stop when you
appreciate
need
that.
to. So I think that this game does it really well, like being structured and stuff. And it's funny, like I said, it has literally everything you want. It would have representation for everything. It has cat, dog, like everything.
Yes, because everything is a cat and a dog.
Yeah, it has cat and dog. Like, it satisfies both cat people and dog people.
Can you pet the dog?
What about ferrets?
No.
Ferrets are
Well,
just
well,
danger noodles. I love them.
I can't in good conscience
I thought the
nominate
snakes
them.
were.
Or snakes are danger
Say
noodles.
snakes are danger noodles.
Ferrets are fluffy noodles.
Yeah, they're fluffy.
In the
Alrighty.
town.
How about Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom? Ryan, you voted for that one as well.
You voted for. Okay, carry on. Go
Zelda.
ahead. Go ahead.
Zelda.
Nintendo.
Boo.
Is that it?
Oh.
No, I don't know. I mean, I'm gonna talk
That's a
more about
pretty-
Tears of the
that's a pretty
Kingdom
bad
later.
reason to
I
nominate
will talk more about
Nintendo.
Tears of the
Yeah.
Kingdom later as well.
Yeah. Oh, we're gonna go
Turn
into
Nintendo
it.
to the ground.
Okay.
Um,
Explain the accessibility of Tears of the Kingdom.
I just think Okay, so my first Zelda game ever was Breath of the Wild, which I feel like is a thing for most people.
Really?
Yeah.
That's insane, actually.
Yeah, usually when I pick the first
Yeah,
Zelda
played
game,
any-
I recommend that if you play Zelda, don't start with either Breath of the Wild.
Well, here's
or
my
Tears
argument.
of
I
the
think you
Kingdom.
start with Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom
Okay.
because I think it takes what most games are nowadays and puts a Zelda filter on it. And I think I wouldn't have wanted to play the other Zelda games until I'd played this one and realized how deep the storytelling is, how great the characters are, how great and innovative a lot of the mechanics are. And I feel like Tears of the Kingdom continues that, and it pushes a lot of game development forward while also teaching you how to play the game, even if you didn't play Breath of the Wild.
you can say it's a link to different games.
To the past.
The past.
Ah, to the-
But I don't know. I feel like it's
gonna
if we're
burn the
going for the
studio
E. What's up?
I said I'm gonna burn this studio down.
But I think if we're going for E for everyone of like games that get people into more games, I feel like Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom are two games that do a good job at that.
True. And if I were to add on to that, because originally I was not on board with that nomination, because I don't feel like Tears of the Kingdom really satisfies every Zelda fan, and so I feel like immediately it's not for everyone. But I will say that literally you can do anything that you want in Tears of the Kingdom. Ultra Hand is an insane mechanic where
Yeah.
anything, like you can play any way you want. You can engage in combat, you can engage in combat. You could engage with the story, you can engage with the story. So in that way, then yeah,
I also feel like,
player choice is above everything in that game.
yeah, I'm also just, this isn't like a joke, I'm genuinely just really bad at video games.
Yes,
And
you
so
are. You
a
suck
lot
at Call of Duty.
I do, even though oh no, I don't. But I feel like this is a game when I hopped in, I didn't feel like I was having to use my brain. I felt like I could just kick back and enjoy it, because I feel like a lot of times I have to put a lot of brain power into being good at the game. This one, I just go. It's nice. It's charming. So that's why it's E for everyone.
Y'all mind if I talk about my 2 nominations real quick?
Yeah.
No.
All right, fuck you. Also, we can swear, by the way, if y'all.
Yeah.
Yeah, 'cause
Shit,
we're
balls,
just-
damn. Oh, thank
We're on
goodness,
YouTube.
okay.
We're on YouTube.
Yeah, this is
Get it all
YouTube.
out of your system, Andre.
Good question. I was wondering about that.
Yeah, we're on YouTube only, so if y'all want to swear,
Yeah.
But not on the actual show.
maybe don't go like super crazy with it, you know.
Right.
So I nominated Marvel Spider-Man 2 and Street Fighter 6 for 2 different reasons. Spider-Man 2 I felt like had a lot of accessibility features, like I thought that was really nice. Like there was a lot of customization with how the heads-up display. It was mainly in terms I don't know how it is in controls, but I think in terms of the display, it was very customizable for people who might like if they have like they need to turn on a certain colorblind feature, they can change the hues of different enemies, different items that you can pick. Like if you need to like look for a specific interactable item, you can change the filters of how everything looks. I felt like that was really nice. I don't think it's probably the most accessible game. Like I think probably Naughty Dog has them beat. Like I remember seeing like how The Last of Us 2 had a lot more accessibility features, but I think it's a good step. And then Street Fighter 6 I felt like was pretty good, considering that Street Fighter does not teach you how to fucking play their games. Like Capcom is really bad about that. Like, and I tried playing Street Fighter 4 like a few months before 6 came out. I could not learn how to play that game for the life of me.
There is one way you can learn.
YouTube.
Button mash.
Yeah.
But yeah, but I don't like. I like fighting games. I don't want to have to button mash. I like to play like as
The
varied
actual combos
fair.
and stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
it's not
That makes
satisfying if you can't land a combo.
Exactly,
Yeah.
and it's like one
I
of
get
like,
that.
and so but Street Fighter 6 had a very, very good, long, and like you can turn off whenever you want to. You can exit out of it whenever you want to. But its tutorial was very in depth and thorough. And bonus points because they actually teach you how to play throughout the course of the World Tour mode, which is essentially story mode. So I don't know. I just felt it was really nice. As someone who'd never, I'm a Mortal Kombat guy. I could just learn how to play Street Fighter, and it's actually also a very good fucking game.
Nice.
Let's talk about Pikmin 4. Andrea and
Pikmin.
Ryan, that was y'all's
Okay.
vote for E for everybody.
Yeah.
Andrea, you want to talk about
I haven't played it.
Fair? Oh yeah, that's right.
right. YouTube videos. Anyways, so continuing on where I left off about Pikmin 4 and the spotlight.
Yeah.
Something that sets it apart from the previous installations of Pikmin is that there's a little bit of something that's, a little bit of something for everybody, I guess. In terms of like, character personalities, it's a lot more varied because usually the games didn't really focus on the it was more narrow because you usually only had like 2 or 3 people as the main focus of the story. You know, with Olimar, Louis, the Copites, you know, Alf, Brittany, Charlie. I fucking love Alf, Brittany, and Charlie. And but here you have Colin, Shepard, Dingo, the whole team. You have a whole bunch of colorful characters, and also with the game modes. Oh, the game modes. You know, you have your bingo battle. You have your little Pikminpedia. You have you know, you can go collect all the things, all the little objects, and you can see the little descriptions around. You have night battle, that, you know, the night trials, where, you know, you can get the ghost Pikmin or the glow Pikmin. That's what they're called, glow Pikmin. But I always saw them as little ghost spirits. Mm-hmm. And like that's something that's it's new, and you know, if you're not used to like the regular Pikmin gameplay, you have that, and you know, you also have to. You know, they have the tutorial, which you can always turn off, or like, you know, a lot of more accessible quality of life things that you didn't have in previous Pikmin games that, you know, anyone can just pick up. And usually I measure like how accessible something is can my mom play this game?
Mm-hmm. That makes sense.
And she can.
She can.
And you said that your family's big Pikmin. Like, you guys love Pikmin.
Yeah, me, my brother, my dad, my sister.
That's badass.
Yeah, and if my dogs had opposable thumbs, they'd probably into it too.
Who do you think what mode do you think they play as? If you
my dogs?
Yeah, if they could play, what mode do you think they play in Pikmin?
I think Charlie would like the subterranean levels in the dungeon areas. Yeah,
Sick.
Where the ice, where you can get the ice Pikmin and stuff. And for Toby, Toby would like the glow battles because he likes to go out a lot at night and sniff around.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I like their voices.
Pikmin!
My family's dead!
My family's dead! What did you do? Pikmin!
And then lastly, we have Super Mario Brothers Wonder.
Oh, yeah.
Ryan, do you want to talk a little bit about it?
It healed me.
It's just
And
good.
that's it.
It's just when you come off the tail end of the new series and every single game's the same fucking goddamn game.
Yeah.
It's so nice to have a 2D Mario game that actually tried something new again. Okay, you're laughing. Mario Brothers DS, new Super Mario Brothers DS, the
was
Wii.
good because it was the first one.
Well, they're all good. They're
Yeah.
just like repetitive. You have New Super Mario Brothers Wii, then you have New Super Mario Brothers Wii.
Two.
Fucking you.
And
No
two.
one wanted that one.
Yeah,
then you had Luigi U. Then you had New Super Mario Brothers 2.
Yeah.
You're telling me all of those came out in the span of 10 fucking years?
Well,
Yeah.
you know, the
What?
the Wii one was my first game ever when I was 8.
It was mine too.
Yeah.
Well,
DS
first
one
Wii
was
game.
my first one.
Okay, and here's the thing. I love all those games. They're not bad. It's
They
just
really aren't.
they kind
the
of
same.
the more they came out, the more they kind of made the others lose value.
Yeah.
I still love each one of those games. Played every single one to
The
completion.
DS one was special because it was a return to the format of the
Yeah.
old classic
Exactly.
Mario
And
games,
it
but
had
then they
some
did it
unique
over and
stuff,
over again.
and then they
Exactly.
just
And
kept
now
adding.
Wonder's making this new generation of let's actually do some real shit again. Let's like do a cool art design. Let's
Yeah.
do some good music. Let's try some goofy ass shit. Like it just
That's
it
actually
feels like they
tried.
actually tried.
And I
Yeah.
like that they also changed up like the way things go. Like you have like the levels that you always do, but they have like little break times. They have little challenges. It's just fun.
It's
Like the
charming.
Toad houses?
For sure.
No, they have like little break time activities. It's like
Like
little
challenges.
levels where
Oh,
the
so
tiny
like
little
Super Mario Land
challenges.
2.
Yeah, it retains a lot
They
of
have,
like what made the originals
KO
charming.
areas, the
Yeah.
search party. I don't know. They were trying. They were doing stuff. They were cooking.
They were doing things.
They were cool.
Somebody's fucking cooking.
And it's also oh sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, go for it.
Oh, it's also the new Mario voice. The first game with the new
Yes.
Marios.
Oh yeah.
I think he killed it.
Charles retired.
Yeah, he's now the Mario ambassador.
Whatever the
I
fuck
think he
that
did a
means.
good- I
And
think
he
he did
ambassadors
good.
Mario.
Oh yeah, the voices were great. I just think it's a good
Yeah.
new
Good
voice.
introduction.
Yeah.
And playable Peach and Daisy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Daisy!
The only negative of this game, in my opinion, is
Multiplayer.
there's no
Multiplayer?
collision.
Yeah.
Wait, what'd you say?
There's no multiplayer collision.
Yeah, so you can't go bump
That's
bump.
the only negative. Everything else is flawless.
Yeah.
I think the multiplayer mode in general is just a little clunky for like the rest
Maybe
of the
it was
game
because it was
because I
Clash with
feel like
yourself?
it's meant to be played just on your own because there's a lot of momentum to the game. Once you hit a wonder seat, it wants you to just go forward.
See, but that's what made the first one so charming.
And yeah, I don't think it's
'Cause it was
bad,
chaos.
but
Yeah,
I
exactly.
feel like for multiplayer, it's
Like imagine playing
it's
it with
frustrating.
As
Yeah.
someone who
Like,
played it
gotta-
as someone who plays games by myself, I liked it.
well, as
Yeah.
someone who plays games with my brother constantly, we would always do like little challenges. You know, sometimes we would also have a third player, like a friend or my little sister, when she started, you know, actually having full control of her hands. She's like 11 now.
But yeah, I agree on multiplayer.
You can't bubble.
So usually
What's up?
I
You
like
can't.
to do
You
multiplayer.
can't bubble.
Like if
yeah,
you're gonna
you
if you're
can't
gonna have this weird thing where the camera like focuses on one person and you have to be
that was
moving forward, you
annoying.
can't
Yeah.
freaking
You have
bubble.
fucking motion
Listen,
controls.
my friends.
Use them.
I use
Sorry, go
my
ahead.
My friends do not play games, and when they learned they couldn't bubble, it was over. That was it. No more Mario Wonder for my friends. Sorry, I don't think it deserves the E for Everybody award just because, like, if
Because E for everyone means multiplayer, right?
exactly.
It doesn't
Well,
necessarily
that
have to,
Doesn't
but
necessarily.
it is something that adds to
They
accessibility.
have little sibling mode. These can't die.
Exactly, little sibling mode. That's what some games should
That is
mean.
true. It really
That is true.
I really do want to see more little sibling mode games.
All right.
I'm done.
Are we on to
So with that, we're going to decide on the E for Everybody award based on the nominations.
Dave the Diver.
The
Dave the Diver.
argument with Bluey kind of convinced me.
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, I was like sold.
Really?
It's
Yeah.
like-
Damn, I kind of put that as a partial joke, but you're valid for that.
No,
No, I think you had a point
we need
because
more
like
games where kids can start playing and
Yeah.
getting into like gaming,
a kid
feel
game
like-
that actually teaches kids how to game.
and isn't like badly done.
Yeah,
All right.
like Garfield.
That's
Kart.
not just a shitty like kids
Garfield
like
Kart.
because kids are
mean-
are a lot smarter than we give them credit for. And,
Yeah.
like, diminishing.
It's also okay to have bad games. Like you can have like we
can
all
have-
had like those
yeah, you can
games
have
that
a
we
shit
loved as a
game.
kid, even if
Like-
it was
Globs of
terrible.
Doom. Ass.
Yeah, like Fireboy and Water Girl.
Whoa. Okay, now we're talking blasphemy. We're lying. I didn't know this was
Now
video
we're
game
playing with fire.
live.
You're playing with fire and maybe water. I'm
And
just
boys
kidding.
and girls.
Yes,
Oh,
Yeah.
Boys and girls and girls.
Yeah,
Welcome to New York. Sorry.
but
I agree with Bluey though.
I
Yeah,
did
I
like
like Bluey.
I
yeah
go
Yeah.
for Bluey.
yeah.
I'm in.
Alrighty. So that
Sorry, Sophia.
That is the E for Everybody award.
We
Goes
just
I'll
to-
gave
give
it to
Joey.
Bluey.
yeah.
I think
You made a very
You made a good
convincing.
point.
You made it a convincing argument.
Were you
there.
lying?
I feel like people
No, I just
forget
didn't think
that
it was gonna win.
kids play games
Yeah.
too,
You're gonna
and
stream
kids
Bluey
need to
now.
be introduced
We
to
need
games.
I'll play it.
Bluey, we
Yeah.
need to.
Let's play Bluey on the show.
Yeah,
But we need we need your niece and nephew.
I'm
back.
not
need
putting
the
them on
Bluey
camera.
Xbox.
That's right.
We need
We
to buy
should- we
the
need to
Bluey
find
Xbox.
some
Right.
kids.
No.
That's right.
We need to do like
Let's rent
recess
kids.
like what's it called? Recess theory?
Like kid
Like
actors.
recess therapy?
Is that allowed?
We
Probably.
need to buy the Bluey Xbox.
I did want it. I low key wanted the. I was about to
It
sell
it
mine to
goes
get the Bluey
hard.
Xbox.
I did see that they were selling.
It goes
That's
hard.
Do you think
crazy.
they have it on PC?
All
Yeah,
right,
it's on
E for
everything.
Everybody award goes to Bluey.
Yeah.
Yippee.
So now
Or
we're moving
snaps,
on.
I guess.
Dun 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 dun
So
dun
can we
dun.
get a drum
That's
roll?
Peppa Pig.
Oh, that is Peppa Pig.
The next category is best ongoing game. And of course, we all love games that continue on for thousands of years into our future. I would have nominated Team Fortress 2 for this, but fuck Valve. But we're awarding this category for the game. We're awarding to the title with outstanding achievement in gaming and continuing developer and player support. So, the nominees are Baldur's Gate 3, Cyberpunk 2077, Fortnite, and Rivals of Aether. Am I saying that right? Is it Aether or Ether?
It's Aether.
Aether. Okay, great. Is that right? Alrighty. So Leah was the person who nominated Baldur's Gate 3, but Ryan and...
I can talk about it.
Yeah, I know you've
I
played
know
it.
Charlotte was defending.
Charlotte, did you want to come do Baldur's
But
Gate 3?
that might just be for Game of the Year. Whoops, I'm not sure if that's a spoiler, but
Oh, no, I think that's pretty... I think it's pretty...
I don't even think she's in studio. I think she went to go do something.
Oh.
But I can talk Baldur's Gate 3.
Sure, you want to talk for a little bit?
They fixed a lot of things the community's complaining about. They're really good about getting updates out. They're already working on DLC. I mean, I'll tell you why I don't think it should be when we get to the debate. But they are very community supporting. They are constantly making fixes to the game, and they are supporting it with
Talking
DLC.
about Cyberpunk?
No, I'm talking about
Baldur's Gate.
Baldur's Gate.
Baldur's Gate. Okay.
Yeah,
Baldur's Gate.
Baldur's Gate.
I wish I was a
Baldur's
Baldur's
Gate.
Sophia wrote Baldur's Gate as Balls Gate. on
Yeah,
the-
that's
on
the. We have a
Baldur's
little.
Gate.
nomination form.
One of our parties, because you can have multiple multiplayer sessions. One of the ones is me, Sophia, Goran, and Leah. Leah's got like 5 sessions, but that
That's
one
so
we called our
nice.
chat Ballsgate.
Baldur's Gate.
How about Cyberpunk 2077?
That's
You
the
and
one I'm-
Sophia. And Sophia.
Sophia did?
Yes.
Oh, cool. Okay, this one I can at least really talk in depth.
Yeah.
This one is more. I just think Cyberpunk is such a good example of fuck the executives, let the devs actually make a game.
Yes.
And now that the executives have realized that it was a financial flop, they're letting the devs actually make the game they've wanted to make since the beginning. And with that release of the Liberty DLC, it's called Liberty City. Phantom Liberty.
That's GTA.
Liberty City's GTA. But with the Phantom Liberty DLC, obviously, like, it's not the best DLC in the world. It was good. It was solid. But
It had Idris Elba in it.
what's up?
They had
Idris Elba in it. But it was what's up?
And Knuckles.
And yeah,
Yes.
And Knuckles.
he did play
Knuckles
Knuckles.
himself.
But the whole thing with this is when that DLC came out, they had Cyberpunk 2.0, and it was the devs finally getting the chance to fix the game how they wanted it to be, and fixing as well issues that the community had with the game. Because, like, as much as I did enjoy the game on launch, it was a big flop. It was one of the biggest flops in the gaming industry. Not because of the dev team, because of the fuck-ass executives. But
Bitch-ass.
I don't know. I just think to see this game finally get the support it deserves, finally give players the experiences they're looking for, and finally give the dev teams the chance to be creative, I think is a beautiful thing. And I think it's a more beautiful comeback than No Man's Sky even. Because No Man's Sky was built on lies by a dev. But this one, it was the devs finally given the okay to do whatever the hell they wanted. And I think that's why I want to vote it for Best Ongoing.
I should have thought of that. I wish I'd nominated it as well.
Yeah, because it's ongoing in an untraditional sense. It's ongoing in an untraditional sense.
Yeah, and that it's just getting fixed and becoming what it was meant to be.
Yeah.
And so Brady's not here, but Ryan, you and I voted for Fortnite.
I mean, the fact that Fortnite still exists is enough to me.
I'll be the one to shout hate for Fortnite because I think it's fucking stupid.
Yeah.
At the same time, I'll also shout love for it because I think it's genuinely kind of insane that it started as a no, well, I don't think it was started as a joke because I mean it started as a survival build based kind of shooter, and then it became
The battle royale.
It
battle
looks
royale.
literally whatever you want it to be, like craziness.
And the fact that there's so many
Lego.
there's
It
so
just
much
has not fallen off. yet.
Rhythm
crazy
game
bullshit.
Fortnite.
I also,
Fortnite.
ever since I worked for that guy who did Fortnite videos, I have more of a respect for the game because I'm realizing this is the next generation's Minecraft. And I think that's such a beautiful game to have this safe space for kids where they can all come together and there's always something new for them.
Yeah.
And to be honest, as much as Epic does fuck up sometimes,
major.
fucks ups, they've done a lot for the industry that we can't ignore. Like even the storefront and the battle pass, as stupid as they can be sometimes when executed improperly, they handle it well and they honestly make money fairly, I would argue. And they're constantly fighting for proper payment to devs, with the whole Apple lawsuit.
Also, shout out for the devs on all of these games, by the way, because to have, especially with Cyberpunk and Fortnite, that they've been running this long, and then they have the fidelity as they do, and they have to keep making content, especially with Fortnite.
Yeah.
Have to keep on making content over years and years. I think that's no small feat, and they probably lose a lot of sleep.
Well, and that's
time.
go ahead.
No, yeah, I just think that's shout out to them for for working so hard.
When Epic treats their Fortnite employees fairly, to my understanding, because they take December off. They get the entire month of December off as a dev team. Obviously, they work a little bit harder in November to get the updates for December, but there's no brand new content updates really in December unless they've pre-planned it. So a lot of the devs, and maybe not all of them, but to my understanding, a lot of the devs get a whole month off to spend with their families, and they don't crunch a whole lot at Fortnite, to my understanding.
Especially considering it is on everything, but it is also a mobile game. It's one of those games that has to have updates, otherwise no one will play it.
Yeah, that's another good point.
It's just the new Minecraft. As much as I'm not a fan of the game itself, it's a new Minecraft, and I can't deny it. Yeah.
No, there's no. Yeah.
And I think it's a good.
That's crazy that 10 years down the road, people are going to be nostalgic for Fortnite.
Well, what's crazy is people already are. The game's 8 years old.
Yeah.
Is it really?
7 or 8 years.
Holy shit!
It came out
when I was in
my
school.
freshman year of high school, sophomore year of high school. One of those two?
Yeah, I was in
No, I
junior
was
high
in
or middle school.
No, I was
2017.
in middle school when I first heard about it.
2017 August. So
2017.
Freshman year.
Yeah.
That was my freshman year. Of high
year.
school.
Yeah, I just moved into Texas around that time.
2017.
No, my sophomore year.
Where
That's
were you
crazy.
from originally? If you don't mind my asking.
Okay, so I was born in
2017?
Florida,
I
then
was
I moved to
in
Connecticut,
junior
then I
high.
went to Texas.
Nice.
Triangle.
Triangle, yes.
And so, Andrea, do you want to talk about Rivals of Aether?
Yes. Okay, so something I like about Rivals of Aether is that it's completely founded, its entire existence and continual life support is based off player support, mod makers, artists. developers who enter their own characters, or enter famous characters, make move sets, stages, songs, everything for Rivals of Aether. It's something that the devs encourage the community to help build it and continue it on. Like, they don't even need to put constant updates, because the community they're really good at that, submitting their own characters, or famous characters. Like, you could have Bugs Bunny, Phoenix Wright, and Luz Nocera.
Tears of the Kingdom Link.
Yes, that's
really.
You could
Yes.
have Virgil in the plastic chair.
Wait.
Specifically, the plastic
I
chair.
want to play the chair.
In Rivals of Aether. Yes, you can play the chair.
It's just based on on if someone wants to actually put in the time to make the character.
Or
Yes.
at least the
this
They have a very
game.
for
dedicated
Link
community.
is crazy.
And the fact that it's still going on with spin-offs too.
I
Like
know what
Dungeons
this
of
is.
Aether. They
Doesn't
even
look
had
good.
an April Fool's thing called Lovers Aether. It was like a dating, a jokey dating sim with all the original characters from the base game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There was another one, I forgot. I think it was like Trials of Aether or something. But the Dungeons of Aether one, it was the spin-off, most recent spin-off in this year. But the fact that it's still here, that it's still on continuing, and they even have terminal montage versions of the characters. You know terminal montage, right?
No.
He's okay. Have you heard something about?
He's the guy who does all those Pokemon battles.
Yeah, the Pokemon Battle Royales.
Yeah.
I've never heard of it.
He's like a really good animator.
Yeah,
Oh,
very
gotcha.
good animator.
He
he's a fun
made the
guy.
character designs.
Yeah.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, basically simplified versions.
really
They're very
familiar.
cute.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Alrighty, so that was a pretty short category.
Yeah.
Y'all want to debate?
Cyberpunk.
Rivals of Aether.
Ooh.
We'll just
I'm
fight right now.
I'm inclined to vote Cyberpunk because I do think, you made a good point, that it is a good example of when a studio can actually flourish, when they actually are given proper support.
But I'm gonna argue that also Rivals of Aether is a massive win for the gaming community.
Yeah,
because,
players,
I mean,
yeah.
It's for the players, by the players, and from the players.
I mean, we
That's
see,
very true.
especially in freaking Nintendo, they do not like letting their players
Oh, they
alter
do
their
not.
games or
They do
continue
not.
letting their games.
You saw the
slip.
Power World
Yeah.
ad or mod.
DMCA.
No.
But I don't know. I think both are really good examples of I don't know, when
Am I the
gamers
tiebreaker?
are
And-
allowed to game.
I'm
Yeah,
ready to
they
debate
can
Lord
actually
this.
have, explore and what's the right word?
Agency.
Yeah, agency.
We have
Yeah,
our
that's a
own
good word
agency
for
with the
it.
things we like.
And actually put it chip into the game and that they're building.
Yeah. And it's encouraged. That's
True.
the thing.
Remember, Tico, what do you think?
Am I the tiebreaker?
I think you might be.
Wait.
I'm
We can
also-
we can
I
both
am
pitch
also-
to you
Okay.
a little more if you
Can
want.
we do a race of hands? Who's
Yeah,
on
yeah.
Aether? Who's on
I'm Cyberpunk.
I'm Cyberpunk.
Okay, I think I'm more Aether.
We're Aether.
We can give our pitches more since
Yeah.
we're the two
Okay.
who have these.
I gotta need a.
So here's my thoughts with
You can
Cyberpunk.
put Mr. Ghost Trick
Roll
in
it.
Rivals of Aether. Can you do that in Cyberpunk?
Good question.
You can roleplay
guy from
as.
Ghost Trick.
Here's the thing about Cyberpunk.
Okay, but can you ghost and can you trick?
Can you
in
ghost and
Cyberpunk?
then subsequently?
You could if you wanted to, I'm sure. No, so here's the thing about Cyberpunk for me, and this is just coming from someone who's constantly into industry news, so obviously the perspective's a little shifted because I'm a dork about industry news. But with Cyberpunk, in an era where AAA studios do not give a flying fuck what the gamers think, it is nice to see a game where finally there's love and passion being put into it, even though it was a flop. And I think that's very rare. I think a lot of times when you think of a game like Anthem from EA, they just drop the game, never up again. Everyone's trying to do live service.
What's
With
Anthem?
this, exactly.
Oh.
Prove the point.
It's a
it
Destiny
was-
knockoff.
It was It was like a 4-player co-op looter shooter that BioWare made. They made Mass Effect
Yeah.
and in fact they actually
Silent
made the
Hill also, right?
no. I think
No,
that's-
you're thinking of Silent Hills,
That's
but that's a
Konami.
different story, though.
yeah.
That's more.
They also made the first Baldur's Gate.
Oh.
Yeah.
BioWare.
BioWare.
KOTOR, the Star Wars. But but after a few years they just dropped it.
Not even a few years. It was a year.
It was a year.
It was less than a year. It was they tried to make a Destiny knockoff.
People didn't
Like it. It's
And-
$1 now if you go buy a physical copy because the online servers don't work.
So yeah.
And
Sorry, but go ahead with.
no, I mean my main thing comes down to in an era where people stopped giving a shit about the devs and the gamers, devs were actually given a chance to pick up where the executives fucked up, which is my only argument. But I also see that argument of what you're saying.
Yeah, because while Cyberpunk, it was something that they learned only after the mistake. Rivals of Aether was on the go, like from the day
Yep.
one. They were all about the community and listening to the
Is
players.
Rivals of Aether indie or
Indie?
indie?
Yeah. I mean,
That's also another good point.
I'm pretty sure it's indie since
Do you know the studio?
um,
Or I can look it up real quick.
yeah, you can look it up because I'm pretty sure if it was a bigger, more bigger studio, they would maybe get in trouble with Nintendo for all the fan submissions for Nintendo characters that you can put in there.
It was developed by.
It's an indie game. Yeah,
It's
Aether
one-
Studios.
It was it's a very, very small team.
Yeah, yeah.
And
also the Disney characters you can put in there.
I think I don't know,
I wonder if someone
it's just
made
so
Steamboat
cool
Willie.
that indie games can fill a space where AAA companies usually fail.
True.
So that's why I'm for Rivals of Aether.
I guess I'm
But
also
I
inclined to.
I like
Yeah.
both. I like
I
both
think-
arguments. So
Yeah, they're both really good. Personally, I've always been someone who tends to go for the niche and obscure, so seeing representation is always nice, especially since the communities I'm in are small, and also, I mean, they're not vocal, but they're definitely can be a bit of an echo chamber.
Yeah.
So just seeing representation for the things I like is nice to see. So I'd say Rivals of Aether, but I totally
Then there we
get,
go. Sounds like that's the
totally
tiebreaker.
also
get
have-
Cyberpunk.
I
though.
also have one final argument for Rivals of Aether. You can play as Gex.
God damn it. Well, but that's
It's true.
That's a very good argument, though.
I mean, Gex makes an insta win in my mind.
Yeah, did you know that we had a running joke that we're super into Gex, or that who was it that was
It's
super?
Scott the Wise.
It was Scott the Wise.
Yeah.
That was where it's from.
Yeah, my running joke is I'm into
Where I
Glover.
got that from.
Yeah, same here. Also with Donkey, he did a couple episodes about.
I love Gex, I'm Donkey. That's what it sounds like.
Donkey, I love Gex.
I still have no
Alrighty,
idea
so
what
that
this is
so
actually
then
about.
the award for best ongoing game goes to Rivals of Aether.
snaps.
Alrighty. So another drum roll for our next award. Best multiplayer game.
Haha,
Uh,
mine is a joke.
what's up?
One of mine's a joke.
Is it really?
Bluey.
Wait, which one? Just go ahead.
Is it Mortal Kombat? All right. Well,
No, I actually like that.
all right. Let's get into it. So the nominees are Baldur's Gate 3, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. Is that the joke? All
But
right.
I'll go into it because there's some valid.
Okay. Diablo 4, Fortnite.
Fortnite.
Brady's not here, so I don't know if we should talk.
I'll argue it.
All right.
I'll argue for it.
Lethal Company,
Mm-hmm.
Mortal Kombat 1, and Super Mario Brothers Wonder.
Can I just say, I feel like we could talk about all these games. I feel like we all know what we're all going to pick, right? Am I being too
No.
presumptuous by saying I feel like Lethal Company is just the winner?
Okay, I was
Because
gonna
it's
say,
this year's Among Us.
I
Yeah.
really want to vote Lethal Company.
Because I didn't even
I didn't
nominate
see
Lethal
Lethal
Company, and that's my
Company.
vote.
I don't
Yeah.
have a horse in this race. I just
Neither
do
do
not
I.
think Mario Wonder deserves
I'll
it.
be honest,
neither do
yeah,
I.
it
That's
doesn't
fair.
have sibling mode, so
I
I
mean,
don't know much about Lethal Company, but
it's basically Among Us.
yeah.
But if you had the aesthetic of Half-Life.
Well,
it's not. It's like popularity-wise, it's the Among Us. It's like a 4-person survival horror game that you can all talk via proximity chat, and you're supposed to collect parts to make enough money to pay the company off, or you die trying. And that's the gist of it.
Who
Oh my
nominated
God, it's
Baldur's
Pikmin
Gate?
2.
Yeah,
Who
basically.
nominated Baldur's Gate?
Andrea and Leah.
Here's my thing for Baldur's Gate.
Yeah.
It's not intended to be a multiplayer game. I feel like when I've played it now, it plays as a multiplayer game, but a lot of the functions in it scream single player. So like for example, if someone wants to talk to an NPC, they get to make major story decisions for everyone and everyone just has to watch. So I feel like while it's fun playing multiplayer,
So
its core intent is single
It's
player.
kind of like
You would
Pokemon Scarlet Violet.
Yeah.
You would think that a game that's primarily, modeled after D&D would be more multiplayer based or at its core. Because D&D, it's all about teamwork as a team, a bunch of friends together around the table, multiplayer.
And it is very multiplayer. I'm not saying it's not at all. They definitely put effort into making the
Yes,
multiplayer. I just know that I engage with the story significantly less when I'm playing in a session of 4 people because I don't get to have party members and stuff because that is your party versus when I'm playing single player. I feel like I interact with the story a lot more. I get a lot more out of the characters because when you're in 4 players, you can't bring someone in your party unless it's for the story. And so that's why my argument is while it's fun multiplayer, I don't think it matches the fun of Lethal Company.
Okay.
I would agree as well. I think Lethal Company, it's one, I think it's cool because it was built by one person.
Oh,
which
wow.
is
And he's a furry. And no one's hating on him, which is
That's
progress.
so
What's
real.
up?
Huh.
And no one's hating on him, which is progress.
That's lovely. I'm glad. Good
Well,
for
I didn't
good for
know
them.
he was a furry until now.
If you
But,
watch the
like-
logo pop up when you open the game, it's his persona.
Oh, that's
Oh,
is that
that's
what
crazy.
that
yeah,
is?
it's his persona.
That's
Persona?
funny. I love
Yeah.
that for him.
Huh.
awesome.
But no, like I think it's crazy just how quickly it took off and just how simple but like in
Effective
depth
it
it
is.
can go with like all the items you can
Also, you
get.
can
It's less
bring
than a
in mods,
gigabyte.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
mods. It's less than a gigabyte.
That's also the thing. It's also accessible in that way
Yeah.
if you don't have a.
The arachnophobia mod.
Oh,
I think that's actually.
I have
just a feature.
arachnophobia.
Oh,
Yeah,
the
it's a feature.
Like,
Mhm.
Spider.
It's just so the arachnophobia mode. You put it on, and instead of seeing the spider, it just says
The
spider.
word spider, and it just goes to you like.
That's so
That's
funny.
funny.
It's a fun game. I want to do it for the show because I
cheeky.
think you would eat it up, Melody.
I would play, especially
thought you
if
said you
bring in
played it.
mods. I know. I said
Oh.
I haven't.
You would eat it up.
Someone had to give me
Yeah.
a computer because like I refuse to download games on my computer. I'm sorry.
No,
I
you
don't-
physically
I have
could
an
run
app.
this on your computer. It's
Yeah.
less than a
Ah,
gigabyte.
It's
Mad.
very.
Is it
might
on
make
both?
it like
Ah.
mine sounds a little like a jet engine when it runs, but that's just because I have a MacBook.
The mods
a
will
Mac?
kill
But
it.
that's
Okay.
the thing. Like I don't.
put it on my PC.
That's everything. My
Yeah.
PC sounds like a jet engine.
My
Yeah.
PC's on my laptop's on life support, and I don't have it with me.
It's as long as you don't download mods, it functions
Okay.
well.
Can I argue against Mortal Kombat 1? I'm sorry.
I said Mortal Kombat 1 not because of the online multiplayer. I know that's a whole fiasco.
Oh, okay.
Every time I've played Mortal Kombat 1 this year with a friend, local player, it's some of the most fun I've had in multiplayer.
That's fair.
Which is why I nominated it. But in hindsight, I finished the form and I go, wait, there was a whole
wish-
controversy.
I was. Oh, go ahead, Melody.
I was just gonna say I wish we had like stronger local multiplayer games.
Local.
The only
Local.
one I can think of is It Takes Two in
I
recent
was gonna
memory.
It Takes
Oh.
Two is so good, but
Hey,
it's two people.
And there's also
That was
a
in
Way Out.
2023 though, right?
No, it was.
That was 2022.
2020.
Yeah.
I
Two.
think it was
Yeah.
one.
No,
'Cause
it was
it-
2021.
It was later. It was-
Was it one?
It was older,
Was
yeah.
last year.
Oh,
Yeah,
shit,
it
you're
was-
right. Okay.
It Takes Two won 2021.
You know what's a
Elden Ring
game
won
that-
But the Game Awards were in 2022, right? Or they were still in
Yeah,
2021?
they were 2022, but at the very beginning. Of the
Gotcha, okay.
You know what's something? I know it's not on the list, but it just came to me about something that came out this last year with good multiplayer. Kirby's Return to Dreamland DX. Because the game was all about introducing the four
Charlotte.
multiplayer in the Wii. But, you know, now they add a
She'll
bunch
come
of,
running.
like, new stuff. You know, with all the super mini games in Magolor Land. I love Magolor Land. I just played that with my brother for hours. You know, my brother, my sister, and we could just go on debates on how we're doing with the samurai mini game. I would love that. And like, you know, that's just something that we can all play locally.
No, yeah, but
Yeah.
there's definitely like we definitely do need more like
Couch
good
co-op?
local
Yeah,
co-op games that like
couch games.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like couch co-op games.
Yeah.
Like Overcooked.
Or not co-op. Or you know
Mario Party.
Or just
Mario
just
Party.
like people
That's
to
couch
play
Big one.
games.
couch,
Yeah.
just couch games.
Couch games.
See, I used to love playing Call of Duty with my brother.
And now it's fucked when you try to play multiplayer. Remember
Yes.
how long it took for us to get that set
But
up?
couch co-op is good too.
I remember that. I fucking that took like
20 minutes.
20.
Yikes.
But I feel like, unless anyone else wants to say anything about the games, just to keep things moving, I feel like Lethal Company's our
Yeah.
winner.
Good with that.
Yeah, I like Lethal Company.
Alright.
Are we good with voting?
I mean, unless anyone wants to talk about the other games. But I feel like
I don't know.
I was sold when I heard Lethal Company, because I
I'm not
forgot to
fast.
nominate it.
Yeah, I also forgot about Lethal Company.
Yeah.
I was thinking about Baldur's Gate. But, oh yeah, that's the D&D thing. I play D&D on Sundays, so I was like, that's pretty multiplayer-ish.
But I do think you make a good point that it doesn't feel like it's mainly built around single player, but has multiplayer.
Yeah, and like in a normal year, if there were no multiplayer games that came out that blew my mind, I'd probably be Baldur's Gate. But it's just because Lethal Company's just so fucking good.
I know, there's unlimited multiplayer games, but no games.
But no games.
Yeah.
All the bacon, though.
So we're good with
Yes.
Lethal Company.
I'm fine with that.
Lethal Company.
Just to keep it moving a little bit.
I completely forgot to say what this was for. Outstanding achievement in multiplayer gaming, including online, local, and co-op play.
And
which
we got
just
that
talked
done.
about.
We did it.
We did talk about that.
Yeah.
So congratulations, Lethal Company, and I guess Zeekers.
Except you don't have local play, but that's okay.
Yeah. Wait, what?
They don't have local play, right?
Yeah, Lethal Company needs to be played. Oh well, technically you can. There's LAN play.
Oh,
You
there's
can
LAN.
play. Yeah, you can play on LAN.
You
Okay.
still need. That's not like local.
That's true.
I guess it is local, it's not couch.
It's like pseudo-local.
Yeah,
You can't play on the same couch, but you can play like in the same room
exactly.
Yeah.
or the same house.
Like Minecraft.
Yeah, exactly.
Like Among Us.
All right, so we're moving on to the next category. Let's go ahead and do a round or drum roll.
A round of a drum roll.
Best sound.
Ooh, I nominated a shit
I know
ton
it's
for
not-
this.
I'm aware.
I'm so sorry.
Very
Are we gonna
aware.
play
Okay,
I thought we could also
I'm gonna
nominate
rapid talk about these.
Are we
I
gonna
will.
play them well? That way we
I
have
thought
an
we were
idea.
only supposed to
Like
nominate
if there was a
one.
song.
You can do
The
multiple.
soundtrack
It said on there.
is-
Well, now I
Soundtrack.
know. I only nominated one.
Oh, that's
I,
valid.
It was so hard.
Oh my
to
gosh,
choose
guys.
one.
Okay,
So just to
soundtrack is gonna be
clarify, sound is different. I originally had it as one category, but
Yeah, but
Oh.
sound design is different from
I
actual
see.
soundtrack.
Exactly. Mhm.
Okay.
I did want to nominate music as well because I feel like that's also an important part. But then Ryan also suggested the same thing, and I was like, yeah, because I did.
You can have good soundtrack, not a good audio
That's
design.
very true.
Yeah.
But let's
I
go
nominated
into
like
the
8.
nominations also.
Girl.
But yeah,
Oh my
just to-
gosh. You couldn't choose your favorite?
You can pick multiple.
Okay, I'm gonna.
I'm gonna rapid
do it
fire.
here.
I'm gonna
I'll
dissect
rapid
what
fire.
you did.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Alrighty, so the nominees are Alan Wake 2, and Amanda the Adventurer, Baldur's Gate 3, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3, Dead Space, Diablo 4, Dredge, Brady as a joke wrote Godzilla Destroy All Monsters Melee, which came out in 2002.
I was born.
Same. Hi-Fi Rush,
Yeah.
Killer Frequency, The Legend of Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom, Resident Evil 4, Marvel Spider-Man 2, Starfield, and Super Mario Bros. Wonder. And really quickly before I move on, before I forget again, we're nominating this award to the title with Outstanding Use or Innovation in Audio Design, including sound effects, sound integration, fidelity, and more.
If Splatoon 3 came out last year, I would have put that there.
I have no idea what the sound is like in Splatoon.
Neither do I.
To be honest, I've never played a
It's very
Splatoon game.
squiggly.
It
Very
is.
squiggly.
Yeah.
You heard that right.
Alright, on to the
Yes.
nominees.
Can I start with Alan Wake?
Yes.
Oh, you
We
talk about
haven't
Alan
talked
Wake.
about Alan Wake at all.
But I wanna
so
add
far,
something to
So let's start with Alan Wake.
Yeah.
I guess so from the first game, I feel like Remedy really stepped up their shit because Alan Wake 2 is definitely the game that Remedy has wanted to make. I feel like for a long time, like Sam Lake, the creative directors, emphasized that the first one was supposed to be survival horror, and it being more action horror kind of oriented, but now it's like full survival horror, and the tone that you get from this game when you're in the dark in the woods, and you hear like it's windy. Everything rustles. It sounds so crisp in the wind, and just hearing the Taken have very specific voices. The enemies in the game that are like so creepy and distorted, but you hear them out of the corner of your hearing, and it scares the hell out of you. And oh, do you want to close the studio door, Ryan? Appreciate it. But yeah. It also has really cool like sound effects because it deals with like the supernatural and the way that they figured out how to make those sounds feel like ethereal but also dark and creepy. It's just so good. Like when you shine a flashlight on something, it sounds like you're blasting it with something pure, and it just blows up when you get rid of the darkness. It's so fucking cool. The sound design in that game is awesome. But
I was just
Ryan,
gonna add. So all the games I nominated, with exception to a few, I listened in Dolby Atmos because I finally bit the bullet and bought the extension. Alan Wake 2's Dolby Atmos mix is one of the most immersive things I've ever listened to. I was fucking horrified. It was good.
What's Dolby Atmos?
Dolby Atmos, I forget the direct specifications, but Dolby Atmos is they take a scan of the room. You're a center point, and they attach sounds to objects. So it becomes real-world sound, basically. So let's say there's a rock over here, and someone's clicking on the rock. You can make the sound come specifically from that rock, so no matter which direction I am, I'm going to hear the rock from that direction. So if the rock's in my right, it's in my right. If it's in front of me, it's in front of me. If it's above me, it's above me. So the sounds are real-world directionality.
Is that like a
It's-
new thing?
Oh, it's relatively, like last 5 years.
Yeah.
A lot of movies will do it now. If you ever see a movie that says Dolby
Yeah.
Atmos mix, go purchase the ticket for it because it's a really cool experience.
I need to play Alan
It's
Wake 2 with that.
5.1.7, I think. Well, I'll look up the official thing. But a lot of these I listened in Dolby Atmos.
Interesting.
Stunning.
Interesting.
Ryan, you want to talk about some of your nominees? We have
The ones.
a long list of them.
Yeah, go one by one. I'll start with Alan Wake 2. Same stuff you said. Dolby Atmos was gorgeous.
How about Amanda the Adventurer?
Man of the Adventure is an indie game, and for an indie game with sound design, it was a cool little creaks of an attic. It really brought you into it. Didn't have a Dolby Atmos mix, but it was really pretty.
How about Baldur's Gate 3?
Baldur's Gate 3, I just like the sounds. I just was like, I took a sound course. I'm a big sound guy and everything.
I like that.
Yeah, I love sound. And Baldur's Gate 3 doesn't have a Dolby Atmos mix, but a lot of the sounds they make with Foley and stuff were really cool, and I like how they designed a lot of the spell sounds and a lot of enemies. Every little thing is a sound.
How about COD?
COD, okay, that's one thing. As shitty as COD games have been in recent years, because I played every COD game ever. I'm a fucking nerd. And their Dolby
you were
Atmos
bad
mixes
at
are some of the best. What's up?
I thought you were bad at them.
No, that's
No,
the joke Mateo
I was
has.
just joking, because
That's the one game I'm good at.
We did a 1v1, he beat
Okay.
me by like 1 kill.
Yeah.
Good at COD, but are you good at tilapia?
I'm better at salmon.
Okay.
But no, COD games never flop with their Dolby Atmos mixes. I think they're some of the most beautiful sound design in video games, and that's really weird considering the game isn't really, outside of sound, have much effort put into it.
We can thank the State Department for their wonderful funding of Call of
Exactly.
Duty.
But the gun sounds are always crisp. They a lot of times use real world guns and record them in real life
Do you
and
think
put
that's
them in.
funded?
100%. Yeah, it's funded by the
No, it's
military.
funded by the government.
Yeah, but they always do well directionality. It actually enhances the gameplay because you can actually hear footsteps behind you, above you, and all that stuff. And in the campaign, despite how shitty the story is, it's really good sound design.
How about Dead Space?
Dead Space
I'll also agree with you on this. I think Dead Space has great sound.
goes kind of back to Alan Wake 2, my same reasons. It's a horror games, when sound is done right, bring you in and get you scared. I don't think visuals are scary in games. I don't get scared by visuals. I get scared by good sound
'Cause
design
it's
and good
immersive.
music. Yeah, it's immersive. It brings it
Also-
all together.
I also think like from a 2008 to 2023 upgrade that Dead Space is, I think it does really good. I love that they made it even more like metallic and industrial and like clanky. Like everything is like so metallic and like heavy and also like meaty with like the necromorphs and everything. So I agree. How about Diablo 4 and Dredge?
Diablo 4, I just kind of tossed in because I only got to play a little bit of it. It has a good mix just in terms of, hell. It really, I don't know. I feel like fire is a hard sound to get to sound good in a game, which is really a cheesy thing to say. But Diablo does a good job with it. It's kind of the same thing with Baldur's Gate. Like torches in Baldur's Gate sound good. But I just think the atmosphere of hell has some really cool sound design to it.
And Dredge.
Dredge is just so pretty. Water. I'm a sucker for water sound
Oh
design.
yeah, this water sound design. You can just hear the quietness. There's also the quietness, and you kind of hear like little bits underneath the waves. So much submersive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It gets you in. It's really good. And I also like Last of Us Part 2. My friends make fun of me because whenever you first see a waterfall in that game, I think I sat there for like 20 minutes listening to it because I just love the sound.
Did
So
you
it's the same kind of thing in
Did you at least
Dredge.
go through the waterfall to see if
Yes.
it was
You have
I
to
did.
go and see if there's a cave behind it.
yeah.
But that's why I like Dredge. Water sounds.
Water
Good job.
sounds.
What else did I have? Resi 4?
We have Killer Frequency, Resident Evil 4, Starfield, and Super Mario Bros.
Jesus Christ, I'm so
Oh,
sorry.
Ryan, what are you doing?
I legit opened
Too many.
I saw the nomination form and I literally like almost like slammed my head into the wall. I was like, Jesus Christ.
Listen, we usually do a ton. We usually film this podcast in 2 6-hour parts. That's what I'm used
You know,
to.
and I'm
Oh
glad that I
my.
only did one nomination.
I did
Yeah.
2
but-
if I needed to.
I did 3 nominations in
I thought
total.
that was
I
too
think
much.
Max did.
My sound ones were the big ones. I
But to
don't
be
have a
fair,
lot for us.
We did say like you could
Yeah,
have us
yeah,
do it.
yeah.
But Killer Frequency, radio sounds, little indie game. When an indie game does a good job at sound design, I'm sold. Again, it goes back to the whole horror thing argument. I think it does a good job for a horror game. Resi 4, horror game, really good sound mix, really immersive environments. And for a game that was remade from the ground up based off the original 2008,
2005.
4, 5, yeah. Early 2000s, really good. What else do I have? Mario Wonder.
I know it can
It's a
come
good
out
sound.
2004 because that was when Dead Space came out.
Yeah.
That was basically
Yeah,
just
because like
pitched
with
as
every little
Resident Evil
jump or move you do, there's like a little bit of music.
They
notes.
changed
snare
like all
drum.
of the sound effects,
Yeah,
and it
with
was
the-
really good.
Did I put Tears of the Kingdom on this?
Adaptability.
Someone did.
Tears of the Kingdom
Not me.
was Sophia, Andrea, you, Leah, and
Oh,
yeah.
Shit,
Tears of the
I'll do
Kingdom
that.
is my other
I
choice.
feel like
Yeah.
just like on numbers alone, it should go to Tears of the Kingdom. Not saying that it will, but like, come on, that's like
That's a
40
That's my
people.
second pick. I'm going Alan Wake first, I think. But Tears of the Kingdom.
I think Tears of the Kingdom like loses
And
my
I
vote.
mean, you can throw in my vote too because
Fair
like
enough.
I didn't put
Yeah,
it
when it
because
comes to,
I
like,
didn't
sound
think.
design and integrating that into the environment. Tears of the Kingdom, Breath of the Wild, that entire style, the devs behind it, they aced it. They took their notes and they studied instead of sleeping maybe weird analogy based off personal experience, but they did the work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's so hard not to talk about Tears of the Kingdoms and Breath of the Wild sound without also mentioning the music because it's blended so well together.
It's adapted.
It's like you don't even notice that it's there.
Or even the iconic achievement thing. Sorry, good.
Oh, what's that?
Like when you open a shrine or whatever and it goes ba-da-da-dun.
Yeah.
Or like, I know it's like a music thing, but like I love Tears
You'd know
of
what
the
I'm talking
Kingdom, like the new like tower system where like you get shot up into the air.
Mhm.
That is my favorite thing
Bro,
to do in that
okay.
game. Like the
Yes.
Like that's my favorite. Like I would constantly like find an excuse to fast travel just so I can like shoot myself into the air.
And if
it's so
you
fun.
ever listen to the dive music without the sound of the wind, it's so jarring. And like I feel like that's just like a testament
Yeah,
to
you
like how necessary that the sounds are to Tears of the Kingdom.
Environmental.
Yeah, to the environment. So yeah, I didn't even nominate it, but I
That would make
do.
for a
It does
cool
have my
skit,
vote.
You know,
I'm
Tears
good
of
on the rest of mine, by the way. I don't have to go
I
over
do
this.
want to say
Yeah, funny skit, like someone falling down on the green screen, like parodying Tears of the Kingdom, and then they fall like a belly flop.
I was thinking we could have done that for promo, but
Or for the Game Awards. Come up from behind the stand. Hey, welcome. Anyway,
we should. Damn, if we have time, maybe we should do that.
I'm so down. I'll do it. We should
Um,
have Melody do it. She's the Legend of Zelda
no,
person.
no.
I kind of want to talk
You're
about.
wearing green.
I kind of want to talk about Hi-Fi Rush real quick,
Go for
Oh
it.
yeah.
just because
That's
like
another reason why I didn't nominate Tears of the Kingdom, because I feel like Hi-Fi Rush kind of has it.
'Cause
my
it's
my
really
opinion
soul sound.
my opinion on Tears of the Kingdom is just that it like the sound isn't a too big step up from Breath of the Wild in my opinion. I think the music you could argue is different. I think the music is a little different.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
I think like with Tears of the Kingdom with the sounds of like Ultra Hand and especially Ultra Hand like where it's like that weird kind of like
Ethereal ghost hand.
yeah like
Anyway.
I think that's like really cool. I think the sound effects they really nailed, but I think Hi-Fi Rush simply because of I don't see too many games where like it's based on the like kind of like that like the way that this game does it. And I think because like I'm also partial to rock, I love rock music, as we'll get into with best soundtrack or best music and original score. But
Tony Hawk.
I love Tony Hawk games.
Yeah.
I do. It's half my skate playlist. But I think Hi-Fi Rush is really just like again. I think Tango Gameworks deserves so much love, especially for how they implemented the sound into this game, and especially because it's gameplay oriented and it leads to some of like the coolest gameplay like I've played in a while. It's really fun.
And they have a good Dolby Atmos mix.
I'll
If
do
you ever get the chance to play Hi-Fi Rush, go spend the $15 for the Atmos attachment on a Microsoft computer or on Xbox, whatever you play it on. It turns your headphones into a Dolby Atmos.
I
So
need
and it'll
better
turn any pair
headphones.
into it. What's up?
I need better headphones.
It'll turn any pair of headphones, even
I got a
earbuds.
pair of headphones from American Airlines.
That's valid. But no, Hi-Fi Rush's Dolby Atmos mix is really polished and nice, and they put a lot into it.
So we want to go ahead and vote.
I will vote.
No, go for it.
All right. As much as I would like to give it to Tears of the Kingdom, and it sounds like there's a lot of people who are not here who would also give it to Tears of the Kingdom, I think I would rather give it to either Alan Wake or Hi-Fi Rush because of how important the sound is to playing the game.
Yeah, it's a core part of the game.
Yeah.
The game identity.
Yeah, it's
I
like
think-
Ryan said, like with horror, it's not scary unless you have good sound in the game.
I think personally, like I think where Alan Wake's like sound design and implementation like is best when it comes to everything that's in the dark place, which is like the second part of the game, and then everything that like when you're actually being stalked by like a Taken. Like I think that's some like the like because I'm usually don't play horror games, but like it actually kind of like made me tense, and especially since that game's fucking dark.
Literally.
In a good way. It's literally very dark.
Yeah.
But also Hi-Fi Rush, I think it's that is an integral part of that game, and it would not be the same without its sound design.
Yeah.
I'm Hi-Fi Rush.
I'm Hi-Fi Rush.
I've been shifted.
You've been shifted.
Because I was originally going to say Alan Wake 2. But
I
Yeah, something that's
don't know
integral.
either one really well, but I like Hi-Fi. If you think Hi-Fi is like won't be the same without it, then
Yeah,
I'd
I
probably side
It's
with
what
it.
makes the game.
I personally think it's a really important part of that in both like how it plays. So I think that's like and it does it well. It's not just like half-assed. It does it pretty well.
Yeah.
Hi-Fi Rush.
Hi-Fi Rush.
All right,
Hi-Fi Rush.
snaps
Alrighty.
to Hi-Fi
High
Rush.
five rush.
Now
High-Five Rush.
for the battle.
Feeling
This
high-five.
is the ultimate showdown of ultimate
Yeah,
destiny.
this is
This is the ultimate showdown.
Down of
Ultimate Destiny.
Good
Let's go
bad,
and
bad,
Speaking
do
of
the drum
music. Actually, you know what? We know what wins. Da 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 da. I'm kidding.
roll. Best music and original score.
All right.
All right.
Wait, what was that music from?
This
Zelda,
is
you know?
for
Yeah.
all the freaking
Bum, bum, bum,
this is for all the
This is
freaking
where it matters most.
Zelda.
Okay.
All right, let's go on.
So
All right.
So obviously,
Yes.
games.
I'm sitting up
Are we
for this one.
gonna listen to all of them?
Yeah, no, I'm making a joke.
No, I meant like, are we gonna actually be able to listen to them?
I can go ahead and play it
Oh.
for us. I have the songs
The
that y'all
links,
sent
right?
in listed, except
Oh.
for
I struggle to choose
Andre,
one.
your game. What did you nominate?
Bomb Rush Cyberpunk.
Yes, I wasn't able to. I didn't get the link. I think
What?
I was in a. I did get the link. I didn't put it in the document that I'm using, but we can go ahead and look it up.
Okay.
But so obviously, games and their music are very important to
I
building
know
what their identity
Yeah.
and our memories of them down the line. So, the category
Oh my
for best
gosh.
music and original score, we're awarding to the title with outstanding use of pre-existing music and/or outstanding composition and direction of an original score. So the nominees are Alan Wake 2 with special mention of Dark Ocean Summoning by Old Gods of Asgard, Bomb Rush Cyberpunk,
Woo!
Diablo 4, Dredge, El Paso Elsewhere with specific mention of Human Sunday by Lake Savage, Ghost Trick Phantom Detective with special mention of Ghost Trick.
The name.
Is that the name?
That's just
of
the name.
Yeah,
of the
that's the
song.
name
That's
of the
title
track from the game's composers. Hi-Fi Rush, The Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom, with special mention of
Sorry.
Colgera Battle.
It's so good.
It's such a good song.
It's so freaking good.
Ooh.
That one's not even my favorite, but I used it as an example. Go ahead.
It was pretty good when I listened to it. Starfield, Street Fighter 6 with special mention of Not on the Sidelines by various artists, and Super Mario Bros. Wonder with special mention of Piranha Plants on Parade
Hello.
by the game's composer.
Piranha Plant, that's crazy.
It reminds me of Bulls on Parade from Rage Against the Machine,
Oh my god.
which is the complete opposite tone.
Yeah.
Does that make us old, Mateo?
What that we
That we
know
talk
Rage,
about Rage of the Machine?
Rage Against
Rage
the
Against the
I
Machine.
think
Get out of here.
my friends don't know about Alice in Chains, and that makes me feel old.
I mean,
I don't
Alice
know
in
who that
Chains
is,
is a
But I
classic.
also just don't know.
See, that's what I
mainstream
say.
I need to
music.
talk about
Have you
this.
guys have you
Yeah.
guys heard of Alice in Chains?
Yeah.
No.
I swear to God.
No, I've heard of it.
They're-
Like my old music teacher from middle school talked about him.
No,
See,
so don't
like
know
my
mainstream
like
music.
I asked like a lot of my friends, and like all 5 of them said they'd never heard of Alice in Chains.
How old are they?
They're like our age.
I will say
Maybe
I
they're
constantly
just
get called an old man, so I'm probably not the best person to help you on this one.
No, my friends called me. They said I have grandpa taste in music.
Oh my god, that's what everyone.
Yeah.
Thank
my
you.
friends call me grandma sometimes, but that's just because I'm like 1 year older than everyone
I'm just a
else.
child.
So,
You said you were born in
does anyone
2002.
want to start
Yeah, yeah.
specifically,
2000.
Melody?
I will
you seem-
start.
You
Yes,
seem charged
please.
up. Do you
Okay,
want,
listen.
Do you want to put on Colgera Battle for us to listen to?
Sure. I'm gonna start with my spiel first.
All right.
So, Tears of the Kingdom is a very good game. Obviously, it appeals to a lot of people, but I also feel like there's a lot of flaws with the game, and it kind of loses some of the original fans of the Zelda series. But I think where, like, everyone is on board, everyone agrees, is the freaking soundtrack is so good, and that it just... I literally can't even talk about it because I feel like it just does the series justice. The Zelda series in all of its entirety justice.
Mm-hmm.
And I think what Zelda in general does good overall is that they always like call back to different little musical motifs. And in Colgera Battle, there are so many little musical motifs. It's like crazy.
Like Kirby.
Let me think. Hold on. Let me like calm down a little bit. So Colgera Battle, it's during the Wind Temple, and for most people, it'll probably be their first temple because it just kind of pushes you in that direction. There's a little build up to the Wind Temple every time you get a little, what are the little spinny things? Propeller
like
going.
the wind tunnel thing.
Yeah.
Tunnels.
Every time you get a wind tunnel going, the music kicks up. It's adaptive. The more further along you move into a temple, the more the music will swell. And then obviously, at every temple, the big climax of the song is during the boss fight. And for Colgera Battle, there's just this like little bit where they like keep calling back to Rito Village and Rivali's theme, and oh my god, just play the music. It's just so good.
Yeah, that's...
The bird.
Yeah. I don't know where it is, so we're just gonna have to listen to the song. I mean, is that even really a punishment? No.
Let's see here. There's a most watched part. Maybe this is what it is.
Probably. So yeah, you got, you know, cool little instrumentation. You can hear. Yeah, so it's cool. You know, it's cool.
I also want to.
It just. Ah! Go back. It's right
Oh,
there.
sorry.
Wait.
So yeah, it just builds up with this like little flute. And then, bam! Doesn't it sound so good? And
Yeah,
obviously,
it's the Dragon Roost theme.
yeah, it's the Dragon Roost theme. I haven't played Wind Waker,
Yeah.
but like, I can imagine that if you are a longtime Zelda fan and you're playing this and like the music's already going crazy, like you're flying in the air, and then that goes in. Oh my gosh, that's
I just-
like that just made the game for me. I don't need anything else. I was satisfied like 30 hours into the game just by that, and it doesn't stop there.
I legit got chills when I listened to that. bit. I was like,
Exactly.
that's- and I don't think
It's
I
very
actually.
pretty.
I stopped playing like I think when I got to like the Wind Temple, so I probably have missed this. To
Oh
be
my
honest.
God.
When you
Play-
also have
You
that
gotta pick this up.
that
guys.
musical motif, as much as I was joking about it, when they go the da 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 da, that's like in almost every song in some capacity if you really break down the music, because a lot of games
Yes.
have that one motif, and I feel like Tears of the Kingdom's motif is fucking insane. It's just those 4 notes, the da 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 da.
And like,
I
if
guess 5
any
notes,
That's
but
5.
game is actually The Legend of Zelda, it's Tears of the Kingdom.
yeah.
It like this is Zelda's story and even though I am
They
like
finally
mixed
made it about
about
Zelda.
like
Yeah.
the story, like it's about Zelda and her theme can be heard in so many different ways in all
We
the
can finally
cutscenes.
say that the main character is Zelda.
It's just so
Well, and even going back and playing the old games,
Yeah.
I don't think, because I started playing them all, I think the soundtrack is so fucking good in this game. I don't think it could be beat. I don't think any of the other Zelda games have a better soundtrack than Tears of the
oh
Kingdom.
my
It's really
gosh.
good.
Like
Yeah.
Dang.
I probably would
high
call it
bargain.
the best soundtrack. And like at the finale, at the climax of the game, when you're like going towards, you know, confronting Ganondorf,
Yeah.
it's again that adaptive sound, and you hear like that reverse weird, like I don't know even know what you'd call that.
like
The
Ganon's,
reverse
like, weird-
chanting.
Yeah, like the,
Yeah, from the title music and from when you were first like dropped into the game with Zelda by your side, and it's just like it's so eerie, and it's not even Zelda's not a horror. It's not scary. It hasn't been very scary since
Twilight
Twilight
Princess.
Princess.
Twilight
maybe.
Princess,
Well,
Majora's
maybe even
Mask.
Skyward Sword.
Oh, I fucking love Majora's Mask.
Like,
I've-
but that I was like, I was getting nervous, and I was like, there's no way I don't beat Ganon in one try. Like Zelda's not very hard, but like, it was able to make me feel nervous, even though I knew that there was no way I wasn't going to lose. It's just,
it's good at setting tone.
it's epic. That's the best way to put it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Zelda
like-
itself is an epic. Like
It's
in
like-
the most, literature-ish kind of term.
Ryan, I know
I don't
you
know.
also.
Anyway, I'm sorry.
No, you're good. Ryan, I know you also nominated the. Did you have anything else you wanted to say?
I was.
Oh
Very,
no,
like,
my main
sporadic.
thing was, I mean, she said everything I wanted to say,
No, for
but
sure.
my main thing was just adding in that motif, because every game has a musical motif, and I think that one kills it.
I think I might honestly like just from the chills I got from that like flourish. I'm like, damn. It's
Yeah,
pretty
this
good.
is coming from a Kirby fan. Zelda does good with its motif, and I should know that because Kirby is all
And,
about
like,
motifs
I'm a
as well.
slut. I'm such a
I'm a
slut
slut
for
for
motifs.
motifs.
I-
It's
no, like,
everywhere
Yeah,
too.
I
motif.
love like motifs in music. Like that's why I love like the Tenet score from Chris Nolan's movie. Like just because like it's so full of like motifs that every character has like a theme and it shifts it for every song. So I fucking love when a game like Legend of Zelda has motifs.
Are you
'cause I-
truly in love unless you've had their other person's motif in your song? Like,
or when they mix.
yeah.
Bro,
That's the coolest
Or when
thing.
someone loses that motif after the divorce.
Oh no.
Undertale.
It's so good.
Ritika, you want to talk about Ghost Trick?
Guys, I don't think I'm winning this one, but like after this long, you finally get to hear me speak about Ghost Trick. This is, if anything, this is now just an excuse for you to listen to the title track. But I really like it. I think it's a bop, and I think the rest of the soundtrack is a bop, especially since it, like I said, it was on the DS like 10 years ago. I think it's pretty fire for it being on the DS. I think the DS's sound font is just very underrated in general.
DS sound font. I'm in love with that.
But yeah, it's really good. A lot of the songs are kind of in this vibe, and I think it's nice because they basically play it at the end of every chapter, so it's a nice like closing remark that gets you like more interested in starting the next chapter.
You want to
But
play?
yeah, if anything, this is just an excuse for you to listen to it.
Ghost Trick by Ghost Trick from
Such a
Ghost
vibe.
Trick on the Ghost Trick.
Yeah, it's the goat trick. Such a vibe. Wait until like
Oh my
the
gosh.
music kicks in.
Sorry. I'm just going through the soundtrack.
You're
It
so
reminds me of
good.
like Half-Life 2 almost. It has like a. Sorry, I'm a big Half-Life fan. I find any excuse to talk about it.
You gotta wait for the drop to kick in.
Is this when the music drops or is it
Yeah,
later?
it's just a good song.
Reminds me of Escatos a bit.
Also, I guess I should also mention, since I don't think it's part of the actual game, but I think they did include it in the like DLC that has like extra sounds or whatever. But it is like associated with the Ghost Trick, so I should mention it. Shu Takumi, like this dog, like Shu Takumi is the creator of the game, and his dog is like a very big prominent character in it. And
The dog?
yes, he has a dog. It's named Missile. It's literally the best dog in like anything I've ever seen. And because of how much he loves his dang dog, he made a song by it, and it is sang by the Hatsune Miku. So, and it's really good. It's a really cute song, and they remastered it for the remake, and it's really sad. It's really sweet because he just loves his dog, and it's really sad because it passed away.
Oh.
Yeah, it goes strict for real.
Well, really quickly, Ryan has to go.
I gotta go.
Do you want to throw in your votes for Game of the Year real quick?
No, I texted them to y'all. I want it to be a
Oh,
surprise.
okay.
Okay.
So, Melody, did you see? Push
Yeah.
fucking hard on that one, please.
Fine.
I beg of you.
I wasn't.
if
I
that's not
wasn't
gonna
going
be
to.
it, I'm
This
gonna
was my
stop.
fight, but I will fight.
I need you to, because if it doesn't win, I'm
Okay.
gonna
Okay. Okay.
cry. And Mateo, if it doesn't win, go for my second choice. Because if the third choice wins, I'm quitting the show.
Why'd you put it in?
Because it was the third best option on Game of the Year. I looked at these ahead of time.
Dang.
Can't believe you. Betrayal.
I'm sorry.
I'm kidding. You're totally fine. Be safe.
Bye.
Thank
I
you.
guess
Oh my
this
gosh.
was us seeing Ryan ghost and not subsequently trick.
Yeah, he ghosted us for real.
Can we keep that? Can we keep that joke running on throughout this entire podcast?
Absolutely, I'll be
You
there.
know,
You'll
I
be-
think it might just start playing Ghost Trick.
I'm
on my
planning
hack
on
3DS
starting.
just for
I'm
you.
planning on starting the long form LP. Like, if we're gonna keep doing that, I do want to play Ghost Trick, like
I'll
as
watch
part
that.
of VGHL.
Do you also want to talk about piranhas on parade?
Okay, that was just for fun. I just thought I like the song, and I honestly think Super Mario Wonder's music is great. Like, I mean, they've done a great job just
It doesn't-
changing it.
Yeah, it's not reliant on ba ba.
Yeah, as much as I do miss those, I just think it's great, and like I like that they have musical numbers in this. Like, why did they have musical numbers in the Mario like platforming game? They didn't need to do it, but I
It
appreciate
reminds
it.
me of Roco Loco. This
Yeah.
game.
And I mean, it's
Very
iconic. Like
cute.
it went everywhere. It's just cute.
Let's see here. What's next? Ryan voted for Dredge, Diablo 4, and he didn't give any like tracks listed. He listed Hi-Fi Rush as well, which I think also has I think it has great ambient music, but I think like
It also has licensed songs.
Hi-Fi Rush.
Yeah.
I did not get. I didn't know that those. That
Yeah,
some of
because
the
it
songs
also
were
has a
licensed.
streamer mode where it plays parody versions of those songs.
Oh,
funny.
that makes sense.
Yeah.
That's funny. Andrea, do you want to talk about Bomb Rush Cyberpunk?
Yes.
All right. Do you want to let me pull up
Okay.
this song real quick?
Bomb Rush Cyberpunk, the spiritual successor of Jet Set Radio.
Oh, this one.
Yeah, those guys. So basically, I love the soundtrack because it's something that you don't usually see, except in that style of stylized, punkish, high adrenaline, a very urban soundtrack, and featuring the man himself, Hideki Naganuma. I love Hideki Naganuma's work, from Sonic Rush to Jet Set Radio.
Ooh, I love Sonic Rush.
Yeah.
Slay.
You wanna play it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so you gotta look up the song called Jack
Jack DeFunk.
the Funk. Yeah.
Oh, I love this type
It's a
of
Jack
music.
swing. And he's known for manipulating samples in a way that just fits and flows.
It's a vibe. Yeah, I could definitely just listen to this casually. And I tried doing that with some of the songs I listen to.
Yeah, I'm on the highway with this jamming on my way back to Dallas. I'm like, oh yeah. Oh, that's a car.
That
See,
soundtrack.
that's the perfect excuse to drive better though. It's like you're playing an actual. It's like you're playing Bomb Rush Cyberpunk.
Soundtrack reminds me.
Some Bomber Cyberpunk is not really a car.
Oh yeah, no,
Yeah,
I know it's like
skateboard.
skating and grinding on rails and stuff like
grinding.
that. Yeah, I know it's like. In fact, I think I was probably really excited about Bomb Rush Cyberpunk. I just didn't know it came out. I was like, oh, it came out, cool.
Yeah, like it got a lot more hype before the game came out because people were wanting some sort of continuation of Jet Set Radio for a long time. But when it dropped, people just didn't talk about it, and it stayed within that Jet Set Radio community.
Because they were the ones who were most
yeah, they were the one hyping it up.
The soundtrack, it kind of reminds me like a little bit of Persona 3, a little bit, just the funk vibes, and then it also kind of reminded me of The World Ends With You.
Yeah.
Just because I've been playing that recently.
Yeah,
played that recently.
So while I did use Hideki's work, his song as an example, there's a ton of other artists, that worked on the diegetic songs in there. And it's all different styles. They got future bass, they got hip hop, house, all kinds of songs. And you should look through the soundtrack at some point because while Hideki's songs are bangers, there's a ton other bangers meant to be recognized and acknowledged, spotlighted in the game. And the music makes the game typically in the spiritual successor of Jet Set Radio.
I'm gonna have to play it sometime, to be honest. It was one of those games I was really looking forward to, so I gotta play it.
Yeah, you can get it on PC.
It's time for me to be annoying now.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead. I was annoying. I'll be annoying again.
You're absolutely fine. But because I submitted 3 nominations because I legitimately could not decide between them because I think the music in all of these games that I nominated are phenomenal. So I'm gonna start first with Dark Ocean Summoning. So, I don't know if y'all know this, but so Alan Wake and their Remedy universe that they're kind of establishing with Control, their most recent franchise, is there's this fake band called Old Gods of Asgard. They're performed by a real band called Poets of the Fall. They're a Finnish rock band. But Old Gods of Asgard has 2 songs in here. One I'm not going to spoil because it's one of the best moments I played in the game, but they have a second song towards the end. You're trying to rescue Alan from this magical realm called the Dark Place, but it only comes when they have art. So they're like, make a rock song, and in typical Remedy fashion, they have it to where you're fighting enemies as the music goes on, and it's one of the coolest moments I played all year.
You can always count on a Finnish band to make a good rock song.
Yeah, but they sing in English.
Ooh.
Yeah, I really wanted to nominate Herald of Darkness because it's a musical about Alan Wake's life, and it's fucking weird. I want to talk about it so bad, but I really want you guys, if you guys ever play that game, you need to experience that moment completely out of context or completely just blind. Okay. It's one of my favorite bits. I voted El Paso Elsewhere. There's a song called Human Sunday, which it's really darkly comedic because it plays in a level that's essentially body horror.
Oh, I thought you meant Sunday like the day.
No, Sunday as in
an ice cream sundae.
Like an ice cream sundae.
Yeah.
But it's really weird and goofy. It's really dumb.
This gives me Lemon Demon vibes.
Yeah.
Lyrics at least.
So yeah, that's Human Sunday. No, it does definitely have Remedy. They based it on Max Payne, which Remedy did make. And it plays on a level where you're running away from a human flesh monster.
Yippee.
And it's really it's really dark, but I'm also this is the song playing. I was like, this is really funny. It's really crazy. And then last I wrote Street Fighter 6. Just for the same reason actually that I think you were talking about with Bomb Rush, is that it has more of that urban feel. And there's some that game has some of the best music I've heard all year, but it's most consistent I think because it has a very kind of street hip hop kind of feel.
Hip hop, yeah.
Do
you have an example?
Yeah, so I put the game's kind of theme from promotion, from the promotional trailers. It's called Not on the Sidelines, and it's also motivational too. So Street Fighter 6 has this weird kind of like motif of like you're actually training and you're actually getting better as a fighter. Like it's all about learning. And so I feel like thematically a lot of the music is like super motivational, and it also has that same hip hop feel throughout the entire soundtrack. Like one of my favorite tracks is one called Genbu Temple, where it's basically Ryu's stage, and so it has like kind of older traditional Japanese music mixed with hip hop, and it's so fucking good.
Yeah, that sounds like an awesome mix.
It's so, but yeah, it's just super like, I don't know, it gets me hyped. Like every single time I listen to the Street Fighter soundtrack, I'm like, fuck, I want to go play Street Fighter. But yeah, those are my nominations. I'm done being annoying now.
Thank you for being annoying.
Thank you. I appreciate it. So, y'all ready to debate?
I feel like we have a winner.
I think we do.
Yeah.
Tears of the Kingdom?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I
mean,
admit.
come on,
It was
man.
good.
It's like
we have to fight objective versus subjective.
Yeah, I would fight for Street Fighter 6 because I feel like it does do the same thing that Legend of Zelda does. It has consistent like soundtrack. But I think Legend of Zelda, the fact that I hadn't heard that track before and I got goosebumps, I'm like, fuck.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Shit, that's the winner.
And one more thing about
What's
just
up?
the soundtrack. I feel like it's also super interesting in comparison to the Breath of the Wild soundtrack. Because when you first drop into Breath of the Wild, it's a whole big world. Link has no memories, and it's very empty and lonely feeling.
Yeah, it feels like
And
Chopin for 2 hours straight.
yeah, and even though I'm not sure if the story fully delivered in Tears of the Kingdom with making it feel like Link has companions and that the world is healing, I feel like the soundtrack 100% succeeds in that place. Hyrule doesn't feel empty or barren anymore. It feels lived in, it feels lively, it feels full, and like, I mean, all the sages have very triumphant themes compared to all of the champions in the previous game that have more soft and mellow and sad themes because
they're
obviously
dead.
they're dead. So, yeah, I don't know. It's just like the soundtrack is like a story of victory.
Yeah, it's like it's the second half of Victory, whereas like
Yeah.
Breath of the Wild was
Yeah,
like
where you enjoy the spoils.
yeah, exactly. That's a really good way to describe it because like you make a good point. Like Breath of the Wild feels like everything is dead, but like life still goes on kind of thing. But then like Tears of the Kingdom is like life is back and it's taking the world back. It's
Yeah.
taking everything back.
It's taking form.
All right,
Yeah.
so winner for best music and original score goes to Tears of the Kingdom.
Tears of the Kingdom. Tears of the
Alrighty.
Kingdom.
Moving on.
Oh, brother.
Our next category.
There's just like this is just like the difficult part.
Oh, yeah,
the
this was-
process.
Like all of these categories, moving forward.
I think honestly they might go by faster because like this category was basically just myself, Ryan, Brady, and then Andrea. You have one nomination here as well, so it'll probably go by a lot faster.
What is this?
This is drum roll. Best visual and art direction,
Slay.
which we're awarding to the title with outstanding use or innovation in visual technique or artistry to influence atmosphere and tone. And our nominees are Alan Wake 2, Bayonetta, Cereza and the Lost Demon, Bomb Rush Cyberpunk, which Brady nominated, but if you want to talk about that, Andrea, you may.
Okay.
Dead Space, Diablo 4, Dredge, Killer Frequency, The Legend of Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom, which Sophia and Ryan aren't here, but Melody, if you want to argue on that.
Sure,
you
I'll
have.
argue.
Lies of P, Pikmin 4, Street Fighter 6, and Super Mario Brothers Wonder. A lot of these are, so some of these are Ryan's, so unfortunately we might not be able to talk about all of these.
I didn't vote Ghost Trick for this.
Ooh.
That's okay.
You didn't go vote.
I probably did wonder.
You didn't trick.
Yeah, I didn't trick.
You didn't trick Ratika.
I can still talk about it, but
Yeah.
Instead, you ghosted.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Did you substitute the trick?
clever.
yeah.
I'm gonna talk about Alan Wake 2 for a quick second.
Okay.
Yeah.
I legit just think it's like one, it's a very beautiful game. Like I think it had like fidelity wise, it's very gorgeous, especially since a lot of it is like Bright Falls,
Yeah.
the city or the town where the game is based, where both games are based. It's really interesting to see how Deerfest and how that town looks now compared to 13 years ago. Because I played the first one right before the second, and it's crazy that jump in fidelity. And then two, just the game is so atmospheric. Like it's dark as fuck. Like you need a flashlight in that game, and the game supplies you with one, but like you need to use it a lot. And also like the woods, a lot of it is set in like the woods because it's very kind of like Pacific Northwestern kind of like small town feel.
Mm-hmm.
It's so like dingy and foggy, and like the way light bounces like in those environments is so gorgeous, and like I feel like I don't know if y'all have seen The Evil Dead, but like that it feels like you're walking like or like Twin Peaks or that kind of feel. Like it's
Wait,
super,
the restaurant?
Not the restaurant, the show.
The
show. The
okay.
David Lynch show.
It's like it is not dark at all at Twin Peaks.
No,
you can
no.
see everything very clearly.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, no, Alan Wake 2 just is so gorgeous, and it looks super great. And it also really emphasizes that kind of horror tone a lot better than Alan Wake 2 did, which was like a lot of blue.
Mm-hmm.
Like Alan Wake 1 was just a lot of blue, but this one has like it's a lot of like teals and like reds, and like in the dark place it's very yellow and like gross and completely. And also, I could go on a fucking rant about the dark place, which is a manifestation of Alan Wake's writing. There's so much graffiti on the walls. It's all over the place. It looks like New York, but like it's constantly raining and pouring, and it looks like if any of y'all seen the Batman, how Gotham looks in that movie,
Yeah.
it's essentially that,
Wow.
but like in a game, and it looks gorgeous and gross at the same time. And the way light looks in hallways creeps me the fuck out. I love Alan Wake 2's visual direction. Andrea, do you want to talk about Bayonetta?
Okay,
Let's
so
go for it.
you all know Bayonetta. You know, you fight angels, you decapitate angels. You're a fucking celebrity in this town, and you get run over by a bus.
Nice.
Well, technically, the bus drops on
Mean
you. But
girls.
the thing about Cereza and the Demon is that it's a spin-off, and it's basically the origin of Bayonetta herself, little Cereza, and it takes on a different art style. It's kind of a huge step from the usual gameplay, where it's more realistic, very biblical, I suppose, with how the angels' designs are. Here, it's more of a storybook feel, like a Celtic fairy tale, in terms of like how the strokes are done in the art style. And it translates, from the cutscenes, the 2D art to the 3D models. It translates very well with how the dust forms when you do attacks, or, with the fires, how they curl up. And that captivated me when I was watching a friend of mine play it. It's like, I was just backseat driving like, so this is how Bayonetta started. When did she become a killer? It's like, I wasn't really paying much attention to the story, but I was just captivated by the visuals, that it was hard to just get off the couch. It was like, I wanted to see, what other monsters would there be? Like, how further would she go?
Mm-hmm.
So, if you've ever seen pictures of, Bayonetta Origins, I suggest picking up the game at least looking at some gameplay, because you'll also be captivated by it.
I have never actually played a Bayonetta game.
Neither
have to
have I.
say.
Neither have I. I've wanted to. I haven't.
Man, I got a buddy up in New York now. We went to the same high school. He is a big fan of Bayonetta.
Maybe I'll have to check out this game, especially if it's an Origin game. Maybe it'll be a good starting point.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about Bomber Cyberpunk at all? Or I know it wasn't your nomination, but do you want to? I know you talked about it.
I'll take it.
Sure.
It is my nomination now.
Sure.
It's my nomination now. Anyways, so Bomber Cyberpunk, a lot in the spirit of Jet Set Radio, is bold, and it's very urban. Same as its arts, same as its sound style. Its art style, very punkish, very thick strokes. A lot of graffiti. Graffiti is an important part of the game. Or like, everything is stylized. Everything has an angle. You take something, it speaks. Like, it's full of personality, I suppose. That's one way to put it.
No, yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
I get that.
and it takes that inspiration from Jet Set Radio and makes it its own. It's a true successor, even if it's not under the same company.
Well, it is also the same person who made the music, right?
Yeah,
And
Naganuma.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just added a lot more people onto the sound team.
Nice.
Yeah.
Melody, do you want to talk about Tears of the Kingdom at all?
Sure. I didn't nominate Tears of the Kingdom for visual or art direction because at first I really didn't think that there was much to say about its visual art direction because, it's just Breath of the Wild's visual and art direction.
Yeah.
But, when you think about it, they did do, some things differently that I do think were pretty cool. Like, I mean, this kind of also plays into the soundtrack as well, but when you go to the Korok Forest for the first time, it's not the same Korok Forest as it was. It's not this happy little place anymore. It's all gloomy and purple, and I mean, the Koroks, just the Koroks are not smiling, and it's so jarring, and like...
the dark, like, the gloom takes over Korok Forest?
Yes.
That's fucked up.
And you see like the freaking Deku tree with all this like gloom in its mouth, and you're just like, what happened to this place? And I don't really even have much of an emotional connection to Koroks. There's a running gag, obviously, that everyone hates the freaking backpack Koroks. But when I saw Korok Forest in like this purple haze, and all of them are just straight faced, you can't even talk to them, I was just like, this is terrible.
They weren't even crucified.
Yeah. And I'm just like, how... I feel like the art direction for Tears of the Kingdom is that, I mean, there's not much going on, but what they do accomplishes a lot in a little bit. Not in a little. A lot in a little. I don't know how to say that.
A middle?
Yeah. And like...
It's done like subtly. Like it's like it's additive and it feels like it fits right in, kind of thing.
Yeah.
To
And
the point where you don't even notice those additives.
exactly. And the Guardians aren't there anymore, so they had to have something else terrorize you. The Gloom Hands do a great job. First, there's nothing. Then you see a pile of gloom on the ground, and you're like, oh, that's a little unsettling. Then you see the Gloom Hands, like, rise up, and suddenly everything's red, as if there's a blood moon going on, and it just, your freaking heart drops the first time that the Gloom Hands come into, yeah.
No, my first experience with those, like, I was in a cave. And
Exactly! I was in a cave.
It just came out of nowhere, and then the music was swelling.
No, I was so confused because the music started swelling. I'm like, what is going on? And then, like, because I was looking away from them, and then they, like, came out from behind the camera. I'm like, oh, fuck!
Yeah. At first, I thought those were the things from the La Zoot.
Are they the...
Yeah, the white hands sticking up from the ground, remember? From Ocarina of Time?
Oh, I haven't played Ocarina of Time.
Oh, I know what you're talking about,
Yeah.
but I don't know their official name.
The Redeads or something? Or maybe that was the creepypasta name? I forgot, but those were there.
Those look like Redeads. But yeah, so Gloom Hands, I feel like Korok Forest is a good example of like how they use their art direction. And then of course, I mean, we have new environments in the game as well. The freaking depths. It's completely dark. It's terrifying going in the depths. I didn't like going in the depths. There's not really much there. Sorry.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want a little challenge to see how far you can go without a jump scare, I guess it's something.
Yeah. What else is there to say? I don't know.
I also like the Sky Temples, too.
I will say the Sky Temples feel so and ancient.
Heavenly.
I just like feel like there's a bliss there that is not on the surface level or in the depths at all. Like, I feel like...
It's really pretty up there.
Yeah.
Very heavenly, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
That's a good way to describe it, yeah.
Yeah.
Literally, especially since it's so far up in the sky.
Yeah.
I nominated Dead Space and Street Fighter 6 for very different reasons. I mentioned
can I say one more thing?
Absolutely.
I also am very appreciative that they worked green back into, like, the freaking color palette of Tears of the Kingdom.
Yes.
Link
Is green.
drops into the ground, he's green, he's wearing this little thing, I don't even know. But then also, like, the weird freaking Zonai magic stuff, that's all green. And I'm just so happy that they use that again. Like, even though this isn't Link's story, it's Zelda's story, you see that he's more present.
Were the Zonai in Twilight Princess? Because like the Ultra Hand looks so.
It looks
similar
so
to
freaking.
I thought it was the Twilight at first. You know, everyone was speculating that it was the Twilight. Like, oh my god, Midna's coming back.
I didn't want to speculate because I knew I was gonna get my heart broken when it wasn't. But yeah, it does look a lot like the Twilight. I don't know if that was intentional, but the Zonai, they just have a cool design.
Do you think when the DLC come out, eventually they'll reference the Twilight?
Probably not.
Probably not. Yeah, and also, they said that they don't want to make a DLC because they said that they've done all that they wanted to in Tears of the Kingdom, Breath of the Wild, and their DLC in Age of Calamity. So, we might not get one.
Good shit. At least I feel like they're like, all right, we're done. Like,
yeah. I mean, it is. I am kind of happy to know that they don't want to just like milk the cow for all that it is.
Exactly. Rockstar. Sorry. I've nominated Dead Space and I just think, like, again, like, I mentioned earlier, like, everything's very industrial. Everything's, like, turned up to 11. Like, it's dark, it's meaty, it's bloody, it's like everything feels so. It feels so realized, like it feels so much more, because like going back between like Dead Space, like the original and then the remake, hallways are a lot more barren in the original, but then like now they feel like actual like hallways in like a rigging, like on a space rig, like in a mining rig. It feels so a lot more realized. Like also there's so many rooms that have like fog, and it's just so like I think I'm so sorry.
Mysterious?
It's mysterious. Yeah, it's mysterious and like and gloomy, and I like that how much they added to it. And then Street Fighter 6, similar to Bomb Rush, I feel like it had a lot of like that kind of like hip hop kind of feel. Like it, like graffiti's a big part of like the like, and paint is a big part of the style. What's up?
It is a street.
Yeah, it is,
It's
and there's a fighter, and there's probably 6 of them.
Mm-hmm.
See you in Street Fighter 5, everybody.
I'll see you in Street Fighter 8. Not even 7.
Now 7?
No, they're gonna skip over that one.
Why?
I don't know. I'm just being dumb.
Duh.
I'm sorry. But yeah, no, and then and plus I feel like I like that Street Fighter 6 has that very kind of blocky kind of style. They got rid of like the cell shaded look from like 4 and 5, but I think it works still. Like I like how that they're rendered a bit more realistically, because it still doesn't it adds more to the style beyond like the kind of cell shaded look. I feel like the graffiti style of like the entire game like works still really well. But yeah. All right, y'all ready to choose?
Are there more? I thought Super Mario Wonder was there.
Oh yeah, Super Mario Bros. Wonder is there too.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can take it. I mean, it's just nice that they finally changed the formula again after like 10 years of it being the same like sterile landscape, and also like the same world landscapes too. Like I guess Wonder kind of has similar landscape. Like obviously they have like a bit of a grassy place, they have a bit of an ice place, but like they still changed it to where it's like sometimes they meld into each other. And also I think being in the Flower Kingdom definitely helped with that, because they literally are in a different place, so they have like the ability to do it a little differently. But yeah, I just think that like the visual, I mean, there's not much to say. It's Mario. It's just gonna have really nice visuals.
You know something I noticed about the new Mario model in Wonder?
Oh
Kinda
yeah,
has, like,
it's
the
very pretty.
He has the Sonic mouth now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's sort of to the side. Like
It's a small thing, but I
It's
like the
small.
3/4 perspective they chose to do it in, because it allows them to have more of like their face showing,
Yeah,
and thus
it's
being able to
incredibly-
allow them to emote, which is really nice.
expressive. And the
Mhm.
way that they had to like
Model
model
that,
the
yeah.
actual model,
I've
it's like
seen-
so jank.
I've
looking
seen
at it.
videos, yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen videos where they like show like all the different parts like layered on top of each other. It's really weird. And also the
Weird.
way that like there's like a wondrous effect where the characters get really really long, but it's in shadow. And if you see it without the shadow, it's very, very weird. So I mean, it's just small things like that. I didn't nominate this, but I have more of an argument against Ghost Trick. Like I'll bring it back. I'll bring it. Trust me. So
You'll find a way.
I'll find a way.
You'll find the right trick.
I'll find it. So, I think for me, sometimes, like, especially being, like, a DS girly growing up, like, I have always found the philosophy of, like, less is more sometimes to be very effective. And I just think that with the limited graphics of what the DS had, I think Ghost Trick just, like, pulled whatever it had out of the water. Like,
Pokemon
I
Gen
think
5.
absolutely. Like, it, for one, was pixels. Like, it was very pixelated. But the way they did, like, animations in that game was very cool, because it was all... looks like motion capture. If you see it on the DS, and honestly, even in the 3D... the remaster, it looks like it was motion capture. But the cool thing is it wasn't. It was actually just done with art. And the models just look so smooth and so beautiful. And, like, the character portraits that they use are such a aesthetic that I deeply enjoy. It's very limited, but it works so well. And just the way that they make, obviously, also I should mention, like, the whole game, it looks like it's a stage play. Like, it's all in one camera. There's no multiple camera focuses, so it's all taking place as if you're seeing it through like a stage play. So, and the cool thing with that is that it actually impacts the game in some ways, because it hides sometimes things behind certain layers that sometimes you can't see unless you're in the ghost world, for example. Like, maybe someone's behind something and then you just don't see it until you get to the ghost world and see something.
Is that where you ghost and then you trick?
Yes. Like, the
Whoa.
entire atmosphere and the environment is very stage play-like. And I just think that really works for the game. And it's, like, it has, like, actual narrative strengths with that. But it's just really cool. I like the art direction. Like, I like how limited it is. I think it's very unique. I've never really seen a game that has, like, such smooth motion. for it being like pixelated, and it's just really cool.
Yeah.
For sure.
Can I say one more thing about
Absolutely.
Tears of the... Okay, well, one thing I also realized is that Link can do so many things in Tears of the Kingdom. He interacts with the world in so many different ways, and you could go without a HUD and know, like what's wrong with Link? Is Link about to die? Just by, body movement
Yeah.
and whatever.
Mhm.
Or like, if Link is too hot, you can tell he's too hot. But
is
when
pretty
you
hot.
step into the water, Link cools down and he's fine. Or if you have a freaking fire sword on your back, Link will be fine in cold environments.
Wait, really?
Yes.
Oh, that's
And then also you have all of these new fruits now that have a bunch of different status effects, like the Zap Shroom, Water Shroom, whatever. And they all have different little animations that...
What does a water shroom do?
It just splash fruit, whatever the frick it's called.
It's used to like clear out something, right? Like
Sludge.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sludge. Mhm.
Oh.
Yeah, and
Sunshine.
they all have different little animations to just make them distinct, and the same goes for all of his hand things.
Yeah.
I like Ultra Hand looks different. You got the orange. Fusion looks different, and then on top of Fusion, when you fuse weapons, they all look distinct from each other. And the time reversal, everything goes gray. That's really cool, and I just like forgot about it when I mentioned visual art direction. I think that's it.
Okay.
Okay.
I did want to mention one more thing with
Yeah.
Ghost.
Yeah.
That's okay.
So, like I mentioned, that there was a stage. It is very much like a stage play. It's almost exactly like a stage play. The more I think about it, because like they actually do use spotlights, and they literally start out the game with a spotlight over like the main character, and I just think that kind of like drama and the way that the game is sectioned into chapters, it kind of feels like actual acts, and the way they transverse like fast travel from location to location really makes it work. And also, for one thing, the background designs are really pretty, especially because there are objects that you'll have to end up manipulating in the end, so they have to make, because of that, an actual background with a lot of little details, and I think that they just did a really good job by making it still minimalistic yet really effective.
For sure.
For certain.
I am
For
just
certain.
going to sell this
Sorry,
game
I
until
sometimes
the
I don't
day
know,
I
like,
die.
because I haven't played Ghost Trick, and I'm just like, you know what? I agree with all of that, even
Yeah.
though I haven't played this game.
No, absolutely.
That's
Yeah.
why I'm like,
should be
for sure.
careful.
You know what?
I
You
think
know?
this
I'm-
category actually
I'm-
might be difficult because
should be
none
like
of us
Ghost
have
Trick
played
Ambassador,
each other's
like,
games.
Yeah.
So
I played a few of these games, so
Yeah.
like I could kind of I get.
I'll just be the
Yeah,
PR
some-
representative. Like, I'm really good at doing that.
PR and marketing is a bit different because PR is
Yeah.
mostly damage control.
You're the brand ambassador. For
I'm
Ghost
the
Trick.
ambassador, yes.
Ambassador.
okay.
Y'all have your votes in mind.
Yep.
Girl, I don't have my vote in my vote's Tears of the Kingdom, but like
Kingdom, fair enough.
I'm split, man.
What do you think?
I'm between, you kind of sold me with Tears of the Kingdom with all that, but I really want to stick by what I mean about, Bayonetta Origins.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this one's gonna be tough because
Yeah, we got a lot of
I could
good
go straight-
different styles here. All very
I think it's just because there's like we all like different things.
and also I mean Tears of the Kingdom. One more thing, it's freaking running on the Switch,
Oh yeah,
Yeah, that's
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 like-
that's
like-
yeah.
and they
That's
doubled
true.
the size of the map. But anyway,
I kind of want to stick by Alan Wake 2 because I think it's a gorgeous looking game, but also I think I'd also agree with Tears of the Kingdom. I think it's still very like.
what other
great
categories
game.
do we have?
We have best game direction, best narrative, performance, and then the final game of the year. Which we're gonna do those next couple as lightning rounds. We're gonna go
Okay,
by
yeah,
pretty
yeah.
fast. I'm down to vote Tears of the Kingdom. I think I probably would vote Alan Wake 2, but I think Tears of the Kingdom is also a pretty good contender. I think it's a very beautiful game.
I mean, if that's the tiebreaker, then majority.
Majority.
Yes.
All right.
I
Where's
didn't even
Master?
nominate Tears of the Kingdom originally, but I won.
I guess congrats to Sophia and Ryan. They
yeah,
weren't even here.
congrats Sophia and Ryan.
Alrighty.
How could you?
What do you have to say about this, Ryan? Couldn't agree more. Let's move on. Alrighty. We're going to do these next few as lightning rounds. So let's go ahead and drum roll, please, for Best Game Direction, which we're nominating to the title with outstanding use or innovation in game direction, gameplay, interactivity, immersion, and entertainment.
Ta-ta!
So, our nominees are Alan Wake 2, Baldur's Gate 3, Diablo 4, Dredge, Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach
Oh my
Ruin.
gosh.
Yeah.
Who put FNAF?
Well, it's FNAF Ruin. So that was Ryan.
Oh, Ryan.
Ryan.
Oh, Ryan.
Ghost
silly
Trick
Ryan.
Phantom Detective.
You know, this might be why I kept it in this category.
Yeah,
but,
maybe. Yeah, I could see that. Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom. Metal Gear Solid, which Brady's not here, that came out in like 1998. Marvel Spider-Man 2, Super Mario Brothers Wonder, and Star Wars Jedi Survivor. So, again, Ryan had a few that, but unfortunately,
I honestly forgot
can't
what I
defend them.
nominated in this one.
you nominated Tears of the Kingdom.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Did I nominate?
Yes.
Okay.
And I nominated Spider-Man 2, and there's one more. Who's more?
Alan Wake.
Oh no, it was Legend of Zelda.
Oh, you nominated Legend of Zelda?
Yeah.
Dang.
I have some things, but I can argue.
Yeah,
on behalf
someone
of
else
Ryan.
talk about Legend of Zelda for once instead of me just yapping.
Yeah, well, Andrea, do you want to talk about Tears of the King
Okay.
for game direction?
Yeah, for
Go.
game direction with Tears of the Kingdom, it's mostly based off, in terms of like the way both Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom as a whole, you know, I consider them like the first part and the second part of a whole Zelda game.
Mm-hmm.
Breath of the Wild still has an active community of people just digging around it with, you know, puzzles and stuff, finding new ways to solve things. And it's basically like a little, you know, you have your little toys and your tools, and you can just use them however you want. And this is really hard to move. But in Tears of the Kingdom, they aren't. Because you can make so many things that you typically would not find in any other Zelda game. Or, you know, in terms of like non-sandbox games, you couldn't really do this kind of stuff. Unless it's Yakuza. You can do a lot in Yakuza.
I've only played Yakuza 0, and I haven't finished it.
You should.
All I know is that you can do karaoke and beat a bunch of people the fuck out.
There's more.
I think Tears of the Kingdom is really great in that it basically took especially in regards to like the temple, or like the temples, like where you get the orbs.
The orbs, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, the dungeons.
The dungeons.
Shrines? Yeah.
Yeah, the shrines.
Shrines.
I feel like
Oh, shrines were so good in this game. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
the
No,
shrines are
no, for
really
sure,
fun.
like-
Because, like, in Breath of the Wild, I don't know. Sometimes I was like,
Sometimes it's like
I
you
wanna
just
do
get
another
it.
shrine.
It's a chore
But go
because
ahead.
you need the more stuff for the hearts and stamina. But here, you know, it's actually kind of engaging.
that, and it's like also like the fact that it's not specifically always one solution; it could be multiple.
You could
And the
just
fact
do
that like there are
anything.
like barriers. There are so many times where I'm just like, "Fuck that barrier," and it's like,
Exactly. And it doesn't punish you for it.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. It encourages you to just do whatever you want with the abilities you're given. And
Yeah,
I think,
the Ultra Hand is all about creativity.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I think for those reasons that like it basically allowed you to build stuff in whatever way you want, solve shrines in whatever way you want, and the fact that it's just like, and it still uses the same kind of base that Breath of the Wild started, which was already fantastic on its own, and that you can do. It basically is like a giant sandbox where you can mess around, and I think
Yeah, and
that's
it's
why.
not even intended to be a sandbox, but it still takes those qualities and adds them into the, I guess, the action, or would you count it as RPG? No, because it's not turn-based. It's like, you know, open world.
It has like weapons with like
Yeah, weapons.
damage stats,
Like
and all
sandbox?
Yeah.
And speaking of, like, the weapons, like, of course,
Oh,
Ultra Hand does a lot to make the game.
The meat stick.
But you can, like, they finally figured out a way to make it, like, foraging and getting materials fun, and also, like, having it be worthwhile, basically. And I wasn't one for combat in Breath of the Wild. I always wanted to avoid enemies because I didn't want my freaking weapons to break. But now, every time you fight an enemy, guess what? You get stuff to make more weapons. It's like just like a continuous cycle that.
It's an incentive.
Yeah, it's an incentive. It's perfect.
No,
It's
for
great.
Ritika, you want to talk about Ghost Trick?
All right.
Boy, do you!
You know what? It might win a category someday. Yeah, I think honestly the art direction I think I vibe with more, but I will say in terms of like game direction, just being able to do whatever you want with the ghost tricks, and then it doesn't allow you to have most times like one solution, like there is only one solution, but I think just being able to trial and error as much as you want, and it doesn't penalize you for taking your time, like you can restart the puzzles as many times as you want until you find a solution.
It's got replayability.
And yeah, so it's really fun, and yeah, I think it's immersive because it is about you, because you are the main character, so like it is your journey through the night to figure out who the heck you are and like who killed you, what's going on in this giant world. But yeah, like I find it fun. I'll watch the story as many times as I want, especially since it's like such a short and simple like narrative. But yeah, I'm still gonna push it, even though it's not gonna win. I'm gonna push it. It'll win someday.
What is the name of Mr. Ghost Trick? Or is that a spoiler?
His name is Sissel.
Sissel?
Yeah, Sissel.
Sizzle?
Sissel Ghost Trick.
Sissel.
Yeah.
Wait, last name Ghost Trick?
Sissel. Yeah, Sissel Ghost Trick.
Is it really Ghost Trick?
No.
Oh, okay.
Oh, it's like Sans Undertale.
Yeah.
Or Mr. Or
He's
like
the guy
John Tennant.
He's
Yeah,
the
like
guy
John
from
Master
Ghost
Chief.
Trick.
That's actually his name, John. Well, you know that his first name
Yeah.
is John, right?
Yeah, I do.
He doesn't have a name. He doesn't have a last name.
He's the guy from Ghost Trick.
John.
The
Just
guy.
John.
Yeah.
John.
Anywho.
John Master Chief. Imagine that would be so funny if he's just like, my name's John
And,
Master
like,
Chief.
I just have never really seen a game like this. I think it's truly very unique in terms of its gameplay.
Will we ever get a sequel?
You know where we have seen
See,
Ghost
the
Trick
thing-
Phantom Detective
I
before?
don't think we are not going to get it. I don't want there to be a sequel because it is such a good story on its own. That's how much of a good story it is. But if they make a story like similar, like an anthology series, like sequel or something, I'd be fine for that.
You know what that reminds me of? Mother.
I need to
Have not
play
played.
those. I need to play those so
You
bad.
gotta.
I haven't played
know.
it either.
You gotta. But, has anybody here played Earthbound?
I
No.
need
No.
to play Earthbound. I'm trying not to spoil myself on that. I need to play it.
I'm gonna speak on behalf. Also, there's also Super Mario Brothers Wonder. I don't know if you want to talk about that, Ratika, as well.
It's fun. I mean, I don't know if I did that one.
That might have been
but
Ryan.
That was
Yeah.
Mhm.
It was fun. I mean, gameplay, interactive. I mean, it's a Mario game. You play the Mario character. So,
In the fashion of Mario.
yeah. So, it's fun.
Ryan also nominated Alan Wake 2, which I didn't personally think was the best in terms of game direction. I think its most unique things are what has to do with like the game setting, which is like fighting the darkness, and fighting the Taken. But it's more.
It won at the Game Awards over Tears of the Kingdom. That's all I know.
See, I think that was interesting because I think overall in terms of like when it comes to like narrative, tonal, and atmospheric direction, I think it nails it. I really think it deserved it, but it really turned into, because it became less action horror and more, because I think Control, their previous game, is fantastic, and like because it has so much going on in terms of the gameplay. But I think Alan Wake 2 is more of a traditional survival horror with like inventory management and like limited ammunition and like having to heal yourself and like having to manage your resources. But because of that, I feel like it's something feels like we've seen before. It's new to Alan Wake, and I think it definitely changes how the game feels, especially since that's what they wanted to go with originally. But I feel like it's just too similar to what we've seen before in like Resident Evil or something like that. Like it feels too much like a survival horror you've seen before.
Wait. Okay, I remember now.
What's up?
I wanted to nominate something for game direction, but I thought, and I was not aware that we can nominate more than one game.
Mm-hmm.
Something I wanted to do for best game direction was Pizza Tower.
Pizza
Tower.
Pizza Tower.
I haven't played it, but
Neither
I've
have
heard
I.
so many
I
good things
actually
about
helped a dude
Yeah, I have.
back in Arlington on the Shorthorn. I used to work as a reporter, by the way. We did a game review on Pizza Tower. Kenny
Pizza
something,
Tower.
but yeah, we did a review on it, and we were, working through it. He actually gave me a demo of the game, and I was having fun playing it for, the while that I was.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, it's very immersive, and you just want to keep coming back, figure out all the secrets, see how fast you can do all this while also exploring the area, the floor on the tower, all the way until you can get a P rank, or at least an S rank. And there's that replayability and, figuring out all the little things, checking out the combinations, or what techniques you can do with the wall climbing, and it sets itself into a sort of rhythm that I really enjoyed at the time I was able to play it.
Do you want to add it to like our list of nominations right here? Or do you think, all right, we can add Pizza Tower real quick.
Pizza Tower.
And then I wrote Spider-Man 2 just because I felt like I think it was pretty good in the way, like it wasn't amazing, like it wasn't the most spectacular thing, but I think like it just nailed web swinging, and I feel like it's so like it's one of the more unique ways of traversal. Like you can't say that every game will control like Spider-Man 2 because it's obviously limited by the character, but I feel like they nailed it. Like the web swinging feels so satisfying. The web wings feel great, and I think they made some changes like to help streamline like the combat, but I feel like it was decent. I just would nominate it because I thought it was just worthy of mention, but I think I probably wouldn't choose it over Tears of the Kingdom, to be honest. But so we have we're gonna add Pizza Tower real quick.
Yay.
Pizza Tower.
I cooked the pizza.
I cook it a pizza.
I cooked the pizza.
Pizza Tower. Alrighty. And I think that's pretty much everything.
Woo.
Y'all ready to vote?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
debate?
I
I think.
Well, now I'm sticking with Pizza Tower.
Alright.
think Tears of the Kingdom's probably winning this, but I have no idea.
I'm gonna vote Tears of the Kingdom, to be honest.
Well, y'all know my vote. Tears of the
Tears
Kingdom.
of the Kingdom.
Yeah.
Do you wanna challenge Tears of the
All
Kingdom?
three of us.
Yeah, do you wanna challenge all three of us?
Yeah, I'd win.
Alright, so Pizza Tower wins? No, I'm just kidding. I don't know. I guess it's just because I haven't really sat down with Pizza
No, I
Tower,
haven't
so I
either.
couldn't tell you.
Maybe
Like,
that's
Neither.
an incentive to go play it.
I can't play it in the hour 15 we have left in the studio.
Okay. Just like save it for later, maybe.
I just think Tears of the Kingdom is like it's something that a lot of it was similar to Breath of the Wild, but I think the way they just expanded upon it and made it even more customizable to how you
Yeah.
want to play.
Yeah.
And
I
in a
guess-
way, it's subverted too,
Yeah.
because I feel like people weren't expecting a complete overhaul of the original game mechanics, and then they were just like, you know what, we're gonna change it,
Mhm.
and it worked. So
I think Tears of the Kingdom is pretty great.
Yeah, Tears
Personally.
of the Kingdoms is pretty good.
yeah, I think it's a pretty good game. I don't know if that's a controversial
but
take, but you know.
I guess in terms of like,
How dare you say.
open world
It
game,
might be.
there
Might be
there are
a
a lot
fan.
of similar things that you can find anywhere else similar to Tears of the Kingdom in terms of like, exploring around, trying all the things. Well, probably not to the extent that Tears of the Kingdom is, because like it takes those qualities of an open world game and excels in them and refines it to a T. However, in terms of genre, with platformer, bashing in, Wario style, Pizza Tower is unique in its field in this day and age.
Mm-hmm. Especially as like an indie project too.
Yeah,
It definitely
especially
has that, like,
as a Wario style platformer. You don't really see anything else, so that's what makes it stand out in my eye in terms of that style of gameplay. And and also like the wackiness, it sort of immerses you, and it's really entertaining to just go. Especially the Gus and Brick hour. That's really fun.
So you're gonna stand by Pizza Tower? you
I'm
think?
gonna stand by Pizza Tower.
I think we might have to go then with majority vote. Then if we don't have a tiebreaker,
Fuck.
or because right now because Ratika, what's your
Yeah.
vote?
Tears.
Tears. We might have to go with majority vote here.
Tears.
But
Actual tears.
but Pizza Tower is definitely worthy of mention. I think it was pretty cool, especially as a game surrounded by like massive AAA games this year,
Yeah.
and then it was
Oh,
like
for
everyone
sure.
was talking about Pizza Tower. I think.
Yeah.
That was a thing.
Yeah.
But we're gonna give it to Tears of the Kingdom,
Yeah.
but this is not any way.
It's okay.
condemning
Tears of
Pizza
the Kingdom isn't winning the next one. I didn't nominate it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In terms of like the next
Narrative.
one.
Alrighty, let's move on. Drum roll for the next category. Best narrative.
Ta-da!
And we're awarding this one to the title with outstanding use or innovation in writing and storytelling technique. Nominees are Alan Wake 2, Baldur's Gate 3, Dredge, El Paso Elsewhere, Fortnite, Ghost Trick Phantom Detective,
Yeah.
Like a Dragon Ishin,
Woo!
and Marvel Spider-Man 2. So, do anyone want to start in particular?
Ghost Trick.
Go for
Yay.
it. Go
Okay,
for it.
please. If this is the one that it's literally a visual novel. Like, if it doesn't win this one, I'll be kind of sad.
Because like visual novel is
It's
all about
the story. Yeah, it's the story is like all about this game. Like this game is all about the story, and I genuinely think this is one of the best like simples. Like it's simple. I mean, it's a short story, but wow, does it like tie everything together at the end so well? What a good mystery. I mean, I like my amnesiac plots. I think it's cool that like main character has amnesia, doesn't know what's going on,
Isn't
and
Breath
then
of the Wild also an amnesiac plot?
has to learn like what's going on. But it's cool because like the player also is like trying to figure out what's going on. There's so much there's so much foreshadowing that like the twists when you reveal them and you get to go back and like look at all the foreshadowing, you realize how subtle it was. Like they sometimes they do come out you and it's like, okay, this is a weird statement, why'd they say that? But then it comes back to you and you're like, wait, that makes so much sense. And just their whole there's so many characters in this game. Like I say, it truly is like a stage play because there are a lot of like major characters, but there are some minor characters that are really just like they pop out at you because, I mean, they're designs for one, but also just, like, they have a personality that just makes you be like, oh, okay, like, I'll remember you. And then, like, all these characters, like, minor and major, they all come together into this giant narrative, and you learn about, like, even though it takes place in the span of one night, it's been, like, over a decade of, like, storytelling, and it's just crazy how it all ends up working at the end. And that's, again, why I say I don't think this game actually needs a sequel, despite it being such a good game, is because it's just that good of a narrative. And I think if they wanted to make a sequel, it could be like a spiritual successor, but I just genuinely think Ghost Trick is just such a good narrative. Like, one of the best, like, just standalone games I've played.
And that's yeah.
Yeah, I gotta do it. Like, I have to. It's the story game for me.
I am going to contest you hard on that, but also you make a very compelling argument.
DS games tend to have very good storylines.
Yep, I was definitely one of those people.
Let's see here. Andrea, you want to talk about...
Yes.
Go for it.
Like a Dragon Ishin. Also known as Yakuza. It's part of the Yakuza series, but it kind of got like a transfer name to Like a Dragon. That's what they call it now.
This one is like the one that's set like in like what,
in the past,
19th century.
Edo, Japan.
Edo,
yeah,
Japan.
1800s.
Yeah.
Right before the Meiji Restoration.
But it uses like
Turn
the
of the
same
20th,
characters,
I
but just like in that setting, right?
Yes.
Is that correct?
Well, they are the same characters, however, they have different names. For example,
so
Kazuma
like,
Kiryu is now named Sakamoto Ryuji, if I believe.
It's like Great Ace Attorney.
Oh,
where
yeah,
it takes place in the
same
Meiji
characters, different
Restoration.
names.
Yeah,
Oh.
right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Sort of like a story.
So why do you think it's best narrative?
Well, Yakuza games tend to really excel in terms of story writing and just like thematic, the way the narrative goes and how the characters are written. And, you know, the trials that they face in the depths of the Yakuza, those struggles, and how they overcome them. Some overcome them, some don't, and then they succumb to, you know, a lot of humanity's sins, which is seen a lot in, like, you know, lust, greed, reaching out for power, taking over things, out for fear of being taken out. A lot of things that you see in Kamurocho transfer into the olden days back in Edo, Japan. And, you know, the thing about Ishin is that it takes a lot of those themes and reflects on them. And sometimes it even reverses them. Like, especially in a battle, there's a character named Nishikiyama. Yeah, Nishikiyama. And he's probably famous for this one line. This is on YouTube, right?
I don't.
Okay.
Like
10 years in the joint made you a fucking pussy. He said that in the English.
Oh, I thought you meant like is the on YouTube? Like, I have no idea, but
No,
yeah,
no,
we're
no.
on YouTube right now.
Okay. So he says that line. He's known for that, but he's basically like Kiryu's brother-in-arms in the first game. And gosh, it's a bit spoilery, but you know, it takes his fight, and it's seen in the theme for the fight, how it kind of reflects in the first Yakuza game, and that thematic, very climactic battle when Nishikiyama is you fight him as Kiryu, and you do that again as Sakamoto in Ishin. It takes themes and reflects on them, sort of like a retrospective. It's paying tribute to previous Yakuza stories.
But
and,
in like a standalone story.
yeah,
kind
as
of.
it's standalone.
Interesting.
And I find that to be, you know, artistic, very artistic.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of how it innovates that writing. And also some scenes are just very powerful, like burning down the village with nothing but a cold stare. And just without remorse, just defeating people, or, you know, that definitely deserve it. And it's very brutal as Yakuza games. It can be silly at times, like with the chicken gambling.
Yeah. Yeah, like the Yakuza games are very, like, famously very, like serious, but also, like, really...
Silly goofy.
Yeah.
Yeah, silly goofy.
People joke it is a serious crime drama. At times, yes. At other times, no. But when it is serious, it shines.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I like Ishin as best narrative.
I'm going to talk about Alan Wake 2,
Okay.
which, incidentally, Ryan also nominated.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. There's, like, I love the first Alan Wake, but I think the second one, it's... man, like the fact that like it's a mystery horror thriller, contextualized within the story about a mystery horror thriller being written is like one of the most weird, mind-bending things ever. The game is super meta. Like it plays with like It's like the whole thing is Alan is trapped in this weird dark dimension. This FBI agent is trying to investigate a string of murders, and that she learns that both Alan and these murders are connected through like this weird cult. It's super like dark, like it's like it can get like dark at times, and it's very. The tone is just super like everything around you hates you, especially in the dark place. Like it feels like hell, like you're going in an endless loop. This entire dimension is out to get you, and it deals with themes like ego and the negative kind of loop or spiral of like how what you create, is it good enough? Is it good enough? Is it inferior to what you want it to be? And also like the writing can be a bit hit or miss sometimes. I feel like the writing is sometimes like a bit stiff, but I think overall like the story is like really it got me. It was because it tells a really compelling mystery that gets weirder and weirder as it goes on. And then El Paso Elsewhere, which I feel like is what I want to go with. I didn't really know what to expect, but it ended up being like this weird kind of love story about two people who like were really affectionate and passionate towards one another, and how it kind of became a manipulative, toxic relationship, and now you have to go kill your ex because she's going to destroy the world, and she's also Dracula.
The ex is Dracula?
Yeah, her name is Dracula in this story.
Okay.
But also the writing's like kind of funny sometimes. Like it has a lot of comedic moments, but there are also moments where the game kind of just stops and like reminds you like, yeah, you're not welcome in this place. Like it's creepy at times. But also like I just knew like by the end of the story, like of all the things you hear about their relationship and all that you see, I was like, I really don't want to have to kill this person. They're suffering, but also I'm suffering, and they're gonna kill the world. So like, why not? We have to kill our ex. But yeah, I'm gonna vote El Paso Elsewhere. I'm gonna stick by that one.
Are there any other nominations that?
Yeah. So there's Baldur's Gate 3. And I haven't played it personally. I don't know. Like, have anyone's played it?
No.
I just played D&D with my friends.
Who nominated it?
Sophia, Ryan, and Leah. It's the most nominated. In fact, I feel like I wish I knew enough about Baldur's Gate 3's story and the narrative around it. I think like the one thing I can say is how varied it is in terms of what narrative options you can explore.
Right.
I think that's badass, especially for being a CRPG. But I really don't know much about it.
Yeah, I don't know a lot about it either.
Neither do I.
Charlotte, if you can come in studio, I also know you haven't played the game. But
Where's the ghost of Charlotte?
As far as the only Baldur's Gate content I know is Asterion. That's like that's all of my YouTube shorts. And he seems to be like a very nuanced character, and like the two tracks that you can go down with Ascended Asterion versus non-Ascended Asterion, I don't know what it's called.
Okay, I gotta ask, who is this
Charlotte!
Charlotte!
I summoned you!
I haven't summoned.
He's this vampire, he's cool or whatever. But like just the fact that
I know,
his story alone is super nuanced, and that's just one tiny aspect of Baldur's Gate 3 is incredible.
I honestly don't have much to say because I also haven't played the game, but from everything I've heard from Leah and Ryan and everybody, it's like so good, and the story is so good.
What is the story?
I don't know. All I think about, and I know, like, I'm gonna play one day,
Is Sophia still studying, or did she leave with Ryan?
She left.
Oh no.
But
No one to defend it.
Gail, I love you. He's not even real.
Is there anybody on like the team that likes Yakuza games?
That's a good question. There's probably someone.
Maybe, I don't know.
Well, we can probably ask next week.
Okay.
I wish I could defend it because I feel like it might deserve it, just because, come on, it's like a D&D game, but a game. And like there's so many options for story, and if every option is satisfying, then that's insane. But I can't defend it because I haven't played it.
Yeah, I think it's the one case where like I feel like we've heard so many good things about it, but we can't put it to the test, and we can't have anyone who's played it defend it.
I would like to add a little bit more about Ghost Trick, like I do. Since people were like talking about more of like the themes of their stories, I wanted to mention some of mine. Like Ghost Trick is very much a story of like identity. Of course, you don't know who you are, but like as you go through, you learn more about who you are, but you also get questioned about who you are. There are like times where you just don't know who you are. Like, are you truly the person you thought you were? And are you like does your past actions, like if they are your past actions, actually define who you are in this moment of time and your future? And another thing I think Ghost Trick is, I mean, it's a story of loss. Obviously, the story deals with ghosts. Like, that means people die. Like, there are going to be loss. There's going to be loss related with that. Mm-hmm. And I think that one thing, since it is like a span of like a very long time, even if it takes place in one single night, like the story has been there for a very long time, it does show like the effects, long-term effects of loss, and also the creation of like revenge and like what you want to do with that loss. Do you want to like strive forward, or do you just like spiral into wanting revenge? And your choices truly do matter in this game. Like, it isn't a game with multiple endings, but it is a game where like choices and what you do and how, I mean, like I will say, I guess I shouldn't, I'm surprised I didn't mention this, but the whole point of like doing all these puzzles is that you get to save people from being dead. Like, the whole point is that you go back 4 minutes before a person dies and finds a way to save them from not dying. So the whole point is that like you're changing like the past and figuring out what the future is. So like that I think is very important, because there are times where you have like the death of someone and their long-term effect, and seeing what you can do in like the moment to affect that situation and change it for the future and to create like a better future. So
Again, you make a very compelling argument.
Can I make an argument for Baldur's Gate 3?
Go for it.
Like, okay, I literally only know Asterian's story, but also I kind of feel like your choices obviously matter in Baldur's Gate 3, to where, I mean, Asterian can go down 2 very distinct different paths. And, like, just seeing him kind of devolve into this very narcissistic, egotistical, freaking jerk of a person, like, it's so heartbreaking. And, like, you make that choice yourself. Mm-hmm. You do that to him. And, I don't know, like, I can't speak in very great terms because I haven't played the game for myself. But, like,
it's just that girl. Like, Ballsy is that girl.
Hey, but
it's just that girl.
Is Asterian?
He's like a vampire, right?
Yeah, and like, and I don't entirely understand his story because, once again, YouTube Shorts. That's all I know about it.
Was it accompanied with a family?
But like, he's kind of like enslaved somehow. I don't know. He can like tolerate sunlight for some reason. There's a mind flare involved.
Is he like one of those sparkly Twilight vampires?
Yes.
There's a mind flare involved, and like,
that's what he looks like.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. He's a very nuanced character that I wish I could talk about in more depth, but I cannot.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was Virgil for a second.
Ryan nominated Marvel's Spider-Man 2. I'm going to go ahead and argue against it very heavily. Because that game has some of the most hit-or-miss writing I've played in a while. Like,
it's just a skinny-ass dude.
It's the Iron Claw of this year in terms of games. It has the most hit-or-miss writing, I swear.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry,
Iron Claw?
I didn't like the Iron Claw movie.
Oh.
Which makes me feel crazy because I feel like everyone liked it. And
I need to see it.
I hear it's very good, and I wish I had that same opinion, because I just don't like it. But Marvel Spider-Man 2, hit or miss writing. I think it has some great moments. Especially all the great moments were between Peter and Harry. Like, Peter and MJ had the weakest relationship, I think, in the entire game, and they're a couple. Huh. And like, I'm just like, I don't care.
Bros before hoes.
Yeah, no. I believed like there's a bit towards the end where Peter tells Harry that he loves him, and
OMG.
but they are like legitimately like they have this brotherly like love that is like I believe so heavily. Like I think Yuri and whoever played Harry, they did so good. And whoever
Yuri Lowenthal?
Oh yeah.
Yuri Lowenthal, the actor for Peter.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Like, but the writing in that game was okay.
Oh, mid.
It was mid. It was mid.
To the best definition.
Spider mid.
In the best way possible. It wasn't bad.
It wasn't
but it
good.
wasn't great.
Yeah, it was just mid.
Very much mid.
C.
Y'all ready to... I kind of want to give it to Ghost Trick. legit because like
Finally, a
That's
win.
so
I'm
good.
sorry, everyone who's not here that voted Baldur's Gate.
If you
Yeah.
wanted to, if
It's
you
a
wanted to
good
make
story.
your
You
state, should have been
lose.
here.
Don't
I'm
worry,
telling you.
Baldur's Gate gets the participation trophy.
I've never seen. I mean, for one, there's not that many people that play Ghost Trick, but I've never seen anyone slander the story of Ghost Trick. Like, I've never seen that before. That
I'll
is a
give it-
game that
yeah.
everyone loves.
Yeah, I'll give it to Ghost
It's
Trick.
so
'cause It
And
does.
Yeah.
Like,
I do like
Stories
the
about
story
loss,
about loss.
too. Yeah, that's
and
right up
it's
my alley.
also
That'll
a
get me
story about
every
like
time.
relationships and like belonging, because obviously with loss you lose that sort of like relationship, whether it's romance, whether it's familial, whether it's like
Wait.
companionship.
I think we can have a
Which is
good
okay.
way of representing that loss here on the studio. There's 4 of us. I need you to put one hand up. I need you to put both your hands up. And I need you to make an L shape with your hands. The other way. Loss.
Yeah.
That's funny. That's
God
actually
damn
that's
it.
actually
I
good.
just-
That was actually really
I
good.
fucking hate this. I hate. God damn it.
Got it all.
So are we okay with giving? Are we all
Yippee!
good?
Yeah.
To Ghost
I
Trick?
vote Ghost Trick.
Ghost Trick
Yippee!
wins.
Finally, a
Finally
win.
ghosted in
It's okay.
subsequent
I think
trick.
Baldur's
Yes.
Gate wins the next one.
Yeah.
Well, let's see.
Every
So,
time
moving
I
on. Let's
see-
give a drum roll.
Oh,
Best performance.
okay, not me.
Because it
Honestly,
doesn't have voice acting.
Yeah.
this is actually gonna be a very short one.
Ooh.
Because there's only 4 nominees, and so I guess I'll just go ahead and it's award to the title with outstanding acting or performance capture artist or voice actor.
I swear, if this wasn't just 2000, like just last year, I would have more.
What would you have put last year?
I don't know.
Fair enough.
I would put Kirby in the Forgotten Land.
Our nominees are
Yes.
Alan Wake 2 with special mention of Ilka Ville and Matthew Peretta as Alan Wake, Baldur's Gate 3, Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom, and Marvel
Voice
Spider-Man
acting.
2 with special mention of Yuri Lowenthal as Peter Parker in Spider-Man.
What? Tears of the
Who
Kingdom
put
voice
Tears of the
acting?
Kingdom? for voice acting?
That was Andrea.
Okay, go ahead.
Do you want because Baldur's Gate 3 was nominated by Sofia and Leah, which I will attest. We've seen Asterion. I think
I can talk about Asterion actually.
All right, we can.
All right, but go ahead. You go
Let's
first. then.
dedicate like 15 minutes,
Okay.
and then we'll move on to Game of the Year.
Yeah.
Because
Okay.
we-
I like Matthew Mercer as Ganondorf.
Yeah.
I agree.
Okay.
I
Think
disagree.
I have no idea.
I think he's all
Also,
right.
like-
I think actually Zelda's probably.
And also
favorite.
the German dub. Oh
Mm.
my god, the chills ran through my spine. Because I was just curious. I was going through, like, starting the game over in each different languages just to see, the different voices. And, when I was trying to see how it was in Spanish, and I was like, this is moderately okay. I was a bit disappointed. But then, the German dub. Oh, there were chills down my spine. It actually sounded like a mummy coming to life.
Mm.
Yeah.
Like what in that first scene that Ganon
Yeah, with
did?
the first scene.
I
Yeah.
feel like it was really
And I
hit
don't
or
understand
miss.
a lick of German, but it was good.
Oh, not German.
We
in my
heißen
opinion,
ein
okay.
Problem. Wait, what is that? We heißen ein Problem.
No, that's Dutch.
Is that Dutch?
We have un serious problem.
God.
Problem. That's Dutch. I mean, same family, but Dutch is the
Yeah.
Jar Jar Binks.
So you feel like the German dub was a lot better for Tears of the Kingdom, you think?
Specifically for Ganondorf.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, Ganondorf definitely stole a lot of performances, and no matter what languages.
Do you want to talk about Baldur's Gate?
Yeah, I can talk about Asterion. I haven't listened to much of the other voice actors, so I'm literally just basing it off of Asterion. Maybe you could talk
The
about
pretty boy.
Gale.
I will be talking about Gale. Don't worry.
Neil
Trust.
Newborn.
Gail?
Well, the voice actor
Gale,
was the best
I'll show
performance.
you.
Neil Newborn did such an incredible job of bringing Asterion to life. He's a vampire. He's lived however long. He's been enslaved to something. I don't
This is
freaking know
Gale.
the story exactly, but
Kind of
Like-
reminds me of.
to be able to play a narcissist and to have
Looks like a
layers
mix of
to your
me and my
voice
uncle.
acting in a game where you're not even physically there. I mean, yes, the character is, but you in studio, you're not there. And I don't how do I say it? Help me out here.
Even okay, like
He might be saying one thing, but you can tell by the way that he is saying it that he really means something else.
Sarcasm?
I wouldn't
He's so
call it
cunty.
sarcasm.
He's
That's
so
yeah,
cunty.
that's the way. That's
He's
all you
so
have to say.
He's
No, because
Serbian?
I've seen the TikTok. Oh, go ahead.
Is he Serbian?
He
He's
is.
serving.
No, he is serving up like the highest of levels.
And there's such variety too. Like he doesn't play it one note. Like there's sometimes when he's super like intimidating and once again narcissistic, egotistical, and arrogant. But then there's other times where he's just like this.
Can you fix him?
Yes. You can.
Yes, you can. You can fix him.
He's just like a freaking you know. He's so lovable even though he's sometimes the worst.
Oh,
No,
so you
yeah,
like
for
to
sure.
hate him sometimes. That's nice.
So I don't know. Like I wish I could say more.
Okay, the more I think about it, like the best performance in Baldur's Gate to me, even though I haven't really gone in and played the game, like Astarion is like, wow. 'Cause,
Here.
The story is good and like the voice actor is so magical. Like just everything about Astarion is like, wow, they really ate on that character. Like
yeah.
they knew what they were doing with him.
They
and then
cooked.
I just really liked Gale because I just think Gale's hot and funny and sassy, and I'm like, you got me. Like the sassy man apocalypse is here, and I am the first victim. But I mean, like there's. I think Gale also has like, they all have sad stories. All these men are so pathetic. But like, I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed. But I think Astarion is like, his performance is just like,
Because you get to see like him develop like, you know, either descend into like terribleness or like develop into like having an actual true bond where for most of his life I'm assuming he doesn't let people see that side of him where he is actually genuinely vulnerable. He may act like he's being vulnerable, but he's not. And you know, most of that is in the voice acting. I'm trying to find a good clip of Astarion to show you guys.
While you look, may I talk about Peter?
Yes.
Yes.
Lowenthal?
Talk about Peter.
I think like a lot of his performance is kind of it's not necessarily like tune-out. I think he does really good Yuri Lowenthal as in portraying intensity in a way that I haven't seen in a game in a while, because I feel like he was putting his whole ass into that performance. Like he was
Spider-Man.
like he was like it's some of the most intense, like in terms of like when it gets emotional, like when situations are heightened, I can feel like a lot of intensity in his voice. Like I think Yuri did such a good job, and also because he has to play two versions of himself, one where he has like the symbiote, and I think his symbiote voice is a little overdone, because he'll be like, Kraven's next, I'm gonna kill him, and I'm like, all right, tone it back, Yuri, a little bit.
Chill.
But I also think he did a really good job. Did you find a clip of Astarion?
I'm still going.
Oh, okay. Do you mind if I talk about Ilka
Yeah.
Vili and Matthew Peretta? So, what's up?
Hey, who's the guy?
So there's two actors who played Alan Wake. So because Alan Wake 1 came out before like performance capture was like super like in like pretty common in the industry, he was the model for the character was based on Ilka Vili, and then he was voice acted by Matthew Peretta. But now because Remedy does a lot of full motion video, like actual live action stuff that they implement into their games. Ilka Vili plays him. He's the model for the game for the character of Alan, and then he also plays him physically in like live action. And Matthew does like a voiceover, like a dub over of him. They like lip sync. But like either way, like Matthew is so good because like he has to portray like one like kind of like gritty kind of emotional like narration. But then also, like, in moments where it's, like... There's a clip in the game called Drowned. Like, you come across TVs that have, like, stuff from his writer's room in the dark place. And there's one called Drowned where he's literally going insane of, like, trying to remember who he is, what he's doing there. And he's, like... There's a bit where he's like, this is hell. I'm in hell. Like, just please, someone let me die. It's some of the most, like, intense... like voiceover I've heard in a game, and he's also just so good at portraying Alan as like this kind of like he's just so done, but he's also but he has like some like charming moments too.
Okay.
And then Ilka just goes crazy because like he's playing like 3 characters that look like Alan, and he just goes fucking ham on all of them. There's one I want to talk about, but I don't know like how to contextualize it
Spoilers.
properly. He's just fantastic. I think he's great. But yeah, did you find a clip of Asterion?
I found a clip of Asterion. I don't know if it's the best clip of Asterion because there's a lot of good clips.
Of a sentence due to an eternity of madness. To be consumed by your urge.
Dude.
You'll never be free.
Sounds like Vision from
He's
Marvel.
so...
He's going to take over. I've had periods where I was so hungry, I was all but robbed of speech and reason. If you
So
become
dramatic.
as I fear, feral, scrambling, all but a carrion creature, I don't think I'll be able to look at you. It'll remind me too much of my worst self. If that is to be your fate, I will, enjoy our time together while it lasts. But soon enough, we'll have to say our goodbyes.
This is good. It's just good, bro.
Like,
Can I
So
play one
dramatic.
clip from?
yes,
the one
yes, I
mentioned?
want to hear.
It's not very long, but it genuinely like I think when I watched it, I was like genuinely kind of like struck because I'm like Jesus fucking Christ.
I'm lost in the dark, drowning. I'm drowning. I'm drowning. No way out. There's no way out. It's sinking deeper and deeper and deeper. This is hell. I'm dying. I wish I was dead. Let me die. I just want to sleep, please. Let me sleep. I'm so tired. I just want to go home. I've written so much. I write. And I write. There's nothing left. It's all gone. I don't know how to write. All the words are gone. There's no more words. Where do they go? Did I eat the words? I recognize these words and where the words were written. This is familiar. Oh, this is familiar. I've been here before. I've said this before. I've read this somewhere. Where am I? Who am I? Oh, wait. Oh, wait. That's a strange name. Wait, that sounds like a character's name. Oh, wait. I write that name up. That name up.
Okay,
He
damn.
sounds a little insane.
Okay,
Yeah.
you know what? I was gunning so hard for Baldur's Gate, but that clip was so good.
I like
Like-
that.
Yeah.
And like it gets like it even there's a bit like where he starts even going like and he becomes almost aggressive. He's like these are the words, ram them down your throat. I'm like holy fuck. Like he's
Cool.
genuinely like it's something that happens
I
like
wonder-
away from like the main story, but like he's going and it's like it's generally
It's-
alludes like this place is eating him alive.
It's like performances like this where I'm like, what must have been what it must have been like in the recording
studio.
studio.
I
Like
know.
what
In
was
the
he
stew.
doing?
Yeah, so and also so that's Ilkavili. He's the one who's portraying him in live action, and then Matthew is the one who's doing the voiceover. So
Those
that's so it's
two
like
are-
a double.
Kind of feel like I had to go with
That's a
that
team.
one.
Yeah, I like that one.
I'm sorry, I flipped you.
No, it's
I-
okay.
That's the whole point.
I
Sure.
must be
Good point.
enlightened.
Open our eyes.
Yeah,
Damn.
you debated. You
I'm so
challenged, and
sorry.
You got it.
That
You
was
know-
really good.
Yeah, I was gonna. Like, I really thought I was like, guys,
I would-
Asterion, like we
If
are
I knew the
in.
game, I feel like I could have pulled a better clip for Asterion, but I don't.
If I showed
Sorry.
you
It
guys,
was so good.
if
That
I
was
showed
really
you guys
good.
the Herald of Darkness musical number from like part of the game, I think it might.
Is that the thing that played at
Game of the year, game of the whatever,
those Game Awards that we watched?
Yeah.
Yes, that was the where they're like singing like it was. Yeah, that they performed it at
Yeah.
the Game Awards where
I
they're
remember
like,
watching that and I was like,
"Show me the champion
Mhm.
of life." That's in the game, like in its entirety.
yeah.
And it's glorious. It is so strange, but it's like, and apparently it was going to be cut from the game, but like the creative director was like, no, we need
Keep
this.
it.
Yeah, but
job.
so I guess it's time to like decide.
I kind of
So
had to go with that one.
so
Yeah.
I also
I think
choose Alan
It's
Wake.
very hard for like one person to just like talk for that long too, especially because if it's like a solo performance like that.
Yeah, if it's like a rant, the only thing, another rant that, takes that kind of madness and you see the person, you can hear the person going and saying, would be Eggman's announcement.
I've come to make an announcement. Shadow the Hedgehog's a bitch ass motherfucker. He pissed on my fucking
The
wife.
only other one I can think of that's like actually from a game is like Akechi in Persona 5.
He had a soliloquy? Well, the
Yeah,
thing about
but
the thing about
it's
Persona
not
is that
as
it's
strong.
it's line by line by line. It's,
That's true. But
Yeah.
like,
this is all in one take.
yeah, I don't know how he did that.
They should have been
The
here. I
announcement.
cannot defend.
Y'all should have
Asterion.
been here.
Yeah, that's on
Hey,
them.
I'm happy because like this, I think it's the first win that Alan Wake 2 gets, and I'm like, if it's anything, Ilka and Matthew, they're just so
Gotta be
good.
them.
They're so
Voice
good.
actors deserve more recognition.
Yes.
I'll
Yeah,
say
that
that
was
right
really
now.
good. Snaps for Alan
Voice
Wake
actors
too.
for the win.
They're
And
phenomenal.
sorry,
And
Leah.
performance.
That too. Performance artists.
All right, so winner goes
The big
to
one?
for best performance is Alan Wake.
Yay!
Let's go.
Are we on the
Alrighty.
big one?
Now it's time for the big kahuna.
The big kahuna.
Time for Game of the Year.
Oh,
Dun, 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 dun.
Which we're awarding to the title of overall outstanding achievement in gaming, including audio, visual, and game direction, narrative, performance, and more. Or simply whichever game we thought was most enjoyable.
Gex.
Gex hasn't come out yet.
Right,
can't-
okay.
it
We
hasn't
can't,
come out
can't
yet.
say for 2023. 2024, though, it's going to be Gex's year.
So the nominees are Alan Wake 2, Baldur's Gate 3, Dredge, Fortnite, Ghost Trick Phantom
Fortnite.
Detective,
Yeah!
Hi-Fi Rush, Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom,
I wonder who voted for that.
Resident Evil 4, Marvel Spider-Man 2, and Super Mario Bros. Wonder. So I know we talked about these games kind of individually, like on their own. Do we all want to just kind of go through each one and discuss? Because we have about half an hour left in the studio.
Sure?
Yo, do we kind of just want to
Yeah.
go one by one and talk about
Each game.
merits?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to start on Alan Wake 2 because I feel like that's cheating. Let's start with. Or does anyone want to like argue for one game in particular? And we can talk about it.
I don't
first.
think it's gonna win, so I'm just gonna say Ghost Trick. It's the package. I know it's like an old game, but like, and I technically didn't even play it in 2023, but it's a game that I think everyone should play, and I'm just glad that it came. Like, I'm just glad I'm able to be basically the ambassador for it, since it's like in that
Someone
weird
put
spot.
that in your lower third title.
Yeah, it's in that weird spot where like it's made by Capcom. Like it's a popular, pretty popular game, but like still pretty niche to where people just don't know about it. I'm just glad that it got like a remaster. I was so shocked that February Direct happened and that happened. I was so happy because that just means more people get to play and it's not stuck on a console that's like 10 years old. Not even 10, 15 years old at this point.
Discontinued.
And that many people probably don't have. So like
Exactly.
it's introducing.
I'm just glad that it's on modern platforms and it's like genuinely a good port, like a good remaster. So
And
You
then
can
it's
also
just
hack
like-
your 3DS to get it.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You can hack your 3DS. Did you know that it's insanely easy to hack your 3DS?
apparently, yeah.
I've heard. I don't have a 3DS, but I've heard.
Oh.
But
I
yeah,
wasn't a DS kid. I was
I
played
was
on
a DS
consoles.
kid.
I was also a DS kid.
Let's go. Let's go hard.
And
I
like,
think Ghost Trick is very worthy of
And
it.
I-
Like it's very
yeah.
like from what you've told us.
And I just wanted to mention, like, this is one of those games that, like, I'm coming back to now after, like, not playing it. I wish I played it as a kid. I just didn't know about it. But, like, I went on, like, things. I was like, what games did I just not know about as a kid playing on the DS? And there are so many that I can't even mention here because they didn't come out yet. Or, like, they came out a while ago. But it's just cool seeing a game that, like, truly is underappreciated come back into limelight for a bit. Rest my case.
Does anyone else want to talk?
I
Go
do.
for it, Sean.
I'm going to talk about Baldur's Gate
Go for
again.
Boy.
Go for
We
it.
are so back,
Do
baby.
you have a paragraph prepared?
No, I don't. But
She has a.
I'm looking at the nominations
Oh.
because I can, because I'm a cool girl. But like obviously, it's been nominated for almost every single category.
Mhm.
And okay, I was thinking about like, one, it has performances. We saw it during.
Yeah.
I think one of the really big things it has is like narrative, and it's like very much personal narrative because one, I love like avatar customization. Ooh,
Love
and they do
customization.
it so well.
Well, it
like
makes
I'll
sense.
spend my
It's
whole
based
time
off
on that.
D&D.
yeah, it's so like there's just so many options, and it's like, you know, I'm not a huge D&D player, but like I really enjoy it. You know, I'm a big D&D watcher, and it's just like the fact that like there's like so much potential, like they took all the potential of D&D and put it into like a video game, and I was like, that is so genius. That is so genius.
That hasn't happened yet.
Now, see, actually, that's
Well,
one
now
of the
it
things because I actually nominated
I
Baldur's
mean,
Gate 3 as
Cyberpunk is
well,
kind of
just
like that
because
because
like
it's also based off a
It
table.
I
kinda
feel
won.
like I feel like Baldur's Gate 3 is like the most impressive of all the games here because, or among the most impressive because it was built by an indie studio over like what a decade,
Yeah.
and
Oh,
that
that's
it
crazy.
released. It's a CRPG, which means that it's limited in choices, but it has so many still,
Yeah.
and the fact that it came out and everyone basically fucking loved it and that it did really well. Like I think that's so impressive that I would totally be down to nominate Baldur's Gate 3.
Can I
Like,
say
'cause
something
it should-
controversial?
Sure.
Girl speak.
Okay, so whenever I think of Baldur's Gate, Baldur's Gate 3 specifically, it's basically just, a more traditionalized version of what Cyberpunk could have been.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're both based off really popular tabletop RPGs back in the 80s. Because, Cyberpunk is basically just like a futuristic D&D. You get to choose, a role, and it's a role-playing game, tabletop.
Mm-hmm. But then that doesn't really come in Cyberpunk. But I'm sure it's a bigger part in Baldur's Gate.
Yeah, because it takes those inspirations and actually uses them. It's, I guess, true to its roots is the best way to put it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but when you said people love it out of the gate, it just made me kind of chuckle inside my head. Thinking about that is really different from how people reacted to Cyberpunk coming out. Like, total tonal opposite, despite them having similar.
I will say I don't think it was probably loved right out of the gate, but I think it did really well in the fact that people who don't even play RPGs and ones that are based on D&D.
What's interesting.
Yeah, exactly. People were like, "Oh wow!" Like
it's very grabbing.
I mean, this is like a recent D&D coming back into the spotlight. Like I don't know what triggered it, but like over the past few years, it's come back really.
Real.
It's impressive that it was able to not only get new people into this RPG format that's really similar to just regular tabletop role playing, and then also appeasing people who are more used to tabletop role playing because I mean people who do tabletop role play, their choices are unlimited, and I mean Baldur's Gate is limited, and the fact that you have been able to grab both audiences, that's really impressive.
Yeah, that's crazy that a game because I'm not a big fantasy RPG player. I think the only one I play is Skyrim, but I've very much contemplated getting Baldur's Gate 3 because I've just heard so much about it. That's people really love it. That's crazy. Do you want to talk about Tears of the Kingdom, Melanie?
I will talk about Tears of the Kingdom. Oh my gosh. What can I say more about Tears of the Kingdom that I haven't already said? It's another entry into the Zelda series, and having to be an entry into the Zelda series, there are always so many expectations stacked against you.
Yeah, because each one is a milestone in gaming.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
Breath of the Wild's definitely not an easy one to go off of.
Yeah, and especially as a direct sequel.
Exactly. They made the choice of making it a direct sequel. Some people could call that lazy, but I think it was actually really brave because there were so many expectations, so many theories going into it. The delays, people were wondering, what is this game that is going to come out that is taking another 7 years when it is just using the same map?
Think about that, it's 7 years.
6 or 7?
Because it came out at
perhaps?
the launch of the Switch, basically.
I remember.
It was a launch.
I remember the trailer for it came out the same one when Link's Awakening came out.
I know. What game were we talking about earlier?
I was still in high
it was
school
Fortnite. We
when
talked
they
about
announced
that.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was 2017.
Because it was the launch of the Switch.
Yeah.
And it took a really long time for them to come out with this other game.
Rather than do
and
that
so
than Rush.
Yeah. What?
I don't know for them to come and bring Tears of the Kingdom. I just think it's incredible. I think that that even though the story might not be as good as, let's say, Twilight Princess or Skyward Sword, I think that visually and with the soundtrack, it tells a story without you really having to engage with the story itself. So
It's
I
more
don't know.
within the atmosphere rather than
Yeah.
the words.
It tells its own story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very
Speaking,
Ghibli-ish.
and you said that Miyamoto said good game, bad game is forever bad, good game
It's eventually good.
delayed game is eventually good.
Yes.
Yeah. So, and certainly Tears of the Kingdom was that case. I think it blew everyone. It took over everybody's lives for a good while, and then as people finished the game, I'm sure it became less talked about. But I think that impact, people were crucifying Koroks and burning them alive. My entire
Everyone was making fully functionable race cars.
yes.
I think someone even used they were able to recreate Megalovania with the singing crystals.
Wouldn't be surprised.
I hate
There, it's
but I love
it's
that.
insane just the amount that you can do in the game, and I don't know, you think you're done,
No.
and then you realize that you're not, and it just keeps going. But I don't know. I wish I could say more, but I feel like I've said a lot for the other other categories. I know Ryan wants me to really push for this game.
It's everything a game should be.
Yeah.
When it takes all those fundamentals and refines them to a point of artistry.
Yeah, and I think it's certainly, it feels like what Breath of the Wild like could have been like at its fullest capacity, and I think they took advantage of it, and it just pushes it beyond like so many other Zelda games and so many games this year. So I think it's a really big contender.
And the developers have said like in interviews after Tears of the Kingdom was released that they're basically done with
this version of like.
Well, yeah, this version, but they're also like done with like 3D Zeldas of the past formula. They don't see linear Zelda as a thing going forward.
Oh yeah, I did.
And when I first heard that, I was, freaking butthurt, bummed, disappointed. I was like, linear Zelda and open world Zelda have they both have a place in this world.
It's like 2D and 3D Mario.
Exactly. But also, I feel like Tears of the Kingdom is another big step forward in kind of marrying the best of linear and open world gameplay. There are so many tight portions of the game where I was just completely locked in. Freaking the boss fight, as I said, Ganondorf's fight was incredible. Going to the Korok's Forest was incredible. Wind Temple, freaking amazing. Dropping into the depths, Dragon Head Island, which I haven't even mentioned. There are little threads of story that you just go through linearly that work really well. And I know that they're going to keep working on that, keep marrying linear aspects and open world aspects into their game. So, at first I was really bummed, but I think that they're going to do great. So, yeah.
For sure. I want to throw my chip. Oh, did you want to say something?
No.
I want to throw my chip in for Alan Wake too, just because legitimately I played it again last Friday, and I was telling Sofia and Ryan that it has been the game I've been looking forward to replaying the most. I wanted to do a review for it, and I wanted to record footage while I play, and I didn't want to start unless I asked Reese for an okay to do a review since he wanted to do one. But legitimately, that time I spent waiting to see if I would, because I felt like I was going to replay it at some point, but that time in between having finished it and then replaying it just just a couple days ago has legit been one of the most intense periods of not playing a game in a while, because I genuinely have been looking so much forward to replaying Alan Wake 2. It is because Remedy feels like it had their games have been steps forward in terms of their gameplay. They had Max Payne. Well, first they had Death Rally, which is a racing game which had narrative, but then with Max Payne, and then with Quantum Break and Alan Wake, the first Alan Wake, before that, and then Control, this kind of melded this combination of episodic storytelling with full motion video and with just the coolest kind of high concept gameplay. That feels that may sound like gimmicks on paper, but when you play it, it's so part of its identity, and the tone that they built around Alan Wake, and this how they went a super hard right turn into legit horror has been, I think, Alan Wake 2 is the game that Alan Wake 1 should have been, and I think it's it's Remedy's best game ever, because I think that they really took advantage of every artistic decision they wanted to make with games, and then they just went to 11 and they just made it fucking crazy and mind-bending and engaging and weird and goofy at times. There's two characters that literally that half the time are super serious when you meet them, but then on the other hand they do these full motion video commercials where they're advertising beer.
Nice.
It's so dumb, but it's so much fun, and it's so, I just love playing that game so much.
Yeah.
Two questions about it.
Yeah,
One,
what's up?
do you need to know the first Alan Wake? And then two, how long is Alan Wake 2?
That's two very good questions. And it's actually something one of the narrative choices that I didn't like about the game is that I don't think it's not a bad thing that it connects to Alan Wake 1, because obviously it's a sequel.
Yeah.
It does connect to the story. You need to know at least the main game, because it has expansions to understand the story, why Alan's in the dark place, and that's about it, really. You can play the extra stuff along with it to get a better understanding. And then it also ties in with their newest franchise, Control, which deals with like different dimensions and like weird. It's like basically a game about SCPs. And it's pretty damn good. You like can fly. You have like telekinetic powers. You have like a weird gun that does stuff.
I never really understood the Skippy stuff.
The which stuff?
The SCP, the Skippy stuff.
Oh yeah, like
It's not my cup of tea.
they're just like weird abnormalities in like reality. I guess is the best way to describe like how they are in Control. But like it ties into Control, so you might need to play that and its second expansion to know a little bit more about the story. But those are the only things I'd say you really need to know. But you can honestly just go in blind, and it's still
Into the second game.
Yeah, it would just be completely. It wouldn't be maybe as narratively fulfilling, but I think it's still a very engaging mystery, on par with the first game. And then it's about probably like about 16 to like 18
Okay, so
hours.
it's not that long.
Yeah, no,
Not
it's
too
split
bad.
between two characters, and you can play them in almost any order you want. You can switch between characters, play their whole story, and then switch to another character if you want.
Ooh.
And it's episodic as well. So like if you want to like take a break from it for a while, you can probably just set it down. But yeah, that's Alan Wake 2. Really quickly, there was Dredge. Does anyone want to debate that for Game of the Year? I guess not.
As much as I like Dredge, you know, there's something lacking about it. It's great as, you know, as something that deserves more spotlight, but it does have a lot of higher contenders in terms of quality and full, I guess, like,
Impact.
yeah.
Yeah.
Impact for the gaming community, like things you can do. The immersion is nice, but
There's more impressive games.
yeah, there's a lot of bigger games out
Sure.
there in terms of like impression and like storytelling, because there's not a lot of story in Dredge. You're just fishing monsters and trying to avoid getting eaten. And you know, it's good for like a good scare or wondering the eldritch emptiness of somewhere in the North Sea. But that's all it has.
For sure.
Yeah.
Um,
I give it second place though.
There's Hi-Fi Rush, which I think was a great game,
Yeah.
but I feel again like I think
There are a lot of higher contenders in terms of overall qualities.
yeah, I think it was
full
fun
package.
and it was unique and innovative, but I just think and also the fact that they kind of just shadow dropped it and they're like, yeah, Tango Gameworks, the guys who make the people who make Evil Within, you know, a horror game, they made a fun, wacky, almost Scott Pilgrim-esque like action rhythm game, you know.
Yeah.
So, but I think there are other games that were mind blowing. Then there's Resident Evil 4.
Bingo.
That's a
It is a remake.
Again, that's
yeah,
a
it is a
remake.
remake, but
There's Marvel Spider-Man 2, which I'm gonna say no.
I'm gonna also say no.
Yeah, I'm sorry. The narrative of that game just brought it down. I think it was too hit or miss. And then Mario Bros. Wonder.
good game. Wouldn't say it's game of the year.
Gameplay is
Love
nice.
it though.
No story. It's a Mario game.
Yeah.
So, are we ready to actually
Okay,
vote?
so the main contenders will be like.
Baldur's Gate and Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah, makes
and
sense.
Alan Wake
And
2.
Alan Wake.
Yep.
Okay, big three.
Someone else go first. I'm thinking about my answer.
I
I'm going for Tears.
My vote is Tears of the Kingdom because also on top of just everything that I've said about sound design, soundtrack, game direction, I also feel like it was a very definitive game for the Zelda community. You know, like it's weird because Breath of the Wild was such a big game when it came out for like gaming.
7 years, yeah, for everyone.
But I feel like with Tears of the Kingdom, there's been so much more like discussion about, I don't know, like the future of Zelda moving forward.
Yeah, like how do you top that, or which direction do you go?
So yeah, I don't know. I feel like it was a big influence for people who played any Zelda game. So
I'm so torn between all three of like the big ones because like I love Alan Wake 2, but also I think Tears of the Kingdom was like it was such a game Like it was. That sounds so stupid.
Peak
No, but I get it. But like, I actually get what you're talking about,
but
though.
it's just it was so great in terms of the way it's set up. It's like the more like artistic aspects, like the story, the visuals, the sound, the music. But then like as a game, just in terms of the way it improved upon and already like Breath of the Wild ruined open world games for me because I was addicted to that shit. And I was it was seriously so I was like I wish there were more games like this because then I would have so many more games where I just wouldn't get tired. Like I almost wouldn't get tired of playing them.
I put 300 hours into Tears of the Kingdom and 400 into Breath of the Wild.
God damn.
Like
No, but it's such a fun. It lets players really take control of just the game
There's
and
so
lets
much
them.
you can do.
Yeah,
And,
exactly.
I don't know.
But also Baldur's Gate 3, I'm just so hooked on how impressive that was for an indie studio to basically just blow Nintendo, Remedy, Insomniac, and all their big publishers too, like Sony, Xbox. They're able to blow all of that out of the water with just a great RPG that brought in new people to the D&D.
I feel like also one more thing about Zelda. Sorry guys, it's just like you are playing through the story. It really doesn't want you to just like witness the story like in cutscenes or something. Like you basically choose how much the story weighs on you as a player, and that's insane.
Like you can choose this is a story, but also
Then you can
this is
choose
the
to
story.
immerse yourself into it at any extent or degree.
Yeah.
And regardless, even just the ambience of the world, it tells a story on its own and it immerses you there.
Yeah, and as I said before, if any game feels like the Legend of Zelda, it's this one. It feels legendary.
Finally fucking about. I can't get over the fact that it's literally just about Zelda. And
Yeah.
I'm
For once.
I mean, Skyward Sword also, but
because it was the origin of Zelda.
Yeah.
The triad.
True. I'm gonna say. I love Alan Wake 2, but I'm gonna say Tears of the Kingdom.
As someone who hasn't played any of these games, all three, I actually really, really, got really into Alan Wake 2 and the way you were describing it. And also just, I like games with, especially a very personal focus on, especially the main character. And if it's, a POV or something like that. So I've just always been a big fan of, character-driven media. So, that got me interested.
Mm-hmm.
But I do kind of agree with Tears of the Kingdom. As being the game of the year. Again, never
It's
played
so
it,
game.
but yeah,
It is.
It
It's
really
so
is
game.
the
it
game.
really feels like a game.
That's
the game
That's how I
ever.
feel
It
too.
seems like it's the game
You
ever.
brought it up, and I was like, "Oh my god, it's actually so
No.
game, bro."
Legit.
Just
it's,
the game ever.
Yeah, it's such a game that it's the definition of just what makes a good game.
It's like Bluey, but legendary.
And Bluey's already legendary, so that's saying something.
That's twice as legendary.
I might contest that I still prefer Breath of the Wild just because I feel like it's that. No, I think it's just.
I thought you were gonna say you.
I prefer Breath of the Wild's story 100%,
Yeah.
but I'm not gonna speak badly on the Tears
Even
of the
I
Kingdom
think
story.
it just had a perfect mix of innovation but simplicity, and I feel like Tears of the Kingdom had added a lot, but I feel like even still that's still a good thing that it's added so much options and variety. Andrea, what do you think?
I thought you were gonna say you still prefer Bluey when you said Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, it's actually Bluey, guys. Sorry.
Bluey game.
Ryan,
of the year,
congratulations.
Bluey's
That's
This
why.
is Bluey.
Wait, that's why Link was wearing a blue shirt.
Bluey
Oh
sleep.
my God! Now
Yeah.
he's greeny.
Bluey sleep.
Greeny. No, that's Bingo, the dingo.
God damn it!
I have
I haven't
my
seen
take. My choice is also Tears of the Kingdom, and I will tell you why. I've never played any Zelda games.
Neither have I.
I watched one lore video and I cried.
Who?
I don't know. It was a while ago because I Melody always talks about it and I'm like, look, I know it's good. I think about it and I'm like, that must be so good. And so I went and watched the lore video and I was like, this is so sad. What the fuck? And I cried. So story, she's got it.
Zelda.
I just think the game itself is really, really pretty, and we're talking about the vibe of it all. It's just when I watch people play it, I'm like, oh, it just looks so good and it sounds so good, and it's so game.
So game.
It's literally I don't know how to explain
That's like
what we
kills
say.
me. Like I do not know how to explain like why the story is so. Ugh. Because also I'm like the same way. Like character-driven stuff, that's crazy. I love that.
I think
and
I
like
know what
there's
it is.
hardly any
I think
character.
I know what it is. It's the Ghibli vibe.
That's true.
That's a good. That's a
And
good,
I think I don't even know.
You don't know?
Well, if we can all agree that the game ever,
It is the
It's
game
the
of-
most game to ever game.
It's the
I
game.
I fear.
I
legit.
think we can.
I'd say like a close contention, like the most game to ever game is like Minecraft.
That is true.
Like,
That's- yeah.
Oh my gosh,
like-
that's such a game.
yeah,
That's
but
such a
game.
unfortunately it's not 2009. It
Yeah.
is 2024.
We need to
can
have
put that
another
for-
podcast about the most games.
Most
Oh,
Girl,
yeah, the most
yes,
game,
I'll
that's
be
what
there.
I
I have some in my mind.
Gary's
Yeah.
mod. Sorry, that's mine. That's mine. I
Kirby's also a pretty game.
Yes, and I will ride for Kirby.
Yeah, Kirby.
To the end of the
Alrighty,
earth,
so
bro.
is that our choice?
Yes.
Kirby.
All right, so the
Breath
winner
of the
of game
Oh my gosh.
The winner
I
of
can't
Game
believe
of the
I pulled
Year
that off.
Is Tears.
is Ghost Trick Phantom.
Yeah!
It's The Legend of Zelda. Tears of the Kingdom is the winner of
Hey, you won one
VGHL's
more.
Oh, yeah,
Game
no,
of
I'll
the
take
Year.
that.
Yeah.
So now we get to add. In fact, so Ryan was actually really hoping that Tears of the Kingdom won because he told me on the car ride here. He said, "We don't have a Legend of Zelda game in our intro." And
Oh,
he's like, "That's
dang.
just crazy."
Well,
I was
now
actually thinking that while we were like talking because I was
Interesting.
like, is Breath of the Wild on our intro? And then
What won 2015
2017.
or 2017?
maybe
Yeah,
Mario
I
I
Odyssey.
don't even know.
Odyssey.
Well, I'll need to look at the intro.
I wonder when Kirby will win in
Anywho.
Game of the Year.
Oh, yeah.
Well, you know, okay, everybody already knows my favorite game ever is Kirby's Return to Dreamland from, like, I think it's 2011.
Yeah, 2011.
And
Put
so, if it was 2011, Kirby should be there.
So these were the slides that I was going to put in like throughout each of the categories. Like I was going to put
Yeah.
each game like under the categories.
Yeah.
I just ran out of time in making all of them. So
Yeah,
this
Bomb Red
was-
Cyberphone.
yeah, so
You
I
can
guess
add
this
it in
is-
post if you wanted.
Yeah, I'm probably going to do that.
When y'all were talking about that game, sounds so good.
Buckshot.
Buckshot.
Yeah.
Nice shot.
I did
30
not
minute
know it
game.
was a day. I did not know it was only $1.
30-minute game, only
Dave
$1.
the Diver.
Like
At
it's
At
so
first
cool.
I thought it was Peter Griffin.
My name's Peter Griffin.
Peter Griffin.
I
was in
feel like
Fortnite.
This game looks
It's
good. When you were talking about
fast.
this,
No.
this game looks good.
Legit, the
Dang.
story of this game,
art
I
looks
think
really
is so
pretty.
fucking good. I love
The
it
art
so
is
much.
really
Yeah,
pretty.
art popping. Pops off.
Yeah.
There's Ghost Trick.
Ghost Trick, Hi-Fi Rush, Killer Frequency.
Yes, guys, Killer Frequency is
The
so
Ghost.
awesome.
Tears
The
of the
Legend of
Kingdom.
Zelda.
their game awards like art for Tears of the Kingdom is so pretty too.
Mhm.
I forget.
Wait, have y'all seen did y'all see the developer direct that Xbox did lately?
No.
I
Xbox.
didn't know.
Not Xbox.
They showed off a trailer like a snippet of gameplay for Avowed, which is Obsidian. They're a pretty big RPG studio. They did like they have developers from like the original Fallout. They did New Vegas, Outer Worlds.
Oh yeah, I've heard of Outer Worlds.
The key art for Avowed is fucking sick. I wish I had a picture
I
of it
wanna
on
look it
hand.
up.
Yeah, Lethal
Lethal
A
Company.
Squad.
So are these just all the games?
Lies of
Yeah,
the P.
Most of the games.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Most
That's a
of
P.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the
we got Like a
Pinocchio.
Dragon.
Ishin.
These are so cute.
Beep,
Bacon 4.
Rivals of Aether.
I feel like-
Marvel Spider-Man 2. Street Fighter 6. I don't know why I'm hating on Marvel. I think it's actually a good game, Spider-Man
Yeah.
2.
Wonder.
And that was
Wonder.
all the.
Super Mario Wonder.
So
What a
those were-
great batch of games,
Yeah,
honestly.
this was a
Yeah.
good year.
It truly
Last year
is
was
just
year
like
year.
gaming.
It truly is just like a hodgepodge, but like that's what makes it good. It's
Yeah.
like there's something
So
for
many
everyone.
good games.
Games are good.
Yep.
It was a good year for games. Like legit, like when I saw like how packed like October and like how packed the fall was with like Alan Wake and Mario and
Yeah, as someone who's mainly Nintendo, this was a good year for Nintendo.
Good
there were also like
Good year for
there was
Nintendo.
just like Mortal Kombat and stuff.
Oh
like,
my
there was
gosh.
just so many
Indies?
games this year.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
Like yeah. So I guess that's it.
I feel like Tears
This-
of the
this
Kingdom
was
kind of
fun for
stole
my
the win
first
from
podcast.
Baldur's Gate, but you know,
It's ours.
y'all
It's
weren't here to
ours.
defend the game.
It's
Yeah.
ours.
Yeah, we really needed someone that actually knew about the game to like
Defend it.
It's
talk
on
about how
them.
good it is. Because I swear, the game is actually really good. There's
Yeah.
a
It is.
reason.
It is.
There's a reason so many people
It's-
love it
There's
so
a
much.
reason
Reason
it
it
won
won,
Game of
yeah.
the Year.
Yeah, like, sorry guys, sorry we flopped.
Sorry,
I mean,
Baldur's Gate.
it's
It's democracy.
You had to be here.
know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
People in Congress have to be
Yeah,
on
this
the
is
floor
why
to vote.
voter turnout is so important.
You had to be
Speaking
there.
of an election, we're in an election year, so make sure you go fucking vote. Or don't. I don't
Register to
blame you.
vote.
Yeah,
Guys.
Andrea Gonzalez 2024.
Yes, vote Andrea. She'll be
Yeah.
voter for president of the world.
For the Andrea party.
Yes.
One.
Okay.
Really quickly before we all go, Andrea, thank you so much for joining us on, for one, your first thing with VGHL, really, besides like our meetings and first episode of our podcast. Do you think you'll be here for first episode next week?
Yeah. What day is it again?
That'll be
That one.
this Thursday from 8:45 to 9:45 in the evening.
Okay.
Um,
Can do Thursday.
yeah, and our setup is going to be at what, like 6:30?
Yeah, we started
Something
set
like
up at
that.
6:30.
But yeah,
6:37?
It's just Mario Kart, right?
What's
At
up?
the moment.
I
Is
think
it
so.
Mario
Yeah.
Kart?
Like,
No.
it's Mario Kart and
Mario Kart.
prereqs, but I don't know what the prereqs are. We'll have to check. But yeah.
But yeah, and so thank you so much for joining, one, our show, and two, just hear us on the podcast.
Yeah, you've
and-
been here for hours.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
talking
Yeah,
about
really.
Usually
It's
the podcast is
already
usually like an
9.
hour.
It's 8:50.
Yeah, this is gonna be a very fun time to edit. I'm gonna die.
Yeah.
Get in there.
It's okay. It's a podcast.
Just had
Every
graphics.
time
Don't worry about anything else.
But every time Gex is mentioned, we have to put a picture
Gex
of Gex
counter.
and a vine boom.
Gex
Gex
counter.
counter.
Gex counter.
Yes. Okay. I might have to add that. Send it to
Yay!
the Discord so I remember that bit.
Okay.
I think think there's ideas in
Ghost trick
discussion
counter.
board.
Okay, cool.
Jeez.
Ghost
Okay.
trick counter.
Ghost trick counter.
Ghost trick counter.
Or how many times we make a ghost trick?
Yeah,
Ghost
ghost
trick.
subsequently
Gex trick.
trick.
Gex
Yeah.
trick.
Okay.
Gex trick.
Shall we wrap up?
Yeah.
Yes.
So
I think
thank
that's
you
a good sign.
for anyone who may be watching. Thank you so much for joining us on this probably very long podcast. Again, Tears of the Kingdom is our game of the year for VGHL's 2020 year of 2023.
Yes.
And with that, I've been Mateo. And would you guys like to sign off?
Yeah, I've been Melody.
Rutika.
Andrea Gonzalez signing off.
I've been Charlotte.
And we also were joined today by Ryan as well, who Ryan
He evaporated.
He
yeah,
died. He
he's-
ghosted.
he got shot into the
Ghosted.
sun prematurely.
And subsequently tricked.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ghost
He's
trick.
tricking somewhere.
Alrighty, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good night. See you next week.
Bye.
See ya.